Have you all had your half-time oranges? Yes, we are at the halfway stage of the Cheltenham Festival here on Racing Post Live. Myself, Dave Orton, delighted to be back in the seat with you this afternoon. We're going to go all the way up to the Mares Novice Hurdle, starting off with the Turners, of course, at 1:30 as ever. We've got a Stayers Hurdle, we've got a Ryanair. Are you SHISHKIN? Are you against him? Let us all know. This is your choice to have a voice this afternoon here. And of course, it's like and subscribe, comment and share show. You can do that if you're watching on YouTube. Just get the thumbs up. That's what it's all about. Let's get that chat ramping up. We've had loads of fun the last 2 days. Stellar panel coming your way. All the reaction. Once it happens at Cheltenham, you'll get it here. We'll try and steer you in the way of some winners as well, which hopefully we've been doing quite well for you so far this week. We play for charity. It's the Injured Jockeys Fund, of course, on whatever happens. On Friday, we'll be getting the checkbook out here at the Racing Post and sending that along its way. And thanks to Robbie Wilders and Natalie Green, the real whacker, put us in profit for a second day running yesterday. What's your highlight so far? Let's have some proper Cheltenham chat. Of course, all on the new course today. If you're not totally sure what that means, slight differentials, okay? And we've got the best in the business to tell you exactly what there are. Some mighty gambles going off as well. My Lord, who's seen the Stayers Hurdle market? There's a sea of blue for an en français. We'll get to that as well. Will he be sparkling? And around about 3:10, we'll find out. Okay, let's have some fun then. Who's with me? Natalie Green comes back. In fact, you're with me until the end now, aren't you?
Bonjour.
Bonjour. You're a gold tweeter, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going to follow the money today for one of the French raiders. Gold tweet.
The Cleve winner.
Well, I kind of had a good festival so far, I must say. Not bright, but good. You know, not amazing, but solid.
Yeah, you are having a good festival.
Yeah, well, it was good yesterday because I had a couple of plays, so that kind of played out well for me in a way, but it was kind of steady. You know, obviously I want the winners, Dave, because I want the trophy.
Yes, you were writing out your selections and I said, come on, go for the trophy. We played for this as well for a bit of fun along the afternoon, just to give us a bit of banter in here and for you at home as well. 5 points for a win. Maybe you want to do it at home, 3 for a second and 1 for a third as well. You're going for the full 5 points. No one on the show since we started doing this has done a full house, by the way, guys.
No, that's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Roscoe Brierley back in the chair. You were with us on Tuesday. Yeah. Here you are.
Had a day to recover. I say recover. I didn't recover at all. Obviously, it was a cracking day again yesterday, and trying to get excited about today. We're on to the new course. We're on to the part of the week where everyone goes, you know what? You're either one or two punters. Either you have a great Tuesday at Cheltenham because all the obvious ones goes in, and you go, oh, I mean 4-timers, I mean 5-timers have come in, and God, this game's easy. Yeah. Or you're like me, where you wait for Thursday and Friday, you wait for slightly softer ground, you wait for the new course, you wait for double-figure fields, you wait for a 4, maybe 5-figure payout on the place pot. You put all your horses in your each ways, your filthy little place bets, your 8, your 9 to 1 shots, they rack up. And I'm very much the latter. So Thursday and Friday are my days at Cheltenham traditionally. Tuesdays, don't do your potatoes. Wednesdays, get a little bit back. Thursday and Friday, kick on.
Let's find out if the betting editor at Racing Post has done his potatoes, shall we? Because double header time.
Yes.
Double header time. He's back.
I am back.
It's the Quizmaster. How are you, mate?
I'm well, good mate. How are you?
We had a wee bit of dinner last night, didn't we?
We did. In fact, it was the whole crew and the gantry.
And the gantry, yes,
nice.
indeed. Mission Control were allowed out. And we had a bit of Chinese. We were at Chinatown, didn't it? It was lovely.
Yeah. It was great. It's team bonding, I believe.
Indeed.
Yeah, it was.
Indeed.
Over a bit of char siu.
A wee bit of char siu, absolutely. So look, you're refreshed, you're good. Is this your kind of time of the festival now?
It's Thursday. The way I seem to bet now, it seems that Thursday's always my big punting day. 2 handicap chases out of the 4, for obviously the Ryanair and Turners can be good bet races for me too. And the thing is, even though I'm a Chase fan, I can't resist a wee bit in the Pertemps. It turns out to be my best punting day, just about, or not my best, my biggest punting day every year at the festival these days.
If you've got any questions for Keith, then Ross or Nat or myself, get them in. Now's the time. Mission Control will be putting them up. So here's what we've got. Then we start off with the Mighty Potter procession. I don't know. There's a couple of non-runners, aren't there, guys? Because they have more rain overnight. We're on to new course. Bambush, probably the key non-runner of the week, I would imagine. That means that Mighty Potter, there's the cap. Are you wearing it? Will you be wearing it after the race? He's around about 11 or 8 on it at the moment, I think. Are there any dangers? We'll be trying to tell you that. We'll be calling the races as we go because we know some of you don't have pictures out there. With some great international viewers yesterday telling us where they were from Colombia to as far as Australia and all that sort of stuff. Exotic times here on Racing Post Live. Of course,
why are you watching from Australia? It must be middle of the night.
They just keep going, you see.
To be fair, you get up and watch your Australian stuff at 3 in the morning, don't you?
I do. Did you know Dave's been to Australia?
Oh, he did tell me once, I think.
do you know
Yeah.
I don't mind if you ever buy me a beer. I will tell you about it. All right. So look, then we've got, of course.
No, exactly.
Don't buy me a beer.
Not yet. Up to those national
Not until the
stereotypes
Gold Cup. So we've actually been relatively well behaved this week, all of us, haven't we? That can go wrong at some point.
No car bombs.
No. Oh, Keithy, yes, the car bombs this time last year, weren't they? The Irish car bombs. Of course, it's St Patrick's Day tomorrow. The trains are all havoc out there. It was gridlocked in London last night, wasn't it?
Oh, it's dreadful.
Had a lovely urban walk, though.
You're a power walker, aren't you?
I do enjoy a nice urban walk. I don't know if anybody else out there does the same. I do quite like just walking in.
An urban jungle.
I do. I like doing that.
You're a flaneur. Is that what you are?
What's a flaneur?
It's someone who likes to wander and take in the sights.
Well, but in the city.
I didn't know that word, and I
Urban flaneur.
I regard myself as a bit of a francophile, and I didn't know that word.
Strictly a man who saunters around observing society.
Oh, lovely.
To be fair, that couldn't be more me.
What's the female one? Flanier.
Flaneurs, you'd have thought.
Flaneurs.
Flaneurs.
I had heels on last night, so I stood in the doorway of the pub that we went to the beginning. I had to wait 30 minutes for a taxi in the rain.
The Dutch bar.
Flaneurs.
Yeah.
Flaneurs. There you go, flaneurs.
All right, well, it is a
Flaneur
French
and a
day,
flaneuse.
guys.
Standard French conjugation. Come on, lads.
Yeah.
We got the Pertemps at 2:10. Then we got the Ryanair. Let's have a quick word about this. I mean,
Well, we're going to have a lot of words about
We're going to have the TriCast, aren't we?
But are we?
Of course we are,
I love
Dave.
it. I love it. So we're going to be playing for the Injured Jockeys Fund. So he's back out to even money now, Shishkin. And a lot of people were saying after the Ryanair, it's just a case of it's just whether he comes there in that form, Keith, right?
Yeah.
So it's proper even money shot, this.
Well, yeah, in that sense, yes. But I mean, if you knew he was going to turn up, what price is he?
Well,
4-11.
Kills was banging on should be Constitution Hilly price.
Yeah, but if Allaho was fitting well and Shishkin was running in the Gold Cup or the Champion Chase, Allaho wouldn't be 4-11. He wouldn't have been the same price as Constitution Hill. So Shishkin shouldn't be, because Allaho's won this race twice. So Shishkin, you've got to build that uncertainty into his price. However, I was really looking hard at this when I wrote the analysis for the paper today. And I stopped believing it. I stopped believing that it was going to happen.
Really?
I just think the chances of him bouncing after that, they're not as high as you think. There was only 11 weeks between the Tingle Creek and the Ascot Chase. It's not like he was off for a year. And Henderson, he can get horses ready after that Ascot run. Henderson's at his best when he prepares horses just how he likes. But really, given it seems like since the Tingle Creek, since they decided Up and Trip was the answer, it seems like everything seems to have gone all right. You normally hear, it normally gets out if a Henderson horse isn't doing so well or it isn't preparing very well, and it hasn't come out with Shishkin. So the chances of him not turning up are not the difference between even money and 2-5.
And it's a dry afternoon there, because you remember that soggy Wednesday where he basically didn't fancy, he lost his umbrella in the stable, didn't he? He just didn't really
Last
fancy.
year?
He didn't really fancy going around the paddock, did he?
Are they still claiming that rear bone condition?
I believe, well, I don't know about
He
that.
looked so
The
miserable.
spice begins early.
In the parade ring last year.
Yeah, so look, we will be zoning in. We're trying to give you our professional advice on that, basically. We've got the Stayers Hurdle, and then we've got what is my favourite handicap of the week. It's the plate. If I had to just keep one handicap, it would be the plate.
It's a brilliant race, because you get these sort of... I wrote today, it's the Paddy Power with novices. Because in the Paddy Power, you don't really get novices. They've not had the chance to get qualified.
So whatever wins in November, that's the next
The last
progression,
twice
isn't it?
a novice has won this race, so with Shunter and Simply the Bets, in the first 4 was the most recent Paddy Power winner.
Yeah.
It's, and like I said, last year was you had Cool Cody beat
Paddy Power winner.
Imperial Alcazar, beat Spirit of the Games, beat the Stolen Silver, I think it was. Cheltenham.
Was Pokeland 6th? Was Fawnmore in there?
I think Takan de Searle might have been in there somewhere.
And actually, thank goodness, we've got
Happy
Ilwa
Debo.
Dota and we've got Midnight River in there, haven't we? So
Yeah, they've won races, but...
Garlaw runs in the Ryanair today, the Paddy Power winner. So,
Yeah, that's a funny one, because he basically should have run... They tried to get him qualified for the National. They couldn't.
but this is his race, Keith. I think this is
He's
the
a three
right.
No, he's a 3-miler for me.
Do you?
He's a stayer.
Yeah, I'm not so
Definitely
sure.
a stayer. He was going to win that race at Doncaster, for sure.
I think if he goes anywhere near, if he finishes anywhere near the principles in this, then he'll do a what's the Tom George was a couple of seasons ago won the Racing Post Trophy or whatever.
Knackerat.
No, the one more recently.
Condor Castle.
Condor Castle.
Yeah, who then finished second in the bowl. I think if they get anywhere near anyone,
He's the bowl horse.
he's the bowl. That's
Yeah,
the bowl
that's-
plan.
He's
Yeah,
probably still
yeah,
quite a young horse, isn't he? Anyway, look, it's
That's what
exciting,
we'll do.
isn't it?
But he's a 3-miler though, isn't he? He's ultimately
Yeah.
a stayer.
Yeah.
I'm not biting that. Okay, I think he's a Ryanair horse. Look, this is your chance. Who's right? Let us know. All right.
Well,
we've
the
got
thing
to
is, he doesn't. They also think he's a good ground horse, don't they? They didn't run him on slow ground before.
But I guess I don't know. How do you? Oh yeah, all right. We'll get to that.
He's a
as we get
Garlaw
closer.
unto himself.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow, lovely stuff.
That was lovely stuff, wasn't it? All right, okay. The rain-splattered cameras then as they walk around then for the turners. We've got to put on Lucky 15 for the injured jockey sign. Should we do that now, Mission Control? Happy for that? Yeah, we're good. All right.
It's not those guys you need to ask, it's me. I'm putting the thing
Keith,
on.
you are the controller of the good app today.
So we've got, is the bet populated, folks?
We've had G-Rod on the first day. We had Graham Rodway, who likes to take his time. And do you know what he said? He goes, I know my way around an app. And we had Wilders yesterday. We had to slow down because he's too slick on it.
Kids there.
Kids
Kids these days.
Yeah.
peeling an orange and doing it. That's what it's like, you know, in only Robbie's style. He said a few controversial things yesterday, didn't he? Which is what you're going to get here, basically. Strong opinions. All right, so let's go. All right, we've got the Lucky 15. Do we know what we're doing? Natty, who did you put in yours? Keith is going to be scores on the doors, basically,
Well, I
as we're
was
doing
trying
this.
to give an early clue with Bonjour, Dave.
Well, there are 2 French horses in it now.
Bonjour, it's the shorter price one, Dave. Tweet, 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 tweet. tweet.
You said to me last night over a drink, you said, I could see myself living in the French provinces. Were you dreaming of a French stayers hurdle success
I've
at the
been
same
going on
time?
about it for a few years. Can anyone, done a cool French road trip they can engage and tell me how
I'd
great
like to
it
do
is?
one.
North,
But it's
North
gold.
France is big jumps country, isn't it? A lot
Yes.
of and Brittany and Crayon
Yeah.
and around that.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
what's the town that Pelly is from? Chateau Gontier. That's a big French.
Woo! Keith! I'll tell
Blow
you
me
what, you
away.
can tell he's been keeping his powder dry the first
No,
2 days. You're going to
mine-
unleash yourself today, are you?
Mine is gold tweet. Yes, I was rather. I've always followed James Reevely because I used to obviously ride a lot in the north, and I thought he's
Sure.
established a lovely life for himself. I
Yeah,
guess.
oh, he
I fancy
certainly
myself
has.
doing a bit of French racing.
Have you ever read A Year in Provence? The book. It's
No.
a really famous book about a guy who goes to live and build his own house in Provence.
Yes, I mean,
I'll read it. I've watched Rick Steam's
this is what you
Provence.
get with Keith. This is what you get. Has anyone put anything in the Turners? No. You've put something in the Stayers.
Gold tweet.
Yeah.
Gold treat. So
Gold
Keith's
treat,
going to get that on. Can we say this is the gamble of the festival so far?
Well, William Hill have said so.
yeah.
92
Halved
from
in
11s.
price.
Yeah, from.
It's the price it should be. That's the thing.
I must
Do you
admit,
think
I
this is
do
a 4
like
one
him.
shot?
Well, I don't think it was a 10-to-1 shot.
Yeah, it's probably. It might just be it's gone a bit past the window. The enthusiasm's pushing it past where it should have been.
He's an interesting horse because he
Gold
pulled-
Sweet 4-1. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's
I
that.
say we've got 5 minutes to the first year. We haven't got
Yeah,
the
no, come on.
No, I'm just reining.
We're talking about Provence.
Monsieur Melrose.
I know, absolutely.
Right. What's the other ones, lads?
Zoutelaws.
Fury Road in the Ryanair.
Fury Road in the
He's a
Ryanair.
classic
Because
Ryanair.
this is an each-way lucky 15 today, right?
Each way
Okay.
lucky 15. He's a proper Ryanair. You know what? Maybe he's not a 3-miler kind of horse. Stepping
Yeah.
back to the Ryanair.
Fine.
We've had plenty of them over the years. He will hit the frame. And also, wouldn't it be for Davy Russell to ride the
Chef's
Ryanair with?
Say magnifique. Yes, it would do.
Mwah.
Yes, it absolutely
And for the
would do.
sponsors.
Right. I've put mine in, guys. It is Fugitif. In the play, I put him up and in the know last night at another show. Just been all over this horse for a long time. He should have beat El Rodotto last time, and he's just such a progressive horse. Big fan of Fugitif, so he's gone in for me.
For the
Dave.
Hobson. And I am going to complete the Gallic lucky
Gallic
15 by
lucky
going
15.
Hector Javelet.
Oh,
In the
nice.
Pertemps,
good
yes.
man.
All right, so this is a theme here. I love this, guys. I had no idea this was going on. So that is your lucky 15 out there today. Keith's going to put it on. You can do, of course, yourself. If you haven't downloaded the app, it's very quick and easy to do if you're new to the show. You've got all the stories coming your way. You've got all the breaking news, all the breaking moves in the market, and you can put it on a best odds guaranteed. That's what we're doing here.
So
this
each way
afternoon.
lucky 15 for what is it we're doing it for? A couple of quid?
Yes.
It was a pound each way, I think.
A pound each way.
Yeah.
One each way, so £30.
Small outlay and have a bit of fun this afternoon. You don't have to play in every race, of course.
That's
That'd do.
19 G's if it comes in.
All right, yes, I've got a feeling it's going to be a good day today. Let's hone in then on the first. All right, Mighty Potter, Keith, let's come to you on this. Banbridge looked like he would be the big form danger. Of course, we saw that
Potentially
form
so.
advertised, El Fabiolo, but he's out now. Is this a penalty kick?
It should be. I mean, Mighty Potter was. This is the reason that Jerry Colombe, who won the Scilly Isles, didn't run in the Turners because Elliott had a better horse for the Turners. It's Mighty Potter. Now, Jerry Colombe got beat yesterday, but he was the best horse. I mean,
agree.
the real Whacker got a better rides. There's a lot to be said for getting out in front and pinging every fence in Cheltenham's chase course, and that's what the real Whacker did.
Yeah.
Horse form as well.
Had lots of course form. He just. And maybe the going down that downhill run caught Jerry Colombe just a little bit. He was uncomfortable quite a way. But anyway, he was the most able horse in that race. I think that's fair to say. Really Whacker, tactically masterful, really game as a pebble. So to say the best horse, it feels a bit harsh to say it. But the most able horse in that race was definitely Jerry Colombe. Mighty Potter's a better horse. Appreciate it. He's a lummox that I've never really liked. you know, even look at that Supreme now. It never looks that good, and he's. If there's a play in the race, this race had a good each way look to me because there's 3 horses at the bottom who probably aren't up to this grade. I feel a bit harsh saying that about Not Long Till May, who's a great horse for Laura Morgan. He's a grade 2 novice. He's not a grade 1
He's
novice.
won his last 4, of course.
I like this horse an awful lot, but not for a grade 1 at Cheltenham, unfortunately. So you've got 5 horses in here and 3 places between. Not even that, is there? Who else is out? Oh, Christopher Wood's out.
Christopher
but you've got
Woods.
5 horses, 3 horses.
Without the Mighty Potter market is surely the angle if you.
Yes, it is now. It's 7. But yeah, so with the 8 in there, Stage Star was a play against. But yeah, Mighty Potter without now is the market.
You think Stage Star might be the biggest fly in the ointment for him?
I think he's.
You do that as well, don't you?
He's a
100%.
plays pot horse, and he's a horse that he was.
Have faith. Have faith with Stage Star.
He's a place lay horse.
Have faith. Have faith. Have faith.
Have you backed Mighty Potter? Has anyone got an anti-post about Mighty Potter?
No,
You put him in the tournament.
set fire to
I must
2
admit,
Banbridge
I've got him in
tickets.
for the cup as well.
Oh well, I'm glad Banbridge came out today a little bit because I had Mark. The Arkle was the ticket. He was my big ticket. Was the Arkle, and today it was a case of do I have to get this horse on side for this
A
race
couple
too?
of people have said that to me. They would have had to have backed him because it's Banbridge, right? Look, we can talk about that. It's just the way the gods went against Banbridge, didn't it? Basically.
Yeah, and there's absolutely no point in coming here and getting outstayed by Mighty Potter again. So it's the right move. People will be frustrated.
Where does he go now though? They come back. Oh, they could win the Paddy Power, couldn't they? What's his mark? 150ish.
I don't know.
I'd come back for the Paddy Power possibly.
All right. Okay. Ross.
Obviously, so I mean, I played this race in the selections. I've gone for James de Burleigh, a Willie Mullins 7-year-old who really doesn't have to improve that much. He was second to Classical Dream at Punchestown last year, doing a very good figure in that. He's done a 69 on my numbers over hurlers. He's done a 67 over fences. Mighty Potter's done a 73, 74. So can I see him improving £6 possibly? He hated every second at Leopardstown last time out.
Couldn't work it out. He never looked happy, did he?
Well, there's 2 options there. One, massive bounce. He'd come off the back of 600 days off and he'd won 15 lengths on his return. The other option, I thought, is I watched back his runs and he's run twice badly when he's been buried down the inside rail and he didn't see a fence. But you're looking at form again, though. Gaia Domain Hills bolted up. I am Maximus 4th yesterday. It's not bad form. I thought he was interesting. I've played him in the selection and I've played without Mighty Potter. I've backed Balco and James de Burleigh.
Finally, someone mentions Balco. This is my smug anti-post bet. I'm on like a big prizes.
Were you still smug after the Scilly Isles?
Yes, because I knew that Joe Colon would be going to the Brown Advisory, and
He'd be up against a better horse instead.
and I think he got outstayed by him there. Even though,
Do you think but what about the soft ground? 2.5
that's a
miles soft
slight
ground.
problem. You watch him at Kempton though; he looked like an absolute monster. And
It's a good race that when he won at Kempton year on year, and he won it really well.
he's never won on a left-handed track, but he's kept jumping out to his left side. He's finished second on his own start here in a Hovis. In a Hovis?
A loaf of bread?
In a Hovis. I tell you what, he is the best thing since sliced bread. On good ground.
Hovis,
On
Hovis.
good ground.
Nice.
Well,
I'm
I
a big
wouldn't-
fan of Balco Coastals.
He should have really run in the Pendle, shouldn't
Oh,
he?
look at Stage Star. He's revved. He jumped right. So I'm
Possibly.
Mighty Potter to win. I can't go against him. The odd scratchy jump, but been jumping so much better of late.
I'm Mighty to beat Balco.
Last course and distance here at Cheltenham was superb. He jumps brilliantly. I love Stage Star.
Yeah, it's interesting.
They're
They've
my
got an
top
unexpected
2.
party coming and having a go at him. He did look very good. We're off and running. We can go to Roscoe Brierley. He's had a little bit of water. He's ready to call the first of the day.
And they're away and racing for the Turners. 7 of them left in the field now, and the first one to break the line is going to be Stage Star, who jumps into the
Flamboyant. Oh, James de Burleigh did not enjoy that jump.
That's a good start. I mean, maybe he just doesn't like fences because he's as wide as possible and he still didn't jump.
Are you going to be making these excuses until 4 out, yeah?
Yes.
And then when he disappears out the back of the telly.
Stage Star in front from Balco Coastal, Not Long Till May, James de Burleigh,
Better.
Mighty Potter, Appreciate It and Unexpected Party. So they're going a very modest gallop, and my only concern here is I didn't fancy Stage Star, but in the back of my mind I'm thinking how many times have we seen a ride like this, Oaks Exandre, for example, in the Ryanair new course, 2.5 miles,
Yes.
front runner.
How can
All
you
these
not
big
like
handicaps.
him? What is not to like about Stage Star? He is a belter of a horse. He's absolutely gorgeous. He jumps well. He's just.
And he's getting an
you know,
easy
a bit
one,
raw.
Keith.
He's just
He
been a bit-
drowned at bad ground at
He's
Cheltenham
gonna
last
come
year,
into
didn't
it.
he?
He's
He
gonna
was.
come into himself.
I
love
don't
this
have anything
horse.
personally against the horse. I'm sure he's a wonderful character.
He's such a nice jumper. He's so
He is a
athletic.
nice
Big jumper, isn't he?
I'm Now
That was nice, that.
this is important for Nico and Team Hendo because they're getting a feel, aren't they, for the Ryanair obviously coming up as well. Let's just have a quick look about what we and we haven't mentioned the new course, Keith. Can you just, for people that aren't sure about the old and the new?
Yeah, the old course is slightly tighter, new course slightly more galloping. There's more fences in the later stages of the race. It is just a very slightly more galloping track. To be honest, I think in certain circles more gets made of the course differences than there maybe should be, but people need to be aware because it can't just take that wee bit more getting.
The one thing that if you're on stage start, he really is getting an easy one and he's not having to go fast at all.
And Cobden's the Tory like when he gets to take the mickey on the front. He does when he
Little Log, the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, and Davy Russell.
He didn't ride that.
He's got him right in midfield, David. I'll tell you what, Mighty Potter reached to that one. Obviously, Mighty Potter, the one thing that you wanted to see, because we rushed into this race a little bit, he was in the preliminaries last year, didn't he? And sort of
He had the red hood on,
wild, didn't he?
He had the red hood on in the preliminaries.
No chances from Team Elliott.
I watched him in the prelims and he looked quite calm. Actually, they were quite quick to get out of the parade ring onto the track. Then the red hood comes off. I thought he looked quite composed.
He's a totally different horse. He just had a blip. He had a bad day.
Yes.
He's won. I mean, he's won 4 Grade 1s. He should have won 5 because he got stuck in a pocket behind statuary. So he's the best horse in this race, and he's clearly taken to
a word for appreciate it, please, because he's stepping up in trip, and a lot of people long thought he wanted this trip as a chaser. The ground's kind of come in his favour, Keith, hasn't it? So
potentially sort of soft when he won that Supreme, hasn't it? And he's been ridden cold a little bit. His jumping's been maybe a little bit tentative. I've seen a couple of times. But you know, nothing you would be holding against him particularly. But nothing's jumping better than Stage Star.
No, he's absolutely, he's loving every second.
This is what Hobden's so good at, isn't it?
Hobden?
Did I say Hobden again?
Yeah. Oh, poor.
Too many H. Hovis.
Hovis, Hobden. Harry Hobden, HH.
Harry Hobden. Always Harry Hobden.
Are you Harunk?
Yeah, no, he is so good at it, but the horse is very naturally rhythmical and athletic.
Unexpected parties not really jumping in rear.
I thought he was going to be their Grand Annual horse.
He was declared.
Was he? All season, I thought that was the plot for him.
Loads of good horses were balloted out the Grand Annual, mate.
So Stage Star is jumping absolutely impeccably here. The concern is whether he's actually, the Nichols horses have dropped out so tamely. But when Stage Star gets like this, like he did in the Cello, like he is here, he is very hard to beat.
Potter's gone short, guys.
Touching a twig. Appreciate it. 9-year-old novices in this. I think the last one who was at a similar. I think it's just the Mullins factor, isn't it? I think
Potter's into 2s on, guys, on the exchange.
Yeah, he's not done a lot wrong at all, has he? I mean, he's in a lovely position there. He's been in a great rhythm. He's jumped really well.
Put an extra stride that
Now, the one thing that Mighty Potter did at Leopardstown was what Davy Russell, he rides Leopardstown so well, he attacks off the home bend.
Yeah.
And he did him with that turn of foot. Let's see when Davy makes his move.
Yeah.
Ross, we're coming up 3
His
out.
jumping's continued to get better and better, hasn't it?
Stage Star, not long till May, Balco Coastal. James de Burley's racing a bit keenly. He's jumped very well since that first one. Mighty Potter, appreciate it. Is behind those with Unexpected Party. Currently, though, Stage Star hasn't touched a twig. Mighty Potter is absolutely swinging.
Yes.
Appreciate it, has the whole field in front of him. This is where he starts to be asked a few questions because he is the oldest legs of the lot. But Stage Star, now challenged, has been headed. How much has he got? Mighty Potter goes through the gears. Appreciate it, also in the mix.
Look at this.
They've not got much of a clip. Not long till
Mighty
May.
Potter's out his feet.
Mighty Potter's hating every second of it. Appreciate it, looks the big danger. Stage Star not out of it either.
Come on,
Stage Star
Stagey.
not long till May.
Mighty
James de
Potter's
Burley.
gone.
Mighty Potter struggling to pick up. Appreciate it. This could be another huge win here.
Stage
Not
Star,
long till May.
sweetheart.
Stage Star though coming back. I might be wrong about him. Appreciate
Come
it for danger.
Wow.
Picks
Come on,
it.
go on.
Not long till May. Here comes Mighty Potter though down the
Go on.
outside. Is he going to pick up?
No.
And Stage Star
Nichols,
brings
this
this
is
to
in
sleep.
front.
Come on,
Stage
Stevie.
Star, not long till May. Appreciate it. Mighty Potter can't pick up. James de Burley's not got involved. Fair play to Nichols. He's waited till day 3 and Stage Star has been given a peach of a front running ride to beat not long till May. Mighty Potter and appreciate
I
it.
tell you
I'm so
what, there's a
happy.
big
I'm so happy, Dave.
feud going
I'm so
on.
happy.
There's a big feud going on at Team Ditchy. You could
Not a few,
feel the
not a
tension
few.
in the air.
Said it last night on In the Know. Nichols gets found out with these novice hurdlers because he is unprepared to give them fizzed up as much as Mullins does. As soon as they're older than novice hurdlers, Nichols is still as good as anybody.
Well, look, that come from the handicap route. A lot of people saying you should have gone the plate. This time last year, this was your brave man's game. This was your Hermes Allen, this Aussie. Won the Cello. He came, he got 2 P's next to his name at the Spring Festival. That is a made virtually all. And I'll tell you what, we'll pick the bones out of how that race developed. It was a dawdle until about the third last.
Like the Brown Advisory yesterday, won by the horse that got in the best rhythm out in front. Bold front-running rides on the chase course at Cheltenham. How many times do people need to be told? And how many times are they going to let Harry Cobden pull their pants down off the front as well?
And I'll
Because
tell
he's
you
done
what,
it in
guys,
so many of these novice
fingers burnt
chases.
here, fingers burnt
Yep.
big time. Everyone's going absolutely Everyone just thought this was a good thing, didn't he? He got caught out, didn't he, by the sprint, I think. He was caught behind a little wall of horses. They went.
Well, he hung madly after the last as well.
He wasn't great two out either.
He didn't enjoy something.
We'll watch it back and we'll have a look at it. But Stage Star has certainly arrived, doesn't he? And he takes the plaudits here. Harry Cobden as well.
Another big vote for that novice handicap chase on trials day. It's never given the Turner's winner before, as far as I can remember, but it always produces really good horses, and it's done it again. And that race is absolutely mustard year on year, and that's all right. Gino, who finished second, is running in the plate later.
Interesting.
And
all right.
Look, Paul being interviewed, honestly, I really like Paul. I didn't meet him properly until January, and he said to me, telling you, Stage Star, and I've never lost the faith. And I just think if he says it, you have to. I mean,
I don't know Nichols at all either, but knowing him from reputation, he'll be stifling the temptation to just flick the V's at the camera there, won't he? Just with all the stuff that's been said about him in the last day or so.
Quite a bit in recent years, Paul.
Has he really?
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Well, when this thing he came out and won a egg and spoon race at Plumpton in January, and he used the opportunity to have a go at people who didn't think Brave Man's Game would stay in the Gold Cup. Yeah. He hasn't softened that much, I don't think.
Well, no, what I mean is when I've been lucky enough to go to Ditchy a couple of times and, sit on his sofa with him, have a chat with him and all that sort of stuff, and it's quite daunting when you first go down there, and then the more you get to know him, he's a good lad, but he was fierce back in the day.
I think he's really, really nice. I was just surprised because it was just before Stage Star run at Cheltenham, when we were chatting with him, and he was like, I'm telling you, this horse, and he just wouldn't be like that, would he, if he didn't think.
Let's have a look at the chat. What have we got? Let's build some socials up. Mission Control out there, if you can do it.
And while they do that, I'm glad Banbridge didn't go, because that race was not running.
No, it's not going to, was it?
Not long till May. Let's just have a second for not long till May.
What a run that was.
Who won a Weatherby Handicap on the first time over fences off mark of 120, has raced 4 times over fences, has won 3, and has finished second in the Turners on the other one. So, Laura Morgan's been exceptional this year. If it had been, there was a possibility there that you would have said that 2 novice chases at Cheltenham this year were going to be won by Laura Morgan and Patrick Neville for a second. That would have been a right old turn up for the Midlands/North.
I'm chuffed to be wrong about not long to me. I thought this was a bit of a step too far for the horse, and it clearly wasn't.
Remind me, do you have to have 4 runs over fences as well now?
No, 3 to qualify.
Hurdlers,
4 runs to qualify, Chasers 3.
I would have wanted running that in the plate, 1-4, but the way
not long till May.
Yeah. I was looking at this and thinking, an unexpected party. I'm thinking, why are these guys not in handicap company?
That's why not long till May wasn't, because
because they know because they've shot for gold and they've nearly pulled it off, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, he might go a favourite for that air race now after that, if that's where he goes.
I'll tell you what, that wasn't. Look, there was a quality field there. I want to keep an eye on Mighty Potter here, guys, because he does do this sort of he does the might bite, doesn't he, a little bit?
Yeah. He's hating something there. Look at him.
Yeah, something's not right.
Is he not a straight? He's just not a straightforward horse.
He got third in the end.
That's two bad runs, not bad runs, but his 2 bad runs have come at Cheltenham. So whatever it is, or if we're being more specific, his 2 bad runs have come when leaving Ireland.
Yeah.
And it might well be that he just doesn't travel very well, that he doesn't take to it. Whatever the reason is, he is very at home in Ireland, and when he comes over here, it doesn't necessarily work out.
That came very easy to him until the pressure was applied. Very different to last year's Supreme, when he went absolutely hog wild from the start.
Yeah.
It's a different sort of flop. I'm not sure if Supreme was a blip of a young horse, this was ground he doesn't like, or something. It might be sticky. It might make some nonsense ground excuse, which might be true, because sometimes those nonsense ground excuses work out. But I wouldn't be saying that yet about this horse. He's just absolutely hating it. Look, he's cocked his jaw. We've got the head on here. He's cocked his jaw.
One of them he didn't jump well. Was it 2 out? It was, because that was the last, wasn't it?
Yes, the last. He's been hanging all the way up the straight here. Davy Russell's got his whip in his right hand.
That's loud, wasn't it?
Is that testament to his ability then, Keith, that he's got up for 3rd there?
I think you would maybe say, I mean, that form will be rated lower than what this horse ran to in Leopardstown.
100%.
So I think you've got to say maybe he still is the most able horse among these. But when he does stuff like that, you don't deserve to win races like this.
No.
Yeah.
Look how straightforward Stage Star was by comparison.
And he's been headed Stage Star, coming to 2 out.
And then he's rallied back.
It was there, look, Mighty Potter. Something wasn't quite right. He fiddled it, and David made an odd shape. He almost looked like he lost an eye. He's had to switch it.
Off the screen.
Okay, but I'm not going to defend him by any stretch. But there's a couple of things here I'm thinking. One, how much of a miss is Jack Kennedy? Because you've had Jerry Colon we had Jordan Gameford and Davy Russell. Now, nothing against them, but Jack Kennedy has been a jockey at the peak of his powers. And the other thing is, appreciate it didn't look particularly straightforward there either. Neither did a few others. Now, how often do you see a race that is dictated from the front, and then when horses are asked to kind of go through a gear, as it was, everyone went, come on then, foot to the floor, try and get on the heels of Stage Star. Stage Star's had everything in his favour, and he hasn't looked awkward. But you don't look awkward if you have everything in your favour. If you're being asked to do something where you're busting a gut, you're absolutely busting a gut to go from third gear to sixth, like Appreciate it was, like Mighty Potter was.
Appreciate hasn't quite got home, has he? He's not
Well,
third.
he was hanging in behind approaching the last.
I thought he was going to come and get them.
He did. Oh yeah, he did. But
He's the class. Coming to the last. He's the class.
He came a challenge out wide, and before they jumped the last, he was inside Stage Star, so he's hung left across them all and in behind.
Yeah.
But again, if you watch the race back, this is the thing. What people will do a lot of the time is they'll watch the replay from the bottom of the hill and go, that's what happened in this race. You've got to watch the whole race. Appreciate it was second last, and he's jumped the last fence in what? Third. So he's made his move before that. He's burst all his energy by that point. Mighty Potter's running up and down on the spot. Then his energy kicks in.
James DeBerley did something similar to Appreciate it, but didn't he? He came travelling there and never quite got up the hill.
Still
But
not
the
totally
one-
convinced
the
he
one-two-
loves it. Bless you, Natalie.
Bless you. The 1-2 in the race, with a 1-2 throughout, in a race that was steadily run, and regardless of what everyone else has done in behind, that's how you win horse races, by being given the most efficient ride and running the most
Look at
efficient.
this, Hugh
Nobody
Masson
knows
comes
that
up.
better than Harry Cobden at the moment either.
Okay, chaps, let's have a look at this. Hugh Masson, welcome, opening up the floor for us out there in the community on this day. We're getting to the point that both the champion trainer and the champion jockey were non-factors at Cheltenham. This is a really good one.
It's a good point, and there's a slightly sort of point Hugh might not be expecting to make here. It's because Cheltenham, for the competitiveness of the races, Cheltenham races pay buttons, and the trainer's title is decided by prize money. And Nichols knows that there's better prize money for less competitive races at other meetings.
Has Brian Hughes turned up yet this week? No, he hasn't. Has he?
Well, but
He's at
again,
Hexham today,
the
isn't he?
jockey's title is decided on number of winners.
yeah.
Pick up your little northern races.
Quick question: should it be prize money?
What, for the trainer's title?
No, for the jockeys.
No.
The trainers, isn't it?
Yeah,
Jockeys
it's
is
prize
number
money,
of
yeah.
winners.
Yeah, and maybe there is a bit. I've never really given it much thought, but jockeys feels like that should be the way to do it, because otherwise it mirrors the trainers' championship and it reflects who rides for the best trainers rather than, because Brian Hughes won't have a ride for Paul Nicholls this year.
I suppose the counter to that is that
Or
Sam
Nicky.
Cowan last year would have been up there because he won the national.
Well,
Wouldn't
exactly. You don't want the national, and a lot of jockeys have won. A lot of champion jockeys have never won the national,
Yeah.
and a lot of national winning jockeys
it's
shouldn't
tough
have been
one.
anywhere near a jockey's title.
he? It's a tough one. We need to see Brian Hughes more at these festivals.
I'd
I
like
agree.
both. I'd like to have the trainers' numbers as well, because if you think about trainers like Donald McCain, Fergal O'Brien, the amount of winners that they churn out, it's not particularly and always their fault that they don't have graded horses, but they are phenomenal trainers. But you don't just have these graded horses. You don't just buy one.
Who was Hughes' Cheltenham winners at Mr. Whittaker?
Come out of thin air.
By the way, it's Laura Morgan interviewing there, and that's a name to remember. This is the day she's arrived, I think.
Posty has been banging her.
She had a horse. She had a horse about 2 years ago that went skipping on. Was it called? Won a couple of races in the end of the season. I thought, she knows what she's doing.
She's a plotter, isn't she?
Big plotter. She knows.
She's a mighty plotter.
Places horses really, really well. I happen to know, you talk about you're sitting on Nichols' sofa. My equivalent to this is my dad works in the stables at Musselburgh, and she thinks the world of this horse. She said it's the best in my yard by miles. She might have been saying that because she lost Bold Endeavour to Henderson.
But that was an expensive purchase, Bold Endeavour, wasn't it? He ran well, by the way.
Yeah, it was the best, and she just needs these good. She'll hopefully get these good horses now because she's
got
very
Adam
good.
Wedge riding for again the jocks. He's the jock's jock,
Yeah,
Well, she will get.
when the money's down, Wedge tends to be there quite a lot, doesn't he?
The Evan
She will
Williams
get good
factor.
horses, but I think I do like the idea of it being numbers winners as well, because not everybody I can't remember the exact amount, but I was in my head about how much Willie spent in France last year. Not everybody can spend 200 grand on a national hunt horse, and that is what you're talking for these big grades. And I'm sorry, you're talking more than that a lot of the time. It could be quarter, it could be 300. So it is nice to give the recognition to the trainers that are giving the numbers out.
What would you go for next year's
Well, I've just looked
Ryanair?
at, he's just come up 16s for next year's Ryanair. Is that the race he runs in? I don't. What will
you just
Nichols
don't
do?
know with Paul, do you?
Well, what? But
Depends what Brave Man Game does, doesn't it?
well, that's true.
Could he be
What
a
does Brave-
Congo Cup horse?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. But he might try and run this horse in the King George, or will he try and win the Ascot Chase? Or
That's not a bad.
the thing is, you could, if it was Mullins or Henderson, you'd know exactly what they were going to do with this horse.
Get another social
With
up,
Nichols,
guys.
you don't.
They're coming in thick and fast, I'm ahead. And the mighty Gomez, one of our regulars, comes back and says, British clean sweep today? Oh no, the Stayers.
The French is going to win that.
We might struggle to win that one, I think. Look at this, but
Oh,
the flag is up and we are hitting back.
Stop, quiet. This is the closest I'm going to get to pretending I've won an Olympic medal.
I'm trying to think what sport you'd win it in. There's many going through my mind. I'm not sure I can say it on live on air.
Backgammon?
He'd be a beast at that, wouldn't he? A quiz on, probably, I would imagine.
You've got to have it behind your head, haven't you?
And look, it's good to see a British flag because tomorrow we know is the Irish Day, right? It's the Irish clean-up day.
Well, it's Mullins Day, isn't it? I've had a look at that card tomorrow, and Mullins might win every race.
Yeah,
just about.
Oh, there we are. Okay, well, he often does. So let's get the scoreboard up.
I'll tell you what he does do though, Bo. If that horse doesn't go and win a Melling, maybe, or in the next.
That's what he'll do. He'll go for the Melling instead, won't he?
Yeah.
You think he'll be the? Well,
Although his two big wins have been a shallow and horrible ground, and this race in pretty soft ground.
This is a Cheltenham Festival winner for Paul Nicholls. He's gonna come back for the Ryanair. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah. No, you're probably right.
He's a Nicholls horse that's proved himself with a 1 next to his
I mean,
name
if
in the
Braveman's
festival.
game goes anywhere near in the Gold Cup, yeah, you've got your Gold Cup horse, you've got your Ryanair horse. What more do you want?
He might run him. This horse might get a run in a Betfair Chase to see if he stays.
Interesting. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think
yeah.
he might stretch out. You never know with Paul. Do you know what I mean?
No, you don't.
There's usually just one modus operandi. That's to win the Gold Cup.
But there's absolutely nothing about that performance that says he's a stayer. He's dictated it from the front over 2.5 miles in a slow pace. He's not outstayed them. He's conducted it from the front in a.
Well, he's outstayed not long until May, and he got headed and then he came back a little bit. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, but this is the stayer, isn't it? Nothing. Everyone else is going to.
Well, they have
up and
talked
down
about.
one spot.
You mean the hanging Mighty Potter?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people were saying, would he be next year's Gold Cup horse? There are a few
It
disappointments
was
in
quite
that.
a hang, wasn't it?
It was.
I mean, that was
a-
quite violent.
It was a coat hanger.
Yeah,
It was a
go
might
right
bite.
off. It was.
Well,
it was.
it's damn Sparky May. Remember Sparky
Remind
May?
me of Sparky May.
She won that Warfield, the 3 mile Grade 2 for mares at Ascot in January
Oh, who trained it?
on Clarence House Day.
Was it Burke?
Kieran Burke, yeah.
Yeah, it
it
was
Kieran
Kieran Burke.
Oh, sorry, Patrick Radford and Kieran Burke rode it.
Yeah, there you go, Patrick.
And he
Radford,
trained
my
it for our
goodness.
last starts. But yeah, so that's his dam. And he's by fame and glory. That's why he's mental on the front of
The
it.
scores
But,
on the doors look there,
Fair,
guys.
that is stamina, isn't it, to be fair? So, yeah, maybe.
I mean,
let's not get too carried away.
one race down, you can see that we're.
that
Tip of the
reflects
iceberg.
people that went in on the
look at
fab, isn't
us.
it?
Yeah, but this is and now the problem is I got that completely wrong, but I also got it completely right.
Well, fair play to Keith and Nat because they thought this would be the one that followed Mighty Potter home or whatever if Mighty was on his run.
I should have just been.
I mean, no,
far
we should
more-
listen to you because that place pot is already going to pay an absolute bomb.
My video is
Yes.
staged out. I put staged out on my video. So
Well, we should talk about the place pot because each day the Tote have been putting up £1 million in the place pot.
And
haven't
strictly
they?
speaking, they're guaranteeing $1 million. But I mean, last year, all 4 days, it made $1 million anyway. So the £1 million guarantee, but it made me more likely to do a placement.
Well,
So I'm
this is it.
Well, the placement is definitely $1 million, but when I looked, there's actually, the Tote won't need to put any money in to make that up to $1 million, but putting that guarantee in place ensures that that money goes in. So, and this is, as Ross right, it's 2 places there in that race with 7 runners in the end. You've got an 80 to 1 shot in second, and what, third, fourth choice in the betting? What,
Obviously,
third choice?
after their takeout, it's 1.47 million, and going through
90% of the play spot's gone, isn't it?
7.22% on that. 7.5, 92.5% is already out in the first.
Lord, is that right?
So-
Because of course it was a two-place market. That of course.
Well,
wasn't
that's it. It's absolute carnage, isn't it? If it's a 3-place
Yes.
market, Mighty Potter gets through and everyone's
And it's,
laughing. but-
90% still in.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm just I'm happy. Like I said, the only way I'm happy out of that race is that my each way Maltese that I put on last week that were non-run and no bet had Banbridge in all of them, and the way that race was run, he wouldn't have won it. So I'm glad he didn't run. That's all I'm
That's
taking.
yours.
You unashamedly come on this show, and you
I thought you were just going to end there. Then.
yes,
Come on
absolutely.
this show.
Pub! Yes, you unashamedly come on this show, and you can't help it. You've always done it since day one. Do you remember Goshen, which was your classic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were talking about the Goshen moment, of course, yesterday, because when we did What a Shout Live on Friday, those of you that watched us yesterday, we heard us talking about this. Keeley saved himself from an F-bomb. And it was like, honestly, it was like...
When was this?
It was like Pat Bonner just pulling one out of the... this was on Friday night. He got annoyed with me pushing him for a big prize horse that he hadn't given on a preview night. And he went...
Flip.
And he saved himself, whereas Bruce was the one who didn't save himself, of course. But through that Goshen clip, if you watch it back, one of my favourite bit, really, is Roscoe Brierley, who looks basically pale as a ghost.
Yeah,
Because
I'd taken a rather large position on Goshen not winning, the race, and obviously it was Betfair sponsored as well. So
Unashamed, you see?
Yeah.
Unashamed.
But no,
It's all about
listen.
No, that's not true. I kept everyone else went mad, and the reason it's so weird is because I look like someone has switched me off at the plug.
It was hilarious.
Because
He's supposed to be the comedian, you know, the linguist amongst us.
Listen, the reason Johnny Dineen has got so popular this year is because it's all about his actual bets, and he's put so strong opinions because and that's what Ross is doing.
He had a very good day
he's
yesterday, Johnny.
sitting there using his actual bets as justification for opening his mouth, and it works.
That said, though, Johnny Dineen did say Paul Nicholls wouldn't have a winner.
He also said he was going to tuck into Mighty Potter, and he's been beat by the Nicholls horse,
isn't it? So Johnny had a really good
Well,
day
he got
yesterday.
tucked into Nergamine, didn't he?
He put up an each way. No, he put up a treble. Sorry, Dino Blue.
I think I might have got him onto Nergamine myself, you know, with my very persuasive champion chase analysis. But no,
there we are.
He did have a good old tuck into Nergamine.
Well, look, listen. Listen. This is the beauty of this week. I said it right at the start on Tuesday. We're going to get plenty right, but we're also going to get a lot wrong.
Talking about getting plenty right and things coming out of nowhere,
100%.
you had the choice of every goalkeeper 2 minutes
And I
ago.
went Packy Bonner.
You went for Pat Bonner.
I know. It's probably because you're here.
I don't support Celtic.
No, I know, but you're a jam tart, and you've got it's the accent. I was thinking maybe
Henry Smith's the Hearts equivalent of Pat Bonner.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the Hearts
I noticed
goalie
that
in
you've
the
got
80s.
more Rangers today, by the way.
The Rangers don't play Navy.
Well, they play in blue.
Blue.
All right.
So it's more Wraith Rovers,
Wraith
this.
Rovers.
Oh, there we are.
Ross County.
County, there you go.
Yeah, Ross
Welcome
County.
to Ross
Jam
County.
tarts absolutely everywhere, usually. Davey Russell being interviewed then. What's Davey got for the rest of the day? Let's check this out. He's on Maxim in the next.
Fury
isn't
Road.
he?
He's on Maxim. He's on Fury Road.
He's got a pretty good hand.
Maxim, Fury Road.
Today.
He's got to Hupu as well.
If he wasn't getting big rides at Cheltenham, he wouldn't have come back from retirement. So I think that's to be expected.
Yes, we saw a clip on ITV earlier, didn't we? Sonny Angrasek talking to Davey about it, and
He just can't help himself, Bleedy, can he? He just needs to create controversy.
yeah, he did. But that ITV had a part to play in that because they released it on the day, you know, on the Tuesday, which I thought the timing was a little bit off because Dave's got quite a bit of pressure on his shoulders. You know what I mean? And you're talking about a bloke that's going to put his life on the line for punters and all that sort of thing, and owners.
David Russell doesn't care if I live or die, so it's not putting his life on the line for punters.
Well, but he is. He's going out there, Keith. You know what I mean?
Oh no, absolutely.
You can't.
He
If
is
you
going
speak
out there.
to jocks about
It's
it.
not for me.
What the jocks that I spoke to worried about, you know, him coming back, and Davey quite rightly said I was off for 18 days.
Well, exactly, that's
but
right.
It was nothing. But they were like, it's the mentality. Once you let yourself down of doing that, you can't, even if you are Frankham or whatever, or wherever you are, getting back up, it's that. Did you hear
I
Oshie
get
Murphy talking
it.
recently?
If it was a few months, 18 days.
It's 18 days.
Yes,
I mean,
but
I've had
no,
longer
you're
holidays
right.
than
Jockeys
that.
said to me all of the
They
time.
let
It doesn't
themselves
even have to be
down.
18 days, Dave. It can be 2 days. When they've made that decision, when they start to think, I don't want to ride that in that, and hurdle races, which are incredibly dangerous for a lot of jockeys.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's 18 days, if it's 2 days. Once you start to have that doubt, you
I
are
think
in a
that's what it
very,
is.
very vulnerable
I know it's different because it's
jockeys tell me that.
it's a more cardiovascular discipline. But when some of these track cyclists retire, Chris Hoy retired, you had to train for 3 months after, because as your body stopped, it was just packed in. So the mentality, I get it with the jockeys. You switch it off one day, but he was still riding out.
I mean, the only thing I can possibly compare it to is
Tiddlywinks.
Tiddlywinks is lifting a bag of crisps to my mouth. No, but comedy-wise, being on stage again, you realise you have Christmas off. You come back for your first gig in January, and you're gone. You're gone. You're completely gone. You're there. Oh God. Okay. I thought I knew this routine on the back of my hand. You go and do Edinburgh. You write. When I came back from Edinburgh, I did my first month at Edinburgh, and I improved more in that month than I did in the 5 years prior.
Were the reviews brutal?
No, the reviews were very average.
Did you have to look inside yourself?
In what way? In what way?
From Edinburgh.
Look inside myself.
I'm looking at a little peek.
Well, look, he's here with us.
Yeah, well, because I'd rather. It turns out that losing thousands of pounds in August doesn't pay your bills.
I run an under-8s football team. I don't know if I've told you that before.
Is that equivalent to doing the Edinburgh Festival?
I have no idea where. I can't wait to find out why.
I'm looking for. I'm
But my
checking
point
in.
being, you learn more from the losses, right, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's where I'm going with this, right? You
What I
don't get
learned-
anything
yeah.
from all the big wins and stuff. It's when and this is what.
Yeah.
This is the link. If you're watching RTV at the moment, we've got the cameras on in here as well, and the monitors and all this sort of thing. I'm looking at Harry Cobden. Cobden came back in yesterday. I can't remember which handicap it was, and he hadn't run particularly well. And they spoke to him, and he had a broad smile on his face. He's a young cocky jockey, if you like, and I'm thrilled for him. The other thing,
I have another thing here. All these talk about the best rides of the week, and we're talking about Derek Fox again. To be fair, I thought he gave Connor Cramblin a better ride this year than he did last year. That's ride of the week tends to be given to these fancy Dan hold-up rides, whereas there will not be a better ride this week than that.
Yes, okay, all right. The other thing that I'm thinking about here is this is a big syndicate win.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And I'm a massive fan of syndicates.
Actually, yeah, because my old man's got a share in one of those.
Has he?
Not that horse,
in
but
the winners,
in the owners group.
Yes, yeah, I've got a couple of pals that have got a couple of decent horses there as well. And I saw them filming it as they were walking in. The chat was talking about it to all the people that probably couldn't get a ticket for today.
Look, it's going to go that way, isn't it? It's going that
it has to go that way.
And
another word from Race Share.
yes.
I wasn't going to mention the name. I wasn't going to mention the name, but you've plugged it already. But I wasn't going to say it.
Well, go on. Why not? Go on. Tell us about Race Share. You've been involved in Race Share, haven't you?
Yeah. So it's a micro share. The whole thing's a micro share syndicate, and I know there are people who are critical of it because, like anything, it can be exploited. You can buy a 10 grand horse and syndicate it like it's worth 100 grand. And some people are doing that out there.
I saw the original advert where you asked Ollie Brown, you said how much would you like to, and didn't you say something like £4 or something?
40 quid, £40.
Yeah.
But the whole point, right, is that and you can get. I am guilty more than anyone else. You get stuck in this bubble. You get stuck in the bubble where you watch racing every day. You talk about it. You punt on it. You analyse it. You watch racing TV. What have you back here? What about the sectionals? What about the figures? I'd say 95% of the people who go racing or into racing or would say they're into racing just are into racing. They're like, well, we love the day out, we love the sport. God, if I can go there and be like, I own an eyelash of that horse, that's more than the majority of people are going to be seeing. And what other sport offers you this access as well? Could you be at the FA Cup final and be stood looking into the changing rooms and going, I tell you what, what do you think? What do you think of? He's not looking very fit, is he? Old Rashford. I'm not sure he's ready for it. It's a completely different game, and the access and the love.
And they get to meet the horse, and also it's clever because at least they do give the badges to specific days, so it does get shared around as well. So people do then make it into the paddock, but there's enough room for both. It doesn't need to be one or t'other.
Yeah.
Private owners are fantastic for the game because they put the money in, and your syndicates are fantastic for the game. There's enough for everybody, and that's how it should be. It should
Andy
be a bit
Sims
of both.
in Race Share. He's just come up on the
he?
on the
Oh,
chat.
really?
Yeah.
Waiting for Jolly N, he says. That's code to me.
Johnny Nellery,
He's asking for drugs. Right, he's asking for drugs or something.
But the thing is,
I think you'll be found in Chinatown at about 9 p.m. tonight. Yeah, all right. Okay.
But it's just the whole thing. This is what's good about it is because like I said, we love a Mullins winner, and this ties it. I'll move on in a second. But it ties into something that someone said on the comments on one of the shows the other day about when Constitution Hill goes and wins the Champion Hurdle, it's the best performance ever. When Energumene goes and destroys the Champion Chase, he's beat a load of bad horses. And he was saying, someone was basically saying, if it's a British horse, you all go crazy. If it's an Irish horse, they've beat nothing. But it's not that, is it? What it is when Willie Mullins and...
Who said that?
Hang on. So when Willie Mullins and the 50 best horses he's got win a championship race, beating everyone else, it's not as exciting as when Nicky unleashes that one horse that he has every season that really goes through the ranks. And it's the same with Nichols. It's actually a compliment, I think, to the Irish horses, because when a British horse mullers them, it's a rarity, and that's why people get excited. And it's the same reason why, when a syndicate winner goes and wins like that, when it's the rarity, it's the uniqueness.
Well, part of the reason Irish domination exists is because the big owners are all sending their horse to Ireland. Cheveley Park, Tony Bloom, British-based individuals sending their horses to Ireland. The ownership situation is so out of whack, so it's great when there's horses like this owner syndicate that get big winners. You want to see that as a model. Dave, I'm going to give you an option to talk about Australia again, because isn't Australia really good for this sort of stuff?
Well, that's why I'm into syndicates, really, because I've seen how successful it can be. I think I once got into a cab on the way to Randwick, and the cabbie owned a slice of a horse that was running that day with a leading politician.
That's nice.
Yeah. You just put yourself in. You don't really get syndicates are the way forward.
It's very British, the idea that the leading politician would own their own horse.
Well, of course.
Whereas in Australia, they don't have the same pretense about the leading politician being in that syndicate.
Well, they don't also have probably like 300 years of inherited wealth either. So
But we love our owner breeders and
Don't
all
want to
that
get
sort of
into that, but
stuff.
yes.
no, I'm
Right.
just saying the politicians, owner breeders love them. It's just politicians. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, right,
Yes.
we're one race down. We've got another 4 to come for you here this afternoon.
Got 10 minutes to
Racing
discuss the
Post Live.
Pertemps final,
Ah,
guys.
that's going to be easy, Keith. We're going to preview it right after this. Good stuff, really enjoying those ads. Great work from the team. Stay ahead of the field and loads of content coming your way for the rest of the week and beyond here on the Racing Post. Do like and subscribe. That's what it's all about. This morning I think we hit 48,000, which the boys were, there were banners going on about and all that sort of stuff. They love it in there. It means a lot to them. So keep the lights on here and like and subscribe, basically. Right, we've had one race down. You were talking about times between you gentlemen during the off.
Well, yeah. So it's slow by 9.94.
Really? Only that?
Only that.
And they mucked about like they did?
They mucked about, and Sam Crow, when he won in soft, last year's a tough one, obviously, because the winner was, well, the winner wasn't the winner, was it?
No, it was Bob Ollinger, wasn't it? Yeah.
So it's hard to get a time for that. But yeah, when Sam Crow won, it was slow by 15. That was genuinely soft. And Stage Star and Not Long Till May are both good ground horses. Yeah. And they beat Mighty Potter, who maybe he wasn't enjoying it. Maybe something was wrong, because it ain't soft ground.
Whoa, there you go. All right, that's good to know, though, isn't it? Especially with Brave Man's Game tomorrow.
We're not ultimately
strange, Ross.
Yeah.
They're on him at Musselburgh, and Musselburgh's where they tend to send good ground horses. And to answer Ewan Montgomery, he put a comment in asking if I was from Musselburgh. I'm afraid not, Ewan. Portobello, next town along the coast.
I mean, it's near enough, Ewan, isn't it? All right, okay, Ryan A comes on, and you're with me, Ryan. And the Gallic Lucky 15 kicks off.
He's not
with
alone.
Hector
He's not alone,
Javellet.
Dave.
No?
No, I'm with Hector Javellet as well.
Are you now?
Yeah.
And Ross, you like this as well, don't you?
So many horses in this race.
Have we all got a short list? Can we agree that we've all got our own personal short list in this? Well, okay, I'm going to give you my 3 then, if that's all right. And Ryan, I'm with you. I've got Hector Javellet, who of course was a course winner on his penultimate start and then was ridden to perfection at Huntingdon. When he just got that 4th place, which is what you need to qualify here. I spoke to Charlie Longston after that win, and this was the plan. Cole Tor's the other one for me, Kevin Brogan, talented chap, ex-Dermot Weld, who loved the ground, and Roger Fell has aimed him at this race. The other one is Salvador Ziggy. I think he will prove the best of the Elliott 3, with Aidan Kelly taking off that 7. He's been saved, hasn't he? Behind that Shoots first race, there's a couple of others in here as well. We'll go down the others. Crazy Horse with that as well. Come on, Ziggy! Could have been Salvador. Come on, Ziggy. One more. Let's get one more out. And Soul Survivor, because I might go to Ross then all of a sudden, because I'm sure this one will be on his shortlist. Soul Survivor. I'm on Maxim and Altair, which unfortunately for Kills has been having to say for the last 3 weeks. This is one of his bankers at the meeting.
Yeah.
We literally just keep churning him out, don't we?
He always does that. He puts his banker in the Pertemps.
Both him and DJ did.
Yeah, DJ. Is it walking on air?
Walking on air for DJ as well, yeah. And again, but fair play to him for not changing their mind.
He does the Pertemps a lot as well. What was it? Was it not a Fergal O'Brien horse?
I said that to him, and he goes, "I've done it once," but it was because I actually sort of coined him. I sort of pigeonholed him for being a Pertemps man.
I thought Boss's Oscar was the one he was banging. Or was it Mrs.
No,
Milner?
that was Tom Collins.
Mrs. Milner, wasn't it?
Yes, Mrs. Milner. But I thought that DJ was a Pertemps man, and he actually wrote a piece at the start of this season saying that's one of the races they should do away with, which he reminded me of course. All right, Natty Green, your selection, please, in this, your shortlist, if you like.
Yes, I absolutely with you on Cold Tour each way. I thought plenty to like about that. I think the price, well, is because obviously there's many runners and they do go bigger, but I do think you wouldn't look at connections and particularly associate them with Cheltenham or even National Hunt. But there's plenty to like. Coulter's firmly my each way bet, Dave, in this.
Right.
I'm quite warm on that, and I just so boring. I'm really struggling to get away from Maxim, and Thanks for the Help. Thanks for the Help was really impressive. Last time out of Chepstow for David Piper. I just thought he travelled strongly, made really smooth headway. I personally, I just like straightforward, genuine horses, like your Stage Star.
They think the world of
You can
this
talk
horse.
about all the rides in the world, right? I'm sorry, if the horse is straightforward, it makes life a hell of a lot easier.
This
They
is
think
an
the
old
world
school
of the
pipe
horse.
horse, this, isn't it?
And
the way he's been campaigned.
Yeah, and the one thing I'd say about this horse is it's just untapped potential, which I love. I think he's it's been a revelation since his wind surgery. He clearly needed that wind operation. I know he's short enough.
He clearly needed a £10 rise to get in.
Yeah,
Well, he needed the wind dock because if they can't breathe, they're not going to win a race, are they? So
Well, that's true.
If they can't breathe
told
and,
Keith.
and their
Yeah.
palate closes, and a horse can't breathe, and then they choke, and they can't win a race.
What was it? He'd been, if 117 would have got into this race,
Well, he's off.
he'd have been W1 today
he's
rather than
chucked-
W2.
He's chucked in at 128.
Yeah.
Absolutely thrown in. So I can't.
He's and the reason why I say he's an old school pipe horse, and he's been really well back for this, and is because he had those 3 novice hurdle runs, and then went to the Punchestown Festival for his handicap debut, when everyone seemed to think he was going to win, and he just went a bit too wide and it was a bit soft that day. The wind has got him. They got a cheap piece on it. Look, he's not on my
there's
shot list, but I can see it.
I can't think of any good pipe horses these days that don't need their wind doing before they cuffed it, before they can win, to be honest.
Well,
A lot of them. Remastered's been unexpectedly transformed for a wind up this season, although he didn't run that well on
Most of them have
Tuesday.
wind ups these days.
Well,
don't
Are we
yeah.
agreeing on any other horses, guys? Mission Control are asking me because they are sort of forming around. Ross, what wins?
My shortlist is let's go. Maxim's up there because I think the previous performance was phenomenal. I still think you have to be Mrs. Milner and Cider Burley. They're all third wind. They're graded horses. You've got to be a graded horse to win any handicap, even the Pertemps.
Are you going to mention Green Book as well? I
Yeah.
know you like that horse.
So
We've got time to
Maxim's
put a
up
bet
there.
on, is what I'm asking. We don't
Maxim-
have to if we don't. We don't have to bet in every single
I think
race.
it's maybe too tough for that, but
We have got the lucky 15 leg
yeah.
running.
Yeah, well,
Maxim, Green Book, finished 5th in the Rendlesham last time out, which of course was the route that third wind took.
Yeah.
Horses that have ran in the Rendlesham and came to this, 18 of them have done it, 6 of them have placed, 2 of them have won.
Greenbook was
Bloody hell.
excellent before
Really?
that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He was very, very good before that.
Very good before that. I
was
loved that performance.
There's
He
our
was 5th
selections
in
on
the
the screen,
Albert
guys.
Bartlett.
Yeah.
Keith, you're with the Hector as well.
Yes, I am.
Great.
And the other 2 on my list are, where are they? Mill Green, who ran an absolute blinder in this last year and is off exactly the same mark.
Yeah.
And because you've already said Hector Javelix, I will also throw in a massive prize, Brandy McQueen. For Harriet
You're going
Graham
to
and
say
Gary Rutherford.
Takarengo, Danny Mullins. That's one to
Brandy
notch.
not soft
McQueen.
enough though,
Was
is
that
it?
Musselburgh
No.
last time? We get a lot of mentions of Musselburgh. He was It was Haydock, wasn't it? Sorry.
was
He won at
Haydock.
Musselburgh, beat Coulter, didn't he? That's when he qualified.
Just
Right on Gamble, that
surprisingly
was.
good speed figures for I thought, well, this won't have a chance. And I looked at it and thought, you're 5th in and you're 80 to 1.
We got some great
Being
characters in
Coulter,
here,
of
haven't
course.
we got some really good characters. Good to see Itchy Feet having come back to himself. All it turns out all he needed was a hurdle, wasn't it? So I keep saying that about him. We called him all sorts of names, but just can't stand fences, seemingly. Right, Roscoe, time to lube up. Get yourself.
Look inside yourself
Are you
and live up.
prepared?
Yeah?
Look inside yourself.
Are you prepared?
And the next time you go to Edinburgh Festival, I shall be there with a pad and a pen.
You will be throwing tomatoes.
Oh, I'd love that. Oh, look at the crowd there then
Someone
today.
like me, I'd love that.
Today, guys. No, we'll talk about the crowds a little bit as we go on. There's a lot been said about slightly less, haven't they? But they're about to jump off in the Pertemps. It's our second race of the day. Good luck whichever way you play in the 210. Will this be another British winner? Let's find out with Roscoe Brierley.
Yes.
Oh, not yet. Not yet.
He
Honestly,
wasn't happy, your man, was he?
the amount of power we give to a man on a stepladder with a flag, it's remarkable, isn't it? It's remarkable.
Well, yes. Well, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
No, I'm just saying, it's a funny one, isn't it? Can you imagine at the Olympics if it was just before they started using technology, if it was just like, no, I think come back.
This is a big moment for Kills here, guys, isn't it? He's sort of been crossbarring it a bit again, hasn't he, Kills? Because Kills' modus operandi, as we know, is to have a go at some prizes. You know?
Yep.
He doesn't really put the fads up.
Basically, Keels needs one winner for the week, and he's in profit.
And he's done. Apparently, on the first day, he did his knackers a little bit because all the the big prizes went
Yeah,
great,
favourite one,
and he got it back by backing Man City at 7-0. He got
Oh,
the score
really?
He does. He loves backing big scores in the football. We're off.
Yeah,
We're off.
Please gamble responsibly.
We filled beautifully then.
They're off and they're racing for the Pertemps, and it looks to the eye like they are rattling to the first in an old school national. They're going right up clear.
This is great, isn't it?
This is right great. Bear Grylls,
quick.
Brandy
I love it.
McQueen, the bosses Oscar out the back were cool. Didn't jump that. Takarengo
Good time
didn't
Johnny
jump that.
wasn't
Good
great.
time
Walking
Johnny
on, walking
didn't
on
jump
air
that.
missed it as well. They left his back legs in it.
Maxim is giving a proper hold up. Golden Elliot, Pertemps ride here at the back. We've also got Burrows Park, Green Books up there as well.
Oh,
down.
yeah.
We've lost.
Oh, was that
I
Mil
think
Green?
it was Mocha
Devassi, possibly.
Was it our Tom
Devassi.
Siegel's pick? That was, of course, wasn't it? With you guys on In the Know last night?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, you knew it was just pick. Mocha Devassi down.
Okay, so in front we have the
Book.
purple silks of
Burrow, isn't it?
Burrows at Park.
He
Yeah,
loves it out in
from Green Book. So we've got two Venetia Williams horses who haven't been running well this week, but they have been on average about 33 to 1. So they're probably running about as well as the market suggested they would. Bear Grylls at the bosses Oscar. We've also got the Changing Man in behind those. Glimpse of Gala, Hector Javalex, Captain Morgs is on the inside. Brandy McQueen wide. Bear Grylls as Burrows Park has gone miles clear. And is setting a proper target for the rest of the
So
chase.
what do we make of this, Keith? He's gone, what, is he, 7 clear?
Yeah, he's about 7 lengths clear here.
Madness.
This is a bit daft. I mean, you can nick these races off the front, but maybe somebody's got a little bit too
This
much of
isn't
what Harry
Ned
Cobden
being
was
cunning
doing.
like a fox.
The thing is, what I would understand, if Charlie Deutsch had Green Book held up, you'd think, okay,
Old Team Tacos.
team tactics, yeah, but it's
But
not
he
necessarily
hasn't,
been
so
that way.
it's.
The Green Book's arguably just about the best spot here. When something goes off too fast, the best place to be is often at the head of the chasing pack, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look at Hector Javelay, Keith. He's full
Yeah,
of himself, isn't
sixth, isn't he? And he took off that last flight. He saw a big stride and took off nice and early. So
Him
he's
and Glimpse of Garner, the stablemate upsides, Antire, the Kills Nap upside. Looking for walking on air, midfield as well. And where's thanks for the help, Natty?
Where's who?
thanks for
Right.
the It's
Yes.
near the back.
Just near the back, but not horrendous, Dave. Not horrendous. We're pretty bunch apart from the one
They
in
have
front
slowed
that's
it down
taken
in
a bit
front,
of a
which
runaway, hasn't
you
it?
kind of expect.
Coltor's there as well, isn't he?
Can't keep that up for forever. Other ones we should mention: Level Never Ending with the green cap.
Yeah. I saw
Takarengo's
someone asking me about the chat about that.
Takarengo's
Tom,
not
wasn't
been
it?
going too well all the way.
Takarengo's a heavy. I fancied him last night if the rain was going to come.
Yeah, and
He's
then
a heavy grand horse,
not
isn't
going
he?
to work, is it?
But Burrows Park, Green Book, Bear Grylls, Walker, the changing man behind there, Hector Chevrolet, Bear Grylls, not Bets, Antire is what I'm trying to say. Brandy McQueen, Mill Green and wide. Down the inside, Glimpse of Garla's taking the Chalk Thornton route with Captain Morgs in there as well. The bosses Oscar's a lot more prominent than a few years ago. Then Coltor, Good Time Johnny's down the inside. Takarengo, Maxim only has 2 behind. That's Wakul and Takarengo who haven't jumped a single twig. We've also got other horses we probably should mention but haven't. What else?
I'll be
It's
jumping
hard-
on
it's
Antire here,
hard
guys,
this,
if
though,
I was
'cause
having a betting running.
Thanks.
Salvador Ziggy I'm looking for.
Some
Am I?
of us need to
There he is on the line
make
outside.
a change of position as well, because thanks for help is he's not doing anything wrong. He's jumping really nicely. It's just when they're bunched up like this and you're going to mid-flight hurdles.
He's come
you
right
know,
back
what
to the
can
pack
you-
now, hasn't he?
What can you do? You just got to.
But the
Bide your
Pertemps,
time.
how many Pertemps have you? There's 7 or 8 stages to the Pertemps, and
Yes.
there's always the final hurdle. There's 5 or 6 in
Yeah.
with a chance. So
Yeah.
I don't. Patience is.
But I'm
is
pleased he's kind
the
of
key.
made a little bit of move. I can't stop looking at him, actually. It's quite good. Thanks for the help, because he's just now on the inside there, you see.
Yeah, it's
Very
Mark
nice.
A
Mills.
little bit more daylight.
Yeah,
Clever.
he has been a bit crowded, hasn't he?
He's
Bit
been a bit
sticky because
crowded.
he's
He's been a
crowded.
bit stuck. He's had him in, and I was like, right, I need to probably
Yeah.
move. And he just got a bit more daylight
Captain
here, which is
Morgs
pleasing.
there as well. Know that his team were getting quite comfy about him until the rain came last week.
It's
Well,
lovely.
yeah, but the ground's not as bad as we thought. I don't think.
Well-
so
What
What
we
is
could be happy
thanks for
about
help in running? Because I'm quite keen.
I will
7-2.
bring that up. Yes, he
He's
is.
looking pretty good to me.
Okay, Maxim, that's another one we haven't mentioned. He's sort of probably buried. Oh, he's out right out the back,
He's
isn't he,
given,
Maxim?
given a right old
Davy Russ.
right old Russell Ride.
And Russell Ride he is, isn't he?
Little Davy
Right
special.
old Russell
Yeah.
Ride.
Davy special, yeah.
What else is this? I've got the boss's Oscar. No, this would be poetry in motion if he managed to win all these years later. He was so strongly fancied a couple of years ago, wasn't he? Mill Green's there for you, Roscoe. I keep looking at Antire. He's absolutely tanking.
Yeah, right in the
Yeah, and
middle of the pack,
again,
isn't he?
he's another good ground horse, and it's probably not as soft as we thought. So, quite
Bill
frankly,
Green's not looking too bad, Roscoe, at this point.
yeah, it's interesting.
Right
given
on the
what-
wide outside. He was 2/3 back, a couple of furlongs.
Yeah, and he's just literally made that headway there. He's looking
Interestingly,
pretty good
glimpse of
there.
Gala, who does like a bit of mud. She's just getting out pace. Look at the moment. Oh, look at Hector
well,
Javelin, Keith.
she goes well in the front, doesn't she? Hector Javelin's jumped really well. He'd be a nice chaser next year.
Right, okay, so we're starting to go through the gears here now. A few of them aren't enjoying it. Captain Morgs appears to be hating every second. Maxim catches the eye.
Oh,
got a
Mill
bit
Green
tight there,
catches
didn't
the
it?
eye.
Look at Mill
Risk and
Green.
Roll catches the eye. Brandy McQueen's
Walking
in
on
there.
air,
Green
coming.
Book. Salvador Ziggy. All the big names are in
Yes,
there.
they are.
Coltor's struggling out the back. Thanks for the help. Walking on air, definitely catching the eye. Mill Green's going very wide. He's got a chance. Risk and Roll is the big price one, who Tabitha Worsley having a right old ride here.
Green Book in front.
Green Book's taken over. Brandy McQueen. Bear Gills on the inside. Antair asked for a big one. Salvatore Ziggy catching the eye. Burrows Park still there, to be fair to him, but here's Green Book in front.
Like
Green Book takes it up, hopefully not too
Ross,
soon.
look at Mill Green, Ross.
Was fifth in Albert Bartlett. Mill Green.
Again,
Maxim
guys.
down the outside as well. Maxim coming very wide to get involved. They've also got Itchy Feet rattling home from the back, but it's Green Book. Mill Green. Here comes Maxim, absolutely swinging along for David Russell. Thanks for the help, Mill Green, Green Book, Maxim, Green Book, Mill Green, surely. It's going to be from one of those four. Salvador Ziggy's coming home from the back, but Mill Green, third last year, has come to the side rail.
Good time, Johnny.
Maxim hasn't picked up.
Salvador Ziggy.
Mill Green, though, jumps at the 11-year-old.
Wow,
Jumps
this
the
would be
final
great.
hurdle. 6
Walking on there, got all sorts of trouble in running.
Good time, Johnny on the far
Johnny for Tony Martin.
Mill Green,
He's
but
got
it's
it.
good time, Johnny. For
Where did he
Tony
come
Martin, come from the clouds to score by the best part of 3 lengths. Salvatore Ziggy, Mill Green and Green Book. It's an Irish one too. Good time, Johnny has come from nowhere to absolutely bolt up.
Wow. All right then, Tony Martin rolling back the years. In fact, is this the Xenophon colours? It might well be mine anyway. That was Liam McKenna. He just had to bide his time a little bit on the run-in. They had to go wide. It was an extremely messy race to watch, guys, up that home straight. I think Salvador Ziggy might just have nutted the Evergreen Mill. I tell you what, Antair, watch it back, walking on the air. They've run monster races. It was very messy. They didn't have any room to go, Keith, at one point.
No.
I switched allegiance about 20 times at that moment.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, as Ross pointed before the race, 6 or 7 with a chance coming at the last. We were concentrating on that 4 up the near side, and yet Good Time Johnny was in that little cluster with Level Never Ending on the far side, and just absolutely shot home after the back of the last.
Yeah.
And has won really, considering that another 3 lengths would have covered second to about 8th. He's won very handsomely.
He was beaten 16 lengths into third by Maxim Ross, wasn't he, at Leopardstown on their Christmas meeting out there. And he just didn't fire at all back down to 2 mile, but that was probably just, that's the way the Irish do it, isn't it?
Did he not fire at all, or did he fire at?
Oh, was he at? Was he at? Okay. All right, he finished with a lot of
I've been throwing the Ireland flag, and I'm just doing this because there's been some comment in the chats about Scottish football teams. Let it never be said that a Hearts or Rangers fan can't get the tree colour out when it suits. So.
And you really are Pat Bonner now, because
yeah, good old Pat Bonner. Saving penalties and all sorts now.
He was this guy.
By the way, just at the which is probably, like I said, this is it's a graded race. All handicaps are graded races, pretty much at Cheltenham. You've got to be a graded horse. 2 horses ran in last year's Albert Bartlett and ran there.
Yes.
Good Time Johnny and Green Book, and they finished 1st and 4th.
He was thrashed in that, wasn't he? He actually, a Good Time Johnny ran in the champion bumper.
Yeah.
Behind Fernie Hollow all those years ago.
But yeah, he's so basically, you just had to have. He was 12-1 for the Albert Bartlett.
Let's pick it up then, because we're coming to the last. He's right on the far side here, walking on there. Just watch him, look. Is he sort of meeting the sandwich a little bit?
These horses that made them move down the hill, none of them have got home.
Yeah.
Well, Green. How has Green Book finished 4th?
I know, he's run a monstrous race. That's run a massive,
There's something in
So
red
well.
finishing strongly. Number 21 and Antair again.
and
It's
roll.
just hit a flat spot and.
By the way, Brandy, and the one I said was a massive prize. A few people had said, because a couple of bookies were going 7 or 8 places, and Brandy McQueen has, I think, finished 7th at 80-1.
Yeah, well, I've got some comments in the chat asking for the first 4. Ross did give it as they crossed the line, actually. He was a bit too early, but Good Time Johnny won, Salvador Ziggy 2nd, Mill Green 3rd, and Green Book 4th.
Lovely. All right, that's your 1, 2,
I can't
3, 4 in the Pertemps.
I can't believe I went out of the place spot in the 1st and doubled up in that.
Because how it goes. I've got the same pretty much.
What is going on there?
I'm just having a little look into Liam McKenna while you're chatting, guys, because I'm trying to think of all the very good horses.
This place
Stage
spot,
Star was excellent, and
We should have combined.
we should have combined.
that place spot's going to be tasty, isn't it?
It is. Wilkin, I mean, we're looking.
You'd be delighted though with the way Green Books ran there, wouldn't you? To be fair, it was a really cracking. That gives me a little bit more faith for my Frenuro Bamboo. The one I can't
Ferro
say.
Bamboo.
What's
Ferrero
How did he get a
Bamboo.
mention on this show?
Frero Bamboo. Oh, he's
running.
great. He's running.
I know he is, but he can blimey.
He's the other thing to say. So
Great.
we mentioned earlier about Andy Sim having a share. Jolly Nellery is a Venetia Williams trained juvenile.
Yes,
and
that's right.
He's entered next week, and she actually said, "Well, we're going to see how our horses run for these last 2 days," because she said, first 2 days they've run deplorably. She said Fallers pulled up, but there've been huge prices, and Green Book has run his basically been the only one that's had any chance whatsoever, and he has outrun his odds.
Yeah.
Oh, massively, yeah.
By a massive
I
margin.
mean, I'm loath to give him loads of credit because I backed him win only.
Oh no!
But no, he's outrun. He's excelled himself twice at the festival now.
Yeah.
You know, he did it in the Albert Bartlett last year. He's did it here. Maybe next year he'll come in a few pounds lower. Maybe get presented a little bit later, and he might win this race because Mill Green's come back third and third. This horse fifth in an Albert Bartlett, fourth in this race. Maybe there's a Cheltenham Festival race in him next year. He'll be going on the list.
Green. That was a good one.
Talk about jockey Liam McKenna. I've just been doing a little study where you're going there. He won at Galway, if you remember. The Galway Handicap. He won on Tudor City for Tony Martin. He also rode You Know What I Mean, Harry, when he was based for a little while with Harry Fry as well.
I want to give a qualified apology to somebody called Irish who's turned up in the comments and told me that I had the flag the wrong way. Now, I do apologise.
Oh, no.
I am Scottish and British, therefore I am not used to flags that go one way or the other.
You're goading them. Do not goad them out there.
I have never had a flag that isn't completely symmetrical.
Half of Ireland's over here.
My flags have all got vertical and horizontal symmetry. Irish, I'm afraid. So
Genghis says he was representing Côte d'Ivoire with the flags. Everyone noticed.
Yes, that's right, Côte d'Ivoire. Yeah, exactly. If I was French, I would know because I wouldn't want to do
You're Didier Drogba.
Which
is what I never thought I'd ever compare you to.
I mean, I was basically a lumbering centre forward, so yeah, in that sense.
By the way, Liam McKenna's only other British win was in an Air Maiden hurdle for Jimmy Lamb in January of last year at odds of 15-2. So he's come over here. I mean, I'm just going to watch this back again because, like you said,
he's had to switch.
They all. I mean, I said it in running, didn't I? That what happens in the Pertemps is there's 6 or 7 stages, and the final stage is always the final hurdle, which is always like that. And you're looking for the one that's finishing. What
are we making visually of the ground here? First race on the hurdles course today?
I don't think it's that soft. It's good to soft side.
That's great.
I think what we need to learn is it never, unless it absolutely teams down just before racing, it never gets proper soft. Because in the winter at Cheltenham, it can get pretty horrible these days. But by March, every time they've told me, I think we're expecting it to behave like Cheltenham January ground, when that amount of rain would have made it really deep. But I don't think that applies now in March.
It was a wet Wednesday again, wasn't it?
Gorgeous,
it's definitely dried up a little bit.
I'm very pleased for wonderful John Pullen as well, because he's such a nice guy. Last year,
he's done a great job.
Sorry for him.
1, 2, 3,
on that Wednesday.
4, 5, he's about 8th jumping the last. And his previous wins, good to soft at Musselburgh, good at Goran. Yielding at Leopardstown. Yielding at Leopardstown.
I'll tell you what, he's drifted all over the track late on, hasn't he? And Liam McKenna didn't half enjoy that one. Well, a first then.
Great scene.
For Liam McKenna, certainly not a first for Tony Martin. You'll be able to get all the quotes from Tony a little bit later on. They usually come up in the analysis and at the front page of the paper, beginning on the app, which we're showcasing for you today as well. And we're 2 races down. That means we are T-minus 25 minutes. To the Ryanair. We've got 2 Grade 1s coming up next for you. What an absolute treat. Oh, I tell you what, Tony's really celebrating that as well. Fantastic. Quick celebration from Chris as well, who comes in and says, managed to get 3rd Mill Green and 4th Green book.
Oh, well done. Oh, brilliant.
Of the 2nd best presenter, Ross Brierley, behind Dave Orton.
Hey.
What you don't realise is when I went to Edinburgh, I did not look inside myself.
You did Edinburgh?
I've been to Edinburgh.
Oh, you're not done the festival though.
I've never done the festival. I've been to the festival as a festival goer, but I wouldn't ever do what he did. I couldn't stand up.
Stand-up comedy?
Oh yeah, I wasn't that great at it. You don't seem surprised.
I'm astounded.
You don't seem surprised. You know, I should have gone up and done that. They would have found it better. No, I once flirted with a bit of stand-up comedy, and when I was at Acton College, and it's much harder than it seems.
So hard.
Once again, hence.
And you need to watch Ross to see how hard it can look.
Well, yes, quite. Shall we all go to Edinburgh? A lovely trip up in August.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, a lot of people that are from Edinburgh hate the festival because it's overrun by tourists and all that.
Here we go.
I don't mind it because it's for a month of the year. Your town's like the centre of the world almost. It's great.
Do you know the people from Edinburgh who love the festival are the ones who move out for the month and charge £5,000 for a 2-bedroom flat?
My parents live too far out to do that.
I mean, it's getting to the point now where they're not.
Yeah, it's true.
Really not.
Mission Control have just said in, Dave Orton, tell us a joke other than your tipping.
Oh, that's nonsense.
Oh.
I want to give him a piece of my mind.
Thank you, Keith. We are back tomorrow, of course, with me, myself, Keith, and Natty for Gold Cup Day. Graham Rodway comes back and joins us as well. He's had.
By the way, can me and Rodder sit in the same shot tomorrow?
What, in the middle?
Me and him need to be at each other.
Well, then you'll have to sit next to Natty and.
And then
No, it's Ross and Nat are in the shot.
No, yeah, because so you can sit there.
I know, but that's
Oh, I
what I'm
see.
saying.
You're in the same shot, aren't you?
No, and Ross and Nat are in the shot. I'm in my own
right,
shot.
okay.
You're hello.
Oh,
Me
you're,
by myself.
You've got your own window.
Oh.
Well, Ross is actually the bar. He's the pick. He's the prices. If you move those prices, Mission Control, Ross is right there. Come on, in you come. There he is. So yeah, I'm in the shot by myself to all intents and purposes.
Okay.
But if Ross hadn't done that, they could have thought I was sitting social distanced.
The news is that Shishkin is slightly on the slide coming up for the Ryanair. We're back on the chase course.
I mean, who was punting Hermes Allen yesterday? You know, this money that comes late. Where does it come from? It's obviously course money in a lot of cases.
Well, the popular one has been Janadil. Tom gave him a good mention last night.
He's a proper each way bet, him, isn't he?
He's finished second 2 years behind Allen, is he? Got distance. He obviously came back and did what he doesn't usually do coming into a festival and won. So we're building up now to one of the races of the week, one of the bankers of the week. It's the 250. It is the Ryanair. We'll switch our attentions towards this classy lot.
Just very quickly, though, the 8 places, because some people, they were paying down to 8 places, the Pertemps. 5th was Walking on Air, 6th was Anti-Air, so DJ and Keels will be
Live to fight
screaming.
another day.
Yeah, but obviously we're probably in with a chance. Well, I say one by 4 lengths. Andy McQueen in at 7th at 80 to 1, and the Changing Man at 18 to 1. So basically, I reckon 2nd to 8th, everyone gave a good word for, and nobody picked out the winner. So
Yeah.
if there's a without the winner tricast, we'd have absolutely
We'd
known
have,
it.
uh,
Without the
nailed
winner
it.
tricasts. Come on, everybody, get the without the winner tricasts going.
Oh dear.
Okay, all right. Just keep watching back this finish in the Pertemps. I mean,
Where's he? He's
it's a
come
cavalry charge, isn't it?
He has basically come from. He's the last horse with any chance.
Yeah.
And
Does
he's-
anyone feel aggrieved out there? Has anyone got something you're like, I should be watching the chat really myself, but
Well, everyone just want to know the
I'm
sixth.
aggrieved. I'd bet Mill Green and Green Book, and I thought, can't believe they.
I was a bit disappointed with them. Thanks for helping the very, very closing stages, because actually at the last he had every single chance he could get through. He had a clear passage. He just needed to dig deep. It was a little bit one pace. Couldn't really pick up. Didn't have the boot to foot, and then therefore didn't get to the line.
But the key thing for him is that he has bolted up in a lower grade handicap, and he has come here, and these horses have been through pain barriers that he's not even experienced.
Not even
yet.
touched on, has he?
Yeah.
And now he'll be taking a good old blow after this race, going. And we've talked about the wind surgery, and yeah, they've got to go into the red zone. I call it the red zone.
Yeah, because that's what we were talking about when you improve
Yeah.
for doing something. Like you said, you don't learn from the wins. You learn from the time you step out of your comfort zone and you go, my God, I need to get better.
And I think when a horse can get into that red zone, then you've struck jackpot. But it's hard to get them to go into it.
the red zone.
The red zone.
Yeah. What will be taken out of their red zone here? Will it be Shishkin? What's worried you about Shishkin? I think it's,
Yeah, why
there
is
was a
it-
lot of downers on Shishkin.
Someone's
last,
seeing him in the
last,
pre-parade or something. Does he not? Does he look?
last week, and then even yesterday when the rain came, everyone was like, oh, if people were even punting in our office, he might not even run. You were one of them.
Well, potentially, if the ground was really deep, Henderson might not run him. There was no basis for that other than
You mischievous individual.
either than Henderson's a little bit trigger happy with these sort of ground-related non-runners with his big horses. That was
He's
the
won
only
this
reason
twice,
for it.
Nicky Henderson. Can you name him?
Riverside Theatre.
Quizmaster's already
And
left him
Fawnmore.
Fuck.
Fawnmore got mentioned earlier because of the plate chat, remember? So he had a bit of a
He
start
was
on him.
somewhere in there. Yeah, all right.
But
Okay.
he
Once
won-
again,
he-
Quizmaster showing his prowess.
Riverside Theatre did the Ascot Chase Ryanair
I
double.
loved Riverside Theatre. It was Jimmy Nesbitt's horse, wasn't it?
Don't.
I'll tell you what, next time we mention Riverside Theatre, try and go a sentence without mentioning that Jimmy Nesbitt owned a bit of that horse. Because
What,
when he was,
Riverside?
it's 10 years since that horse retired, and I'm still sick of hearing how Jimmy Nesbitt owned a bit of that horse.
Do you not like him?
No, I've no issue with him at all, but every time that horse got mentioned, he couldn't get mentioned without being told who owned him.
I was going to mention him, but I got cold feet.
Oh, this is why he shouldn't be going up to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
You see,
Hello, welcome to
that
my
was
hour-long
actually
show.
that was actually rather good. I must admit, that was actually
good.
rather good. I was never really a Cold Feet fan.
What was it? So don't mention Riverside Theatre to AP McCoy.
Oh yes, tell us why not.
Because he'll tell you to.
Was he the one that broke Alberta's run?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he wasn't happy with you mentioning that, was it,
No.
on your William Hill preview?
I mean, I wasn't glad. It was doing the direct opposite, because I laid Riverside Theatre in running, because when he won
AP doesn't have an immediate sense of humour.
AP, the reason AP was so good is because he still hates losing now.
Correct.
Even you remind him of a race, what?
10 years ago,
12 years ago?
10 years ago.
And he's still...
I don't think everyone gets his sense of humour.
Did he call you
He's got a sense of-
Hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious.
He does have a sense of
You
humour.
can't get it through on TV either because you're always on a tight time limit. But when he gets going and when he does the Q&As, I've done a few Q&As with him and Michael Owen as well. They are a howl. They're a hoot.
But just don't
He's funny.
mention
Any losing rides.
any losing
But
rides.
I mean, there's 13,000 of them.
But he says
He
the
doesn't
same,
like it.
He says the same to his kids, like Evie, who's really becoming a fantastic show jumper.
Now,
He's still like, hey,
we're going to try and get the
Win,
TriCast in here for the Injured Jockeys Fund, guys.
Okay.
And Andy Sim is giving us some help here. Andy,
Okay.
you race sharer, you. Shishkin.
Shishkin.
Jana Dill. ENVOI Alain. I've seen a lot of love in the chat today for the Shishkin ENVOI.
Interesting.
Did they win the Supreme and the Ballymore the same year?
Yes, they will have done, yeah. Because then Shishkin went for the Arkle and ENVOI went for the Turners.
The COVID year.
Shishkin won and ENVOI fell.
Yeah, that's right. So that would be some sort of poetry, wouldn't it?
They've
But
also
Jana Dill
both
is,
completely
I think,
bombed
very-
out in their career, haven't they?
What- Okay, why is Fury Road not being put in these? Give us your 1, 2, 3s then. Come on, let's have it.
Somebody has.
Follow on,
Chris has done Shishkin, Janadil, Fury Road.
Fury Road. Let's concentrate on Fury Road. I did our ultimate guide and suggested he was. But I think my verdict read something like this. Put simply, if Shishkin turns up in the form of the Ascot Chase, he wins. But Fury Road is a nice each-way alternative, and I can back him, Keith, all the way up about 12-1 at the moment.
And I'm exactly the same behind you. 9-year-old, owned by the sponsors of the race, of course. He hasn't quite been seeing out the trip over 3 miles, but he was a good winner at Down Royal over 2 miles, 3.5 furlongs back in November. And you can't really knock his consistency.
Check your notes out.
Because you
Natalie.
can't knock it. So I'm Shishkin, Fury Road, Janadil.
There's a
In that
very-
order.
Fury Road,
Straight
Janadil.
order.
There's a very clear pattern coming up in the chat about the TriCasts. It's Shishkin, Janadil, X.
So that's the forecast. Here we
Yeah,
go.
Shishkin-
MI says Hitman. Oh, Hitman. I mean, Stage Stars just won a Turners. That was Nichols' first win in the Turners, by the way.
Was it? Yeah, not surprised. It's only been going 10 or so years.
Yeah, Noble Prince won the
I'm
first.
delighted
didn't
because what we've got here, we've got a comment from Crazy Horse in the comments who correctly picked me up for saying the Union Jack's not strictly symmetrical, but it isn't strictly symmetrical, you're right, but who notices when it's round your shoulders?
Lots of fact
But he
checks.
has disgraced himself with a dad joke.
Oh, yes.
Disgraced himself or
Ross.
risen to the correct level?
Ross, he's lowered himself to the correct level. Ross, I was walking down Henry Street in Dublin today. I heard somebody playing Dancing Queen on a didgeridoo, and I said to myself, that's an ABBA original.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Don't go to the Edinburgh Festival, Keith.
Nice.
This isn't my joke. This is
No,
me
no,
reading
it's,
this.
it's all got to do with delivery.
I think it's quite good.
I quite like it as well.
I think it's
exactly
quite,
my level.
I think it's quite good.
Exactly my level.
Welcome to the team,
I
Crazy
quite like
Horse.
that.
Welcome
I've
to the
seen
Crazy
your
Horse
level
team.
is songs about bookies, pens, and interviewing dinosaurs. I've watched some of your stand-up, and that's.
I'm 7 years
So
old.
I'm not gonna be put off, guys. But he
hang
does look very quiet, Shishkin. Again, like
All right, I'm going to put you on Paddock Watch for Shishkin
This
while
is
I
what
talk about this,
happened
Nat.
last year.
Because Toon 2020 has been with us all week, all season, in fact, Toon,
Like
haven't
the
you?
rain,
And
Ross.
you're going for Blue Lord
Be the rain.
to beat Shishkin and Jana Dill. So finally, we've got one where Shishk isn't on top.
ooh.
Blue Lord, Keith, turned over in the Dublin Chase at short and odds as you could possibly imagine by a gentleman to me who doesn't turn up here. Immediately, they put him on. Right, was he always going to run in the Ryanair?
No, he was shot for the champion chase before that, didn't he? Wasn't he just about favourite after the Clarence House?
Because of the flops of the others and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
I think he might have in that storm right after the Clarence House. He might have briefly gone favourite.
Early in the season, he won the Clonmel Oil when he got ridden to stay the trip. And the worry for me for Blue Lord is the trip because Paul Tanner was brilliant on him that day.
Blue Lord's form is like his last 3
exposed to the
wins.
trip,
He's beat
isn't
Course Sublime. He was third in the Grand Daniel, placed in the Grand Daniel for
Talent
sure.
Deals just never wins.
Tornado Flyer, who's a King George winner, however fortunate a King George winner he turned out to be, and Captain Guinness, who was second.
11 lengths.
Yeah, he was. Captain Guinness assumed second in the champion chase yesterday, but it's clearly a 160-ish horse at the very least.
But surely, I mean, he's beat how much? What was the distance between Energamine? It's about the same, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the Captain Guinness angle is based on that horse improving.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he's done what Energamine
Yeah.
did, and you're saying What are you saying?
Well, I'm saying that Captain Guinness is a better horse than when Blue Lord beat him as well. He's an improving horse generally. So there's 3 months difference there, and he might have improved in that
Quite
time
hard
too.
to,
Then he's been beaten
not
by
Blue
Gentleman
Lord,
to
isn't
me.
Tom Leach says, if ENVOI wins, I'm giving up on form study. LOL.
Yeah.
I mean, that horse has never been about form study, has he? He's always been about faith over reason.
Did he place in the Champion Chase last year?
Yeah, third.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. So, albeit...
I can
it was a
see
long
the
time
love
off.
for Blue
Right,
Lord,
we're going to
though.
do our injured jockeys fun. Injury jockeys fun.
Don't injure any jockeys, Dave.
Because you've been up
Please don't
since
go
about
around
5
injuring
a.m. It's
jockeys.
I have
early,
been up.
Dave.
I've been up very early. I have.
We should. Well, I think we should get you a coffee or something.
I'm
You've been
on
up really
Stop
early.
taking the mickey out of me.
Only because I want one. No, I want a coffee. So I thought if we get Dave
I know that
coffee.
she's doing this. There's a little slyness in this. She's actually just taking the
She's winding you up.
absolute...
No, I'm not.
You are? I know you are.
Oh my God, I'm being genuine.
If I do anything wrong, Nat absolutely loves the game.
being genuine.
He can't take
I'm being-
genuine
I know.
sensitivity.
I was actually
Just give him a
genuine because I
Give him a
thought
cuddle.
if
Oh,
you
give
said
him a
you
cuddle.
needed
He's
a
got
coffee,
it in for me
then
because of
we'd get
Edinburgh
a
Festival.
coffee.
He's got it in for me just because he's Keith Melrose. Listen, I'm feeling attacked on all angles today here. I feel on good form for the week as I have done. I'm loving life. I think Shishkin wins, guys, and that even money is long gone now, by the way.
Okay.
They are finally coming in for the Shishk. 5-6 at the moment. What are we thinking? Come on, are we doing a combi or?
We need to do a combi, don't we? We can't just do Oh no.
Do you know what the best? I don't know what the odds are, but comfortably the best market is. Surely we all agreed. Without Shishkin
Without
market.
Shishkin market,
Last
yeah.
night, Janadil was 5-2 and Fury
Yeah.
Road was 5-1.
Yeah.
2 points on Janadil, 1 point on
Yeah.
Fury Road.
I agree with that.
So 20 on Janadil,
Twenner.
10 on
In the
Fury
without
Road.
market.
Or a twinner.
Yeah, or a twinner.
Or a twinner.
A twinner.
Let's put a twinner on.
A tunner.
It's catching.
It's catching. We're all starting to lose
Need
our
a
Up on
coffee.
screen, Keith is placing the bet.
To be fair, I don't know how to place a without bet on our app. So
Yes, we need Graham Rodway on as your assistant.
I mean, I can do it
If
on.
you're honest, Keith.
Give it to Ross.
I've never placed a without on
Jack
our
of all
app.
trades, he calls himself. Right, well, I'll fill at the moment while they're doing that. Gordon Elliott is
Need
being
different other
interviewed
markets, don't
in
you?
the paddock at the moment. This is a trainer of Fury Road, of course. This is a horse that made Galopin de Champs work a bit, wasn't it, in the
Yes.
Irish Gold Cup coming to the last? And he sort of paid for that by fading into second that day. I just think this is absolutely superb. I don't know why the negative vibes are. That was a brilliant fill. How have you got on?
The negative vibes for who, sorry?
Fury
Fury
Road.
Road.
We haven't got on at all.
No, I'm not sure that market's offered through diffusion. to be
Mission
honest.
Control are telling us to revert to the Tricos, but you know how. Ross, how are you playing this? Just tell the viewers out there because they want to know because they're not seeing on the app now. How are you playing this in the without market?
Yeah, so I mean, Janadil and Fury Road, 2 points on Janadil, 1 point on Fury Road. I think that's the split. Today was the day I thought that the Grade 1 shorties had a potential to burn out.
Did you?
Well, because
We got one in the sink.
yeah, it's well, like I said, I tried to take him on a little bit earlier. Didn't get it right, but it kind of worked out. But so there's a few things against Shishkin. One, the figures that I use again: Constitution Hill, miles clear. Anergamine on last year's win, miles clear. Shishkin, third, slightly behind Janadil, slightly behind Fury Road.
Third.
He's got a 76. I've got
You're trying
Janadil
to tell
doing
me that
78.
Shishkin is not a better horse than Janadil and Fury Road.
I'm saying to you that Janadil finishing second to Allaho last year, I think, is a better performance than Shishkin winning at Ascot. I think that's a better run.
Will it be Clarence House or the Ascot Chase?
The Ascot Chase.
Ascot Chase, okay.
Yeah.
Keith, I'm going to come to you in a second.
Okay, who's Fury Road's placed behind Galopin de Champs. Janadil's placed behind Allaho.
Yeah.
They are monsters, absolute monsters. I'm not saying Shishkin isn't a monster himself, but I would put those
You're
two ahead of Shishkin.
right.
Right.
So I think placing behind
Well,
those.
that's quite controversial. The first controversy of the show this afternoon.
There you go.
I think a lot of people out there going, what?
Yeah, possibly, yeah. But this is the. There are reasons to take on Shishkin. There are, like Mighty Potter, he bombed out the festival last year.
Sum them up then.
Why isn't the Ascot Chase is quite a well-run race?
What's your point?
So I don't know why that didn't come out with a decent speed figure.
It did come up with a decent speed figure, but not
okay.
as good as last year's Ryanair or
Okay.
which one was it?
One
Yeah,
thing that I think
Melrose
we're
said to go
all
with the
agreeing
shop.
on, guys, that this looks a little bit like some of the other races that we've seen so far on the day, on the week, sorry, that have got the right horses running. It's just how you put them in the trifecta, isn't it? on the TriCastle.
But there are the reasons against Shishkin. There's a few. One, he's by far his best performances have come at Ascot. He's put two world performances at Ascot, and then he comes to Cheltenham, bombed out last year. It might happen again. Fakir Udari wasn't at the races. There's also the potential that, like I said, that he's a 9-year-old, and that was his peak. If he regresses £5 from that, if that was his best performance, which 178 is only £1 short of...
That's what I was going to come to Keith about.
If he regresses slightly, other things, the Ryanair traditionally is won by either a 2-miler stepping up or a 3-miler stepping down, and they find this the perfect trip. Shishkin's already unleashed that angle. There's a potential that he's played his cards on the flop, and there's a few others that are going to come in on the turn in the river.
All right, and I believe after a little help from our mission control friends, you are ready.
Well, it was the internet that conked out, actually. So we're back on the TriCast. That Combi TriCast, yeah? Shishkin, Genadil and Fury Road.
Correct.
And it's 6 bets, obviously, so what's that going to be?
We've got a bit of profit this week, so...
I was going to see, because £3 makes about 20 quid. £3 Combi TriCast.
Fine.
Combi TriCast,
20 quid's fine,
I hope
absolutely
we're not
fine.
missing a trip to Blue Lord, though. Oh,
We are basically just... That's the one you have to
I just
dismiss
feel like my
one,
head
don't you?
is just... I know, are we missing the
This
right
is the
one,
second
though,
faff.
Dave? That's what I'm worried about. Are we missing the right one?
And this is Mullins in the Ryanair, of course,
So
isn't it?
we're on with that Combi TriCast.
Lovely, well done, Keith. Willie has obviously won 5 of the last 10 of these, thanks to the likes of double winners, Alaho, Min, of course, won it before that.
And unexposed at the trip excites me, doesn't put me off. That's the problem with Blue Lord.
I'm
the
not
way,
so
I just
sure
wanna-
about him over this
I wanna pick up-
testing trip.
One more thing with the Shishkin thing is everyone's saying bounce, bounce, bounce. People say it won't bounce, it's only his second run. I don't think it's a bounce
No,
off a time period. It's not like a horse coming back off an absence.
This is what people didn't get when Graham Rodway said it
Yeah.
on this show. It wasn't like Rodders was saying, obviously this is his third run, and people were going, he doesn't know what the bounce means. We were using the term bounce to think that his
What's
figure
the thing?
might
And
be
if
lower.
Rodway
Right.
says that, you're going to go, oh, what's Rodway talking about? Ross says it, you're going to go, oh, yes, how very sensible.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, that, I'm afraid that does happen.
Poor my big bear.
But it was sort of my fault because I tried to round it up by saying what you mean he's probably going to bounce off that performance.
But he is going to bounce. That's the look. If you're going to, you're talking about Bruce running half marathons and park runs, right? Every running book in the world, every book about racing, about anything, will say if you're running a marathon on the Sunday, you do, 3/4 shy of that a week before,
And then you don't.
and you condition yourself to then go through that pain barrier. You need to have gone about here. You don't run your best time
And
over
then-
that trip and then run the marathon. So that's the thing, is that has Shishkin run his best performance already?
But then, all right, let's
That's the
get into
question.
this because we're getting back into the Shishkin talk now, which is great. Natty wasn't overtaken by him in the paddock. Let's get to that. So for the trophy, let's see what the tips are for the trophy. I have gone Shishkin.
Yeah,
too.
straight back in it. Now it's trophy stuff.
Oh yeah.
I've gone Shishkin.
Only one outlier. Guess who? everyone?
Janadil with Ross. Well, second in the TriCast for it. He was always going to be the second in, wasn't
Yeah.
he? He's a real sort of.
yeah.
He's I don't want to say that he's an unthinking each way bet almost. You know, he's just a natural each way bet.
But no, I don't. He didn't look wrong in the paddock. His coat looks great and everything. He just looks. I swear to God, I don't think he likes the rain. I swear on my life, I think he's just a bit like, here we go again. When can I get out on the racetrack? Why am I getting wet in my nice wool rug?
Yeah.
I think they just get wise, Dave, don't they? He doesn't get excited now and ears pricked in the prelim because he's kind of like, he knows the job. So he didn't look untoward. He just looked a bit.
But let's talk about the
it's
trip
raining.
because he just looked at, because in the Tingle Creek when he came back over 2 miles he never looked comfortable, did he? He jumped out one way, he jumped out with a corkscrew and all that sort of thing.
He was beat so far out, and he was beat so far in a race that I don't think was worth much. That wasn't the trip. The horse wasn't right.
No.
At Ascot, I opposed him. I said, nah, these Henderson horses, when they go, they go.
Yeah.
And generally is the case, but this horse hasn't.
I said that as well.
3 fences in, I knew my money was
Yeah.
gone. I knew my money's gone. Because
Same.
he was plainly back to the horse he was.
Yeah.
He just had so much more zip about him. You know, when he won the Clarence House, he got outpaced briefly by an Ergum in 3 out, but really he was comfortable and zestful all the way round. In a way, he wasn't in the Champion Chase. In a way, he wasn't in the Tingle Creek. That horse was wrong in those races. He was clearly back at Ascot.
He loved it, wasn't he? He looked comfortable.
What it means for this race, I couldn't say for definite, but he was definitely back to the horse he was at Ascot.
Well, let's talk about some of the other horses.
Gallo's looking pretty zippy, whizzed up. He's had the red hood on, had to sort of take him away for a little bit of a canter just to try and keep some composure with Gallo, probably before they take the hood off.
We've got the Lawrence himself that is hitman in the race, of course, as well.
He was trained for the King George, wasn't he? And he blew it.
I think he just needs to lead.
He's a funny old horse.
SHISHKIN Bonsoir finds himself here. The wheels have rather come off. The gloss have come off as well. So he's 11.
He's a lightly raced horse, and he's 11 now. He's a sort of horse that once he starts to go, that's the end of him.
And if you like Gallo, you've got to like French Dynamite, because a lot of people thought he was unlucky not to win the Paddy Power with an error 3.
I've backed if we didn't have the competition anymore and you were allowed wise guy bets without the risk, I'd have been going. I've backed him without SHISHKIN.
Interesting.
I've backed him without SHISHKIN.
Okay.
He should have won that race in the Paddy Power. Then he was last. He looked a fence at the last fence in the Savills at Christmas. He looked like he was going to finish in front of Fury Road. Just got very tired. He was last off the bit, bark inflated. And then last time he finished second to Fakir Dudery, having been brought to a standstill at the last. And Fakir Dudery didn't run very well at Ascot, obviously, but he did. French Dynamite looked like he was given a Grade 1 horse a race before he just got stopped in his run. So improving horse, form under the conditions, the fact it's not totally horrible grounds probably in his favour, as it is for Gallo. I think Gallo's a stayer though. Well,
I think Jamie Snowden does, but he was
Jamie
my
Snowden,
dark horse.
I don't want to criticise unduly, but Jamie Snowden should have run that horse at Kelso.
Well, I spoke to Tom Siegel about this, and I said, why didn't they? Because
this is the difference. I reckon this is a big part of the difference between Ireland and Britain at the moment. Emmett Mullins ran the shunter to get him qualified for the national. Now he was probably a week shy of peak fitness too, and he ran like it, to be honest.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Snowden didn't run Gallo because he was a week off. He
just
said.
run him.
But you run. But like I just said, you run a horse.
But he had a cut to get
and he'd have got qualified. He'd have got qualified for the national. He'd be running in the national. Much better race for him.
You've talked about Fury Road though. We should probably.
I have. What's the problem with Fury Road? Why is he 12 to 1 now? This is the sort of, I don't know, the elephant in the room. This price.
Well, I mean, partly so far, Davey's not
doubled in price,
glory, but he's run twice in genuine 3 milers now.
Look, I guess he's not a 170 horse, is he? But the trip looks right. It's galloping form.
But he's not a 170 horse over 3 miles, and there's been a lot of horses over the years that have stepped back in trip or have found that this is the perfect race for them. Balco de Flo for the same owners was the most recent one. Obviously, there's been others in the past. He'll
have to run a career best by £5 according to historical RPRs in this. Dinast in 2014 was the only 167 we've given. It's all 170 plus, unsurprisingly, in this race part out. We've had some worldies, of course, running it. Of which Fury Road probably isn't, but I don't know.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be. If SHISHKIN's not at his peak, you don't need to be a worldie to win this. That's the thing.
So we're looking at a Grand Cru year.
Balco de Flo ran to 174 when he won, and that was a £5 improvement on his career best. So you can improve £5 or £6 for a championship race.
Oh, of course you can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But I agree. I didn't think he would win Fury Road. I thought he was the obvious kind of criminal each ways. And I don't know. It's just a it's a good race, isn't it? It's a really good race.
I've seen him at the start. Rach has just shown ENVOI in the obstacle. Come and have a look and just get in their eye. And I love this bit when they're all bunched together like this. You just see them going down to the start. It's brilliant. I love this bit.
Fury Road's the tightest on Betfair. At the moment, I'm looking at the Betfair exchange market. He's the tightest
back in for a bit of late love.
10.5 on the machine.
They're all looking pretty relaxed, actually, to be fair, aren't they?
These horses, yeah.
They're all looking pretty happy. Ears pricked.
So, no Allaho in the Ryanair in his defence bid. We knew this a little while ago. The race looked absolute mess. It's the intermediate division here, caught between stalls, isn't it? Along came SHISHKIN, however, in the Ascot Chase and showed us once again what he was really about. Is he going to go and back that up and prove himself one of the greats? Let's hope so.
Yes.
Let's hope so.
I always wonder if it's the age of these horses. They so know what they're doing, don't they? They're actually behaving remarkably well. And they're off, Rossi Roscoe.
They are indeed. They are off and
with Hitman keen to making the run in here.
SHISHKIN is not started well at all there, SHISHKIN.
This is what happened in the Champion Chase.
Out to 6 to 4.
Out to 6 to 4. SHISHKIN Passoir is leading the procession now. Many people, no one's mentioned him, but there's a bit of min about him, that's for sure. Not a good jump by Janadil. ENVOI Allen is about 4 wide and is trying to get into some sort of rhythm, but it's SHISHKIN Passoir, French Dynamite, Hitman on the inside, ENVOI on the outside, Fury Road is the meat in the sandwich, Blue Lord's got the inside rail, Shishkin's wide out and has jumped into Janadil, and Garlaw is out the back.
Shishkin's picked up the bit after that first, it was maybe 100
What's
yards.
that about?
I don't know.
That's like if you're doing the comments in running, that's almost a slowly into stride, like
Almost
a flat one.
is,
It was
yeah.
like Sir Gerhard a bit yesterday. It was
You
a
can
very
just do
similar,
that, like ears
strange
back
style.
a bit and just like, oh.
But if you
and
remember in the
Nico-
champion
But
chase
when a-
last
when a
year,
horse
it
has
was
got
beaten
previous
after a
like he
fence.
has.
Yeah. This is the thing. Look, all right, drama then in the Ryanair. Let's go back up to 2 fences to Ross.
Do you know what I would do if I was betting in running here, which I've just had a little click, is this is the second race so far today on the new course. They've gone no gallop, 2.5 miles,
Yeah.
and you've got a horse in front that nobody, apart from Nat, fancied the first one. Back to Les SHISHKIN Passoir, he's definitely going to go shorter if he keeps jumping like this. SHISHKIN Passoir, French Dynamite. Garlaw
Shishkin's
didn't enjoy
jumping
that.
to his left as well.
He is jumping to his left. Nico's being quite clever here. Nico's saying, honestly, he's always trying to keep him engaged. He's trying to say, come on, like, for Christ's sake, get into this, Shishkin. He knows this horse better than anyone. Shishkin has switched himself off a wee bit at the start, didn't he? And Nico's doing everything in his power now to say, come on, like, what you doing? Wake up a bit. But he can only do it so much.
Garlaw's looking a bit
Still is,
sleepy as well.
He looks like a horse that's had a fall last time out, to my eye. You never know what you're going to get
Might
back
just
on
be
the
a-
track.
French Dynamite now takes over, but
Oh,
Shishkin has
Shishkin,
not
come
jumped
on,
that one
mate.
well
What
What is he
either.
now? What is he now? He's gone all the way out.
He's gone out to
3 on a bit,
pretty
3
much
on bet
15 to
fair.
8 for a
Yeah.
second.
Nico, you're going to
there.
have to just do something. He's just not looking happy.
Put it this way, you can back him at 1 to 2 to finish in the first 4.
If you're
So-
Nico now, Keith, what are you doing? You're trying to get nearer the front as well
Yes.
with him because
I
it's
would-
a
I
dawn.
I would be trying to get him prominent. Yeah, I'm no jockey, but I would be trying to get this horse in a bit of daylight.
I think it's the only thing you can do. Get him up there.
Yeah,
You
okay,
have to.
let's have a look away from Shishkin. Hitman's got a beautiful position on Harry
Hitman
Cobden.
does have a beautiful position, and bearing
Janadil
in
in
mind,
midfield, Blue Lord being willing to get the trip. It's just Garlaw who does not look happy really.
No.
Fury Road being ridden with about 4 in front of him. ENVOI Allen, nice share for him on the outside as well.
by the way,
Fury Road's looking
pretty much
good.
every single Ryanair winner as well has either made all or
Yeah.
has raced prominently. This is not a race to come from the back.
No.
So Janadil has
Janadil
hated every
absolutely
second
wore
of
that
this.
fence.
Hitman, if you can put your biases aside, Hitman is the one who's getting the run of the race here. But it's SHISHKIN Passoir, French Dynamite, Hitman, ENVOI Allen, Shishkin in behind, another. I mean, he
fiddly.
got away with it.
It's first time pieces, isn't it, as well for Hitman.
Yeah, Fury Road's in there as well.
Now Shishkin's better because he's got a lovely sit there now.
SHISHKIN Passoir jumps out all right. In
Nico's
fact,
up to
everyone jumps out
work
all right.
hard
pretty
enough,
much.
though.
Janadil's not been jumping that well, has he?
I think Nico's
hated
done a
it.
very good job here, guys.
Amazing. He's coaxed him in.
He's got him in 4th here now because
I
they've got no
wouldn't-
pace.
I wouldn't be surprised if Shishkin can just be not moody, but just a bit. And Nico's like, "Come on, mate." Come on, he's
Hitman hit that fence a bit.
Fury Road all of a sudden just having a shake.
Just a reminder as well, when Shishkin won the Supreme, he went out to a right all
Yes, he
price
did.
Yes.
every
He
second.
He is that sort of horse. He is that sort of horse.
He is.
SHISHKIN Passoir jumps that. Takes
Oh.
over.
Better from Shishkin. Now Shishkin's going to be coming back in for love, guys, isn't he?
French
Yeah,
Dynamite and Hitman are the two that have had a lovely run through. If they can improve, they've got a squeak. But it's SHISHKIN Passoir, French Dynamite,
And
ENVOI
ENVOI.
Allen, Hitman, Shishkin, Blue Lord, Fury Road, and Janadil starting to get into it, but he's going to have to.
Nico's
Fury
going to
Road-
keep at him here.
He's
Blue
in there.
Lord
French
observing.
Dynamite's
look.
never seen an
Yeah.
extra stride he doesn't like, doesn't he, French Dynamite?
The
He loves
drift on
doing an
Fury
extra
Road
one.
looked like it. I mean, someone knew, didn't they? Whether we haven't travelled over, great, but he's not enjoying life at all, I don't think.
Right, here's
He's a
4
3
out.
miler though, so he will
Yeah.
stay on.
Oh, lovely jump.
Shishkin, he took a bit of fence there with him as well. French Dynamite's had the perfect run. Hitman's had a great
I
run.
still think Shishkin's going to win this.
ENVOI is down the outside and he's had a nice set. ENVOI Allen now 7 to 2 in running. Blue Lord 7 to 2 in running. Shishkin now out to just over 6 to 4. Garlaw's
Oh,
been pushed
that's
along.
not-
Fury Road being pushed
Just 3
along.
out.
SHISHKIN Passoir pings it.
Oh, flip sake.
Shocking mistake. That's got to be his
Come
end
on,
of
Nico.
race.
Must be
at
End
end
of
him.
his race. SHISHKIN Passoir, French Dynamite, Blue Lord catching
He's
the
still
eye.
not done
Hitman.
with. He's still not
Hitman.
done with.
He's
So many
got
still
to
in
be
this.
done with,
You've got to give it
surely.
everything. Nico's got to go
They
everything.
Janadil
haven't
coming back
taken
into it.
advantage of that.
Janadil's coming back
Hitman
into
is getting
this.
the perfect run through here. If Shishkin wins this, it's a world
Fury
class.
Road.
rallying.
He's
ENVOI
rallying.
Allen, everybody, is the
Shishkin
one.
wins.
He's absolutely tanking. Shishkin gets a run now.
ENVOI
Oh,
Allen on the bridle.
Shishkin, go long.
French Dynamite jumps it. He's
I
had the
think he
run through
wins.
the race. ENVOI Allen, Shishkin will not win, will not place. I don't
on,
know what race
Nico.
you're watching. Surely not. ENVOI Allen, Hitman.
Hitman Cummins.
It could be a big day for Paul Nicholls. ENVOI Allen jumps it. Here comes Hitman. Will he go past
Wow.
ENVOI
Look at
Allen?
Shishkin's head.
ENVOI Allen was a faller in the Turners. He was third in the Champion Chase. He was keen early on. He's been racing wide throughout the Ryanair trip, but Henry de Bromhead and Rachel
Shishkin's
Blackmore
gonna
strike
get
with another one.
second.
Shishkin somehow has come home for second.
Wow.
Hitman third. French Dynamite fourth.
There you go. 2 short prize favourites on the day. Both In the bin. Shishkin in the bin. That's what I was
Wow.
trying to say. Wow. ENVOI Len, thought to be the messiah, of course. All that unbeaten run, the champion bumper winner, the Ballymore winner. After the fall in the turners, people just couldn't get him right. He came to our King George. Looked horrible, didn't he? And that was just perfect. That is almost, I don't know, everyone else has not run their race in that, and he has. And he's just done everything right.
Hasn't Hitman and potentially French Dynamite run the race?
French Dynamite, maybe.
They got the best. They got the best of the race. Ross was right all the way through. They got the best of the run through, and they've probably run to your sort of low one, your 160ish level. They'll run to their previous form more or less. Shishkin's run to about 162, which is a stone off his best. He is a horror.
Well,
I was not impressed with his head carriage after that second
He was
last.
taking the mickey out of Nico there because
He was. He's a swine, that horse.
Oh, a swine!
I was not impressed. I don't like that one bit.
I think he's a bit moody.
Father Melrose.
Shishkin, yeah. I think he's a bit
I was
moody.
unimpressed. I don't like when 180
You
horses
can make
throw it
him,
in.
yeah, and he did throw it in. I don't
look-
think you make him
lot
do
of-
it.
That's but I don't think I've ever seen a horse finish second in a championship race at Cheltenham.
Haven't hated it more.
And do more wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely remarkable.
Well, ENVOI Leonard Henry to Bromhead, then it's a really
That's nice
big day
though,
for
isn't
Henry
it?
because they've got the name raised in, the race named in honour of Jack, of course, at 4:10. The mare's Novice, that's their second of the week. It's been a horrible season for Team de Bromhead, no matter how you look at it. And they've come back in the place that they just know how to shine. Rachel Blackmore gets her second winner of the week as well. The kids will be loving it. So there is your 1, 2, 3. Shishkin second behind ENVOI Len, and Hitman got in the places.
What was this nonsense about Nichols' horses? You know, that Hitman's run a brilliant race.
Yeah, yeah.
First
Had
time
the
cheek
first
pieces
winner.
have definitely helped
But
him.
it's the novice hurdlers that have flopped for Nichols.
Well,
Everything else has run.
I think
He's had
control
bumper
will
horse.
on
He's had.
Hitman.
You know, Time White was going to run
Yeah.
well.
Well, Jeb Mason was saying to everyone, we're backing him to get in the 3 Hitman, and everyone was just a bit like, all right, Joe, you know what I mean? Everyone's just a bit like, well, can we stop the Hitman talk now? So fair play to them. He's got a beautiful run. We're
Look at
watching
that
that
mistake 3 out.
That's almost a blunder.
But the thing is, he got in a position 2 out where he was there to win his race again, and he threw his head about and hung right.
another thing, the one thing I would mention about Shishkin is the way he's raced there. Why have they waited this? He's 9 years old and they've only just stepped him up in trip. I mean,
Well, there are some people, including Mission Control, are saying that was the performance of a stayer. You know,
was a
so...
performance.
it was a little bit. The Supreme was a performance of a stayer.
Yeah, well, anyway, well, it's Nicky, isn't it? He just loves the 2 mile division. And Chaka Passoir's on a belter.
I know he's gone right with the picture, hasn't he?
Well, no, he just hasn't got home.
Died his ballet.
He's 11, but he's run a stormer. He was the outside of Lockheath. He was never expected.
he's a busted flush,
He's
though, isn't he? I mean,
run really well. Blue Lord just
Look at that
doesn't
head.
get home.
Look at you. Oh, not a fan of that at all.
Yeah, French Dynamite's run really, really well. It's probably run to the Paddy Powerful, but most of those horses didn't turn up today. We've had another one. It's a little bit like Champion Chase yesterday.
But what you can imagine is, say Shishkin is a straightforward horse and turns up in that race, you can just imagine him being 12 lengths clear of that happening in behind, when ENVOI Len taking a gallant second running to his usual 160 or whatever, you know, with Hitman and French Dynamite running to about the 160 level for the minor money. That form makes a lot of sense besides Shishkin, and Shishkin's run makes sense because he's shown his true colours there.
Yeah. Well, look, we saw at Ascot, didn't we? He went about the race
Performance of a
perfectly.
steer.
And it was the start.
You know which
You just
Shishkin's
we kind of
turning up.
knew.
Yeah.
Nico would have known immediately.
Yeah.
This first fence, he would have thought, oh,
The
crikey.
highs and lows, Constitution Hill on Tuesday, the perfect racehorse, and
Yeah.
this is the engine that they think Shishkin has got.
But Constitution
Doing
Hill
more
has
than
actually
Aston
got...
Martin, hasn't he, our Shishkin?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Some days start, some days.
Do they-
Yeah, Aston Martins are quite temperamental, aren't they, the old ones?
Only you'd know that.
Oh, yeah, because I've got loads in the garage.
I'd like to know.
Yeah, I've got loads in the garage, yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't got a garage.
By the way, how many? Don't look. How many Grade Ones do you think ENVOI Len's won after that?
It'd be about 5 or 6, wouldn't it?
No.
No, it's
Look.
more than
Maybe more,
that.
yeah, maybe more.
It's more.
7.
8.
Yeah.
That's his 8th Grade
He
One.
nicked one at
7.
Leopardstown
I
over
think
Christmas
that
last
does
year.
tell you a little bit about the opportunities available to novices.
Who are we seeing
Uh,
interviewed here?
Only
That'll be two open ones.
one.
You won the doublet. You won that 2 mile one around Christmas. That was a nothing race.
He went off evens in the
Did a
end.
bumper.
Shishkin did. Hitman 22s. The talent's there, isn't it? And the first time cheek piece. I hope lots of you know, loads of you have been on that Hitman project. Let's hope you managed to nick a place there. And ENVOI Len.
Yeah, good on you for Hitman deserve. I mean, he's a 160 horse that actually does turn up. a lot
What
of the
figure
time.
has ENVOI Len run to there?
Oh, I've told you what happens. Is what the first 3 bar Shishkin will get all their existing ratings. ENVOI LN's 168, I think.
French Dynamite is definitely the benchmark, isn't he?
Well, they'll all have run to about, because French Dynamite is 157, Hitman 160, ENVOI LN 168, and if you the way they've run in that race would fit that pattern pretty closely.
But if you think that French Dynamite had a collateral line with Shishkin through Fakir Duderi,
I wouldn't say that.
But there is there, isn't it? You know?
That is
Shishkin just looks unbelievable.
Shishkin, well, Shishkin's best form would have won that race by 10 lengths.
No, so that's what I'm saying. He's run massively below par.
Gutted we didn't get the tri-cast.
Anyway, well, of course, we've still got a day and a half to go. You know, of course, there are 2 races after we go off air.
One more thing, Dave,
I'd
I'd just say is that if Allaho doesn't get injured, does ENVOI LN even run in that race this year?
No, probably not.
So they've gone, you know what? We've got the Ryanair winner. Oh, no, we haven't. No, I'll just win it with the other one.
Well, he did that in the King George as well, didn't he? Because
We'll just go for the other one.
He's got like the super sub, isn't he? The
Must be
David
quite-
Fairclough.
He was, because as soon as he was...
It must be quite amazing to have the quality horses. I mean, it's just a dream, isn't it? Oh no, let's go the other one. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, let's pick up.
Well, there's a lot of Shishkin might have been in the Gold Cup, you know, but it's, or you look at the 4 mile issue with Gaillard de Menil. Joe Donnelly could have, that same owner of Shishkin, could have had 3 in that race.
Do you know what? He's absolutely tanking turning in Ireland. She's got them all
He's,
covered,
he's,
hasn't she?
he's always been, in the nicest possible way, a bridle horse. He does it all on the bridle.
Are we going to see this in 24 hours' time?
Well, I was thinking whether that might shorten up Alputar. I've been waiting 3 weeks for that horse to shorten up since I backed him 6's NRNB.
Yeah, I
and
remember
you can still
you saying
back
when
him
we
at 8.
last had you on Ida Day, you thought he was the one, didn't you? Anyway, next year's Ryanair, if you think that ENVOI will come back and do
that's
what Allaho does.
awesome watching
You
Rachel,
can back him at
isn't it?
10-1 with Paddy Power.
Well, the thing is, if you've got a potential Ryanair type, you're fancying your chances all of a sudden, you know?
Do you know, I told you off air, I've had a bet for next year's Cheltenham Festival.
Oh, you did? Was it El Fabiolo or
El
Jump On?
I'll tell you in a sec.
I've just told you.
I love Alpha.
I mean, he's running
You're
that
keener than ENVOI. El Fabiolo to win the Champion Chase, John Bond to win the Ryanair.
Yeah,
I can see that.
yeah. John Bond definitely.
And how can you not see that?
El Fabiolo.
After this, you know, I mean, what John, the figure John Bond ran to on Tuesday over 2 miles would have got him placed there.
Yeah.
I think. You know, he'd probably run to low 160s to finish second in that race to El Fabiolo.
164 the other day.
Yeah, and now that would have got. I reckon that will be higher than anything in that race bar the winner today.
Well, we could have a little recount, couldn't we? Of what's
164
happened so
finished. You would have third to Allaho last year. You would have finished 4th the year before. John Boy only needs to improve a handful of pounds, and he's a Ryanair.
There's not another McManus horse for the Ryanair, is there?
Captain hindsights and all that, but Keels was saying when we did the big jump off in this studio in October, the Turners is the race for John Bond. And my worry about him coming into this festival was, well, having looked at him at Warwick, I thought he did one a bit further. Let's just hope Nicky does go up and trip with him, eh? He might have a champion chaser anyway in waiting, isn't he, for next season? So.
Well, that's the thing that will force his hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
They don't have many good novice hurdlers at the moment, Nicky. They're light on that again.
we might see the best today, 4:10.
The mare, Lucia,
It's
which
10
is
to
our
5
final
that
race.
race.
No, it's not. It's 4:10.
4:10.
Well, the Dawn Run.
Yeah, the
Dawn Run's 4:50.
Oh, it's 4:50, yeah.
hang on a minute.
Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah, of
plate's
course
at
we're doing the
4:10.
plate, aren't we? Oh, my
Yeah, we're
God.
not doing the Dawn Run.
Sorry, God.
Thank God for that.
We're all
Yeah.
where's the coffee?
Can we all have a coffee?
What was
I
in
don't
that Chinatown restaurant last night?
I don't want
No, it was Four Seasons, by the way. It was absolutely fantastic. Okay, all right. It's the plate. Thank you, Keith, because that's your lucky 15, isn't it? Coming up.
Yes, as it just
We
it's
could do
a
with
nice
a bit of
love.
help on that one.
I think that's. I think we need to. Yeah.
Yeah.
RIP our lucky 15. I think.
Oh, okay. All right. That means we need to team in on this next race, guys, and get some profit.
What's the scores? The scores on the.
Yeah.
Nudged a couple of
Are we
seconds.
all on one?
Jim McGee says, I think Shishkin goes on the long list of horses with unbelievable talent, but far too many idiosyncrasies to be backed with any confidence.
Now, Jim, I think
That's
you're right.
well surmised, I think.
I think you're right, Jim. But I can't think of a horse in recent memory that's as talented as that and potentially as quirky as that. You know, there's a lot. This is beyond Archibald levels. What I saw today. You know, Archibald wasn't as good as Shishkin and wasn't as quirky either.
Tell you what, I would hate to be one of your daughters who hasn't done her homework, because you are. That's it. I'm not having any of this.
Swine!
That's 3 times in 12 months that horse has spat it out.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Tell you what.
I'm with you.
Tell you what.
Yeah,
Keith,
fair.
this was supposed to be your day, man. I hope you've got something special in the next 2 races because
I'm joint top, Dave.
you're joint top. But we are. But
With
we
not a
are-
handicap chase run yet.
No.
Come on.
No. Well, quite. It's all right.
Don't
That's
worry,
coming.
Ross.
No, it's fine. I mean, I a green book. I didn't get anything for it.
Yeah.
4th at 50 to 1.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay,
That's the
Ross.
worst one today. And
Oh, can we give you
French
a point?
Dynamite went only
I
with.
think we should give you a point
me
for
a point.
that.
No. Don't you start with all that
Why?
rubbish. You
1
you
point.
mess
He
around
got
with this table and
50
these
to-
points. Mission Control gets
No,
sucker for
I-
you. Don't hit me with your pen either. For goodness sake.
I think my
Never mess with a baby brain.
my filthy each way bets and multiples had French Dynamite in it, and it might have been first 3 only.
Oh, it will have been. We can only
It
hope.
will have been.
We can only hope. I just want to talk about some also rans in that. Fury Road looked like he wanted every yard of 3 mile there to me. Janadil, after
What,
that
his
early error,
box?
never going.
What?
Janadil hated it
I
every
hated
second
it.
of that.
So many horses hated that.
Yeah, he almost
But
showed
then
his hand a
when
bit
Fury
too
Road's
much.
over 3 miles, it doesn't look like he wants it. It's
I
very
know, he's caught between
confusing.
stools. It's very confusing.
Fury Road's confusing.
I'm just
really.
starting to think that maybe Michael
you
O'Leary
think-
had a point. That's
Do you think Shishkin could be something physical?
Let's get
Physical.
That
Yes, I do.
That wasn't the
I don't
question.
know.
Yes, I do.
Oh, I thought you
At the
might.
age, yes, I do.
I thought you might.
Yes, I do, because when he's like that and he just comes, he's like, oh, I don't
Look,
have to. And he doesn't.
there's
He
a-
wouldn't jump like that without a little niggle wiggle, would he?
Is there a potential that the Ascot race where he beat Energumen basically broke him a bit?
Well, yeah, no,
always
yes, of course
potential.
there is.
Yeah.
But what we saw at Ascot
May have
was
broke him
beautiful, wasn't it?
Here.
The heart. Yeah.
Broke him in
Oh, I
here.
don't know. I'm not sure.
And
about
then when it breaks him in here, breaks him in here.
You know what he's going to
that.
do,
Yes,
by the
it
way?
is an Altior thing. Mission Control saying it's Altior, it's Altior.
You know what he's going to do, don't you? He's going to go to Aintree and win the ball by 10 lengths. Something. He's going to come back and every time you think you've got Shishkin figured out, he'll do the complete
Yeah, yeah,
opposite.
I
This is
agree.
perfect time though when we saw him blunder through with Nico and Nico managed to keep a great sense of balance here. I do think Dave's got a point. When we talk about Shishkin, it's hard to say that he's not got any physical problem because he's not jumping like
That's
how
what I
he
mean.
should.
Something's not right.
It doesn't look right.
But then it's probably a combination of the two because Keith is right. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as say swine, but
He's belted 3 out, and he's still
Yeah.
come to win his race 2
it's
out.
the start. That makes you think it's in the clouds,
Yes.
doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
It's the start. I don't get that. He didn't really want to go out
It's
on the
almost
track,
like,
did he?
oh, sorry, what? Are we off?
Yeah, and for a horse of his calibre and his class, you don't make so many mistakes like that.
That's-
Too many mistakes.
That downhill run to 3 out, he's worn that, nearly got Nico off, and he's jumped the second last a length down.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the put up as well, how far he ran up that.
One last point before we move on is Stage Star. Cheltenham horse, ENVOI LM, Cheltenham horse. That's now 3 wins from 4 completed starts at the festival, and obviously, you know, God knows what would have happened in the turn.
Mill Green and Green Book.
Green Book, Cheltenham
Cheltenham
horse.
horse.
Yeah,
It's-
Cheltenham form.
It's
Course, is that the biggest one?
Of course.
Bruce yesterday was
Well, every race, we said it yesterday,
Crying
was it on
about
in the note? We said that every race at Cheltenham is the best trial for itself,
yeah.
generally speaking, you know. And that's bearing out today pretty well. You know, ENVOI Island hasn't won this race before. Stage Star's a course and distance winner.
that's his
ENVOI
third
Island's
festival
been
win. Yes,
he's
fantastic.
won
That
it
gives me a
2
bit of
third in a
hope for
champion
Gold
chase
Tweet
other
there.
year.
Should we talk a bit more about ENVOI Land? I feel like we're sort of
Oh,
looking
good.
at the-
Lydia's interviewing
looking at the-
Nico.
We're talking about the
Talk about what, sorry?
winner, ENVOI LN. I mean, to get 3 festival wins and to go, I mean, it's a big story about this horse as well, of course, the Gordon Elliott saga.
ENVOI Island, yeah. I mean,
now
the thing,
8.
the reason we're not talking about him so much is we
Grade
don't
Grade 1s.
reckon he's
When he has classical
had to run a. He might not have run a career best there. It's his biggest win,
That's what I'm saying.
but I don't think he's necessarily run a career best on the figures.
But he was absolutely tanking going in, isn't it? I mean, what had he done prior to that? Was it the King George one?
No, he's never in the King George, but he got held up in the King George. That's
But
death,
to
isn't
bring
it?
him back from that, you know what I mean? It's like he did it with Manolo.
I mean, I'm not
didn't turn up.
I'm not
The
surprised.
problem this week, though, it's
he's
just
done really
been
well, hasn't he?
absolutely remarkable. And obviously, Rachel Blackmore has been phenomenal. And
Yeah.
last year did not go to
strong.
plan for them. Basically, what happened last year was everyone said that 2021 was a blip and everything went right for the Bromhead team and it won't happen again. What's actually happened is last year was a blip.
Yeah.
And they're an actually
fair.
fantastic target yard. Because
Yard.
they've come to Cheltenham and they've done it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
That's fair.
But
But
the
the
way
horse-
he was travelling
They
into
had a
home straight
blip,
was
not-
fantastic
Yeah.
to see.
The Bromheads
Don't
wouldn't-
take anything away from ENVOI, I think.
No, the problem is he's won a
Tom
race.
Leach has given up form study, of course. That's what he said prior to the race, wasn't it? So
he did, yeah.
Back to guessing, Tom.
Dean Gripton has very smoothly moved us onto the stairs hurdle as well. Because he said...
Well,
Go on.
no, because the problem is, winner on Tuesday, winner on Wednesday, winner on Thursday. Could win the Gold Cup.
Gold Cup winner, come on.
Everything you've said about Aploutard, you could have applied to ENVOI, Alan, and look what he's just done. So you can't say that now.
I'm not sure about that.
No, his last run, never in the mix.
Since November. You know what I mean? It was a P. It wasn't like a.
That was a P.
Just
Did
didn't
last
get
time.
home in the.
But potentially, I mean, Aploutard's one of the best jumpers you'll ever see. As in, he is
Wasn't it
selling
Haydock, was he?
back.
But yeah, no, look.
No,
all
Haydock
right.
was disaster.
Look, we've got all that to come. It's the race of the week. It is tomorrow. We've still got 2 more to come for you. This
ENVOI
afternoon.
Lane got beat
on Racing Post
51
Live.
lengths. It should have been a P.
I didn't know. I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe it
This
wasn't a
panel
P.
is quite testy today. I can tell it. We were sort of jumping into each other a little bit. We're not happy with each other. We had a lovely team meal. Was that the peak of the week for us?
Do you know why? It's because no one's tipped to winning yet.
Well, look, Ross, they're making you happy in the tournament.
Oh, have you got a smiley face?
Well, they're giving him a green book. All right, so.
Oh, look!
So Ross actually managed to get Green Book into the places, everyone. So he's having a great day, and we've just given him a Green Book there as well. Right now, one horse that has got his ground coming into this week. No matter what you say, even if it is good to soft, it's not what they thought Tehupu would be facing a couple of weeks ago, and he is a hard favourite for the Stayers Hurdle. This is Honeysuckle Form. This is the Imperious Galmoy winner. A lot of people's lay of the week, a month or so ago, he's got his ground. Blazing Cal, who's got that ooh about him, that unknown about him still for Charles Burns. He's around about 4s. The gamble of the week, unsurprisingly, going out a little bit now. En Francais, Gold Tweet, and going for a hat-trick. Flooring Porter, I know Roscoe's keen on that. I was listening to a little bit of In the Know in the car on the way home last night. Follow me everywhere. Home by the Lee, only 6th last year, but he's turned himself inside out. Classical Dream, Beast When Fresh, I keep saying. Paisley Park, Sire de Burley, Ashdale Bob, 2nd in last year's Cold Cup. Henri Le Faceur, the Mount of Felix de Jars coming over, who's got, form with Gold Tweet, and Dashel Drasher beaten by Gold Tweet in that cleave. The admirable Dashel makes a scintillating lineup, doesn't it? Let's find out what the panel think are going to win, and this is going to be the profit for the Jockeys Van Confeder.
I've been able to back the 2 best horses in the race, both at 8-1.
Take to the floor.
Dean Gripton, as I was giving him a big shout out, he said Flooring Porter has won the trial for this race the last 2 years, but haven't won this race. Continually underestimated. Nothing wrong with his 2 runs this season that aren't. If you view it through the prism of what he did last year, in the sense that everything was a lead up to Cheltenham, he's not run badly at all, the 2 runs this year. There's no saints in this race. Tehupu's really got to prove he stays 3 miles properly. That was a real doddle when he won the Galmoy.
There are no saints in the world. Blazing Cal.
Blazing Cal, he's got that. He's got the bounce hanging over him. And has he actually shown that much to get to that level? Gold Tweet, that was impressive in the cleave. What was that cleave worth? Home by the Lee, he's a better horse this year, but he has shown that ability to drop anchor, and that gets you nowhere at Cheltenham. Classical Dream is the other one we'll come on to, who I've backed. He's a monstrous talent, but he's a law unto himself. So there's no saints in the race. Flooring Porter, I shouldn't be able to back him at 8s on Betfair, but I have. And Classical Dream's the other one. His form is really top class. He is clearly just an animal with loads of ability. He won that Supreme so well.
Got to be fresh.
His record fresh is excellent. He's won that race at Punchestown. He won the champion stayer at Leopardstown the last 2 years. Since he won that last one, he's been 2nd in a French champion hurdle, and he finished 2nd to Tehupu in the Hatton's Grace. Now, that horse has never come into a race with better form than that. He's had the break, which is what he generally needs. He was 11-4 favourite last year. What's he done wrong?
Classical.
Apart from finish 5th in the race last year.
Well, because he wasn't fresh. My worry about him, Keith, is he's quite a keen horse, and I wonder whether
he's mental.
I wonder whether he'll meet 2 or 3 stronger stayers.
Well,
that's my worry.
The stronger stayers angle I can see.
But
he's won those races.
If I'm playing it for the trophy, I wouldn't be putting Classical Dream in, but I have backed him as well. Because it's too big a price.
But it's either way. What I've put in for the trophy, I actually forget. But my betting strategy is
you can see Paul, can't you, turning in?
Potentially. I mean, yeah.
Tight hold.
Well, he's not winning if he's not.
It's a shame we can't show the replay because last year you said about the start for Shishkin.
Yes, it was the start last year, wasn't it?
It was shocking for Classical Dream. He missed it by 5 lengths.
Get on your members club and have a look. Roscoe's saying basically.
Well, in
That's
fact,
how they do
I'm
it,
going to
Ross.
read.
I'm watching now.
I mean, bearing in mind, to be fair, we commentate through the race without it, so I'm going to commentate through the start of the Stayers Hurdle last year. And they're lining up for the Stayers. Classical Dreams about 6 lengths off the pace, and he missed a little bit, and Florian Porter's jumped into the lead and back.
He's further ahead of Classical Dream there than he is at the finish.
Yeah, and every other horse pretty much runs up and down on the spot. Now, so that race for me, like I said, last year's festival was always the first place to start for a winner. Now, Tom Siegelby making a very good point about, it is a good point, about Florian Porter, that the races he's been beaten in are the same, but the performances haven't been the same. So he thinks he's not the same horse. But I think the major difference between the 2 races he's come into this is the ground. And the ground, the Christmas Hurdle at Leopardstown the year before was, I think, put it this way, this year it was slow by 43. The year before, when he finished second, it was slow by 25. That is a monstrous, monstrous difference.
Is this your nap today?
Yeah, it was going to be my nap of the week before I had 3 horses I fancied, Ashrow Diamond, Banbridge and this. The other 2 are non-runners and this. The year before, when Durasso won, when he fell, and he still wasn't out of it that day, that race at Navan was slow by 1.7. This year, it was slow by 16.7. He just hates soft ground. Now, I went off him a bit last night because I thought, the ground's going to get really soft, but it's clearly not.
Yeah, it's
that
not.
bad.
And I mean, Danny Mullins and him are like a lion jumping around here from the front, aren't they?
And he's only 8.
It was a great performance
Yes.
last year. The interesting thing about Florian Porter is, from a historical point of view, I think he becomes, if he wins this, the first horse to win 3 races at Cheltenham Festival without a 1 next to his name going into it. Something like that. He's come into it looking like he might not be at his best. I mean, Florian Porter, when he won it the first year, they were calling him a lunatic, weren't they? Do you remember?
Yeah.
He couldn't
Hasn't he won loads of handicaps that season?
he won off like a mark of 120s, didn't he, or something insane? And they were saying, oh no, he went to Punchestown, he hung all the way around, all that sort of stuff.
No, he won going into his first
yeah,
one.
because he's only a 6-timer when he won it the first year.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, all right. So there was some sort of stat that I read about him. Anyway, so what I'm saying is he's an underrated dual winner.
Yeah. As the tweet from In the Know last night keeps going around with my face on it, it says he's continually underestimated. And he is. Because the thing is, in the Stayers,
We've wheeled you out, have we?
people think that the Stayers Hurdle, you say, it's a championship race at the Cheltenham Festival. Yeah, but there's usually only 2 good horses in it, 1 good horse in it, and there's only 1 good race too. So the only time the horses tend to show the championship standard is in this race.
Do people like this race these days? It used to be, I mean, Barracuda would be one of my top 3 horses of all time.
We've had some I mean, Barracuda, Ingoldsdriver, Big Books.
The year that I first got into
Bliss,
it, what was the Henderson horse in the Lloyd Webber colours?
Big Books, very special.
That won it. Oh, he's a brilliant chaser later on as well. He was absolutely superb. He beat an Irish horse.
Wasn't Bacchanal?
Bacchanal.
Yeah.
Keith.
We've had some Redemption, Iris's Gift. We've had some 3 milers in the past. Thistlecrack, mate.
Yeah.
What a horse that was.
Oh, what a performance.
I mean, Paisley on his day.
Yeah.
He's probably the best, and he's the only horse I've
Big
seen that might have beat Big Bucks.
Books was the best.
Thistlecrack that season.
But I wonder whether the race got a bit. I know Big Bucks was brilliant, world record and all that sort of stuff, but I wonder whether the race took a bit of a battering by punters and just its place in the festival, because Big Bucks used to turn up and just win it.
I like the alternate history where Sam Thomas didn't fall off him at the last in the Hennessy.
And he goes on
because he'd have won that
and
on
he
his
goes and
ear.
beats Denman and all that sort of
Well,
stuff.
he doesn't beat Denman, but he wins the Hennessy. For Madison de Burley won that Hennessy, I think, and Air Force One was second, and he'd have beat them both.
And goes to King George, isn't it?
And then he goes and runs in the King George. He never runs over hurdles.
I got cheeky with Sam Thomas when I interviewed him on What a Shout for the first time. I was told I could get cheeky with him. I'd never met him, and I said to him,
he's great crack.
And I was telling him, how well he would do just before he won the Welsh National with the horse that runs in the
I will do it.
Midlands.
Is that running on Saturday?
Top weight,
Oh, it's a good horse.
We need to talk about this after the show, by the way.
I've not looked at the Midlands National decks yet.
I've got the winner, by the way. Anyway, filthy that talk right now, isn't it? But I said to him, have you had lots of Christmas cards from the owners of big trucks and all that sort of stuff? Because you basically made the horse, didn't you, by falling off? And all that sort of
He
he did find it quite funny. He was a bit like, eh. And he came back at me as well.
He'd
with
like
something
that,
about being a larger-than-life pundit or something. Look, I wonder whether this race is what it used to be. I'm not sure. But can we all agree also that this is the most competitive running for a long time?
Comfortably. I mean,
very competitive.
You've got Tiapu coming into this off the back of basically 2 career bests, where he's really found his feet. He's a 6-year-old for Elliot, and he's clearly in the form of his life. We've got Blazing Carl, who's won twice around the track and comes into this.
Does anyone like Blazing Carl?
Someone in the chat's told me to basically, he says,
is it Blazing Carl or is it Blazing Cal?
He says, stop overthinking
Carl,
it, Ross. Blazing Cal wins. Now, nobody's ever been castigated for underthinking.
Well, he doesn't half look
It's
nice
always the
in the
underthinkers that accuse the overthinkers.
Cracking looking horse.
He's the social media horse, Blazing
Tell you
Cal.
what, the one thing I would say before we get into the race, we've got a bit of time. I've backed
Loads of socials coming up, Keith.
I've backed Sarda Berley at fancy prices last week because he won the Aintree Stairs Hurdle last year. And it was a price of a horse that wouldn't run, so I backed him no bet.
Yeah.
The ground doesn't look as bad as it possibly was rumoured to be this morning, so I'm a little bit more excited than I was. But you know, there's definitely an element there. That horse has got far beyond 50-to-1 ability, and he's always been a spring horse. He's like 3 from 10 in March and April, and 1 from 15 in other months. So I just thought there was a bit more there than maybe people have been given him credit for.
All right, okay, maybe we'll get your 1, 2, 3s in this. That's popular in the last. Simon O'Neill, welcome back, Simon. Blazing Cal has it.
Well, we've already dealt with Simon.
Well, indeed. But he basically beaten Giuliano Bello, hadn't he? You know, and then it was the Boyne hurdle that he won. Historically, the Galmoy has been lesser of a trial for this than the Boyne, right? Delta Work was in the Boyne, but I don't think we can really count that, can we? Beacon Edge was in it. He didn't really fire yesterday.
Well, that tells you what the Boyne is, doesn't it?
It was Tiger Roll's prep as well.
Yeah,
for
it's a hunt round.
It's got 2 horses that are probably going to win it, and the rest are prepping maybe.
Yeah.
But it meant that he was back. He's a horse that went off everyone's radar. Social media a lot love him. A, because it's Charles Burns, and he says he's potentially the best horse. He's a dual Cheltenham winner, of course. We know he's going to be fine on the track. But form-wise, he hasn't quite shown it yet. But yet, all the young uns absolutely love Blazing Cal, so this is a big moment for them. And Simon, you're with it as well. Home by the Lee is a big prize for Will. Will, good to have you back. Home by the Lee, gentlemen. Tom Segal and Robbie the Postman Wilders have been on this.
The anti-postman was the first person on it, and when he put that horse up, I was nearly saying, don't be silly. But, you know, it's a horse that's obviously turned a corner.
He used to be a Shishkin swine.
Well, exactly. That's it. I don't tend to... I'm a bit Johnny Deneen like that. I don't forgive these horses very easily. And Home by the Lee used to be a funny old stick. And I was loath to forgive him. I'm getting there now. But I still wouldn't particularly fancy him, partly because of his history. But he clearly is a different horse.
This is last year's stayers. They've jumped the last already. Where's Home by the Lee? Where's Home by the Lee? Flooring Porter's winning. Where's Home by the Lee? Where is he? Where's Home by the Lee? They come up to the line. Flooring Porter goes on to win. Flooring Porter wins. There he is. Where's he come from?
Yeah, he hits a flat spot there and comes back because he looks cooked coming to last.
So basically,
I watched it back from wanting to see something, but
you don't see him.
You don't see him.
The thing that is the big thing we have to talk about here as well is that how the race is going to be run. Because if Flooring Porter gets a nice, easy time of it again, I genuinely think this is borderline all over. But it's not necessarily going to be the case because you've got Ashdale Bob, who doesn't mess around. You've got Dashel Drasher, who also likes to be out there from the outset as well. And there's a potential that those 3 really start to get on each other's nerves.
Would that suit Classical Dream for Keith Melrose's production company?
It would suit
Muck Films.
Yeah. Muck MC Films or Muck Muck.
MC Films.
Muck Muck or MC.
I can see you making a blockbuster.
But not
Jersey Boys fan.
Not under that name.
If they go,
I like it. He's been with us all week. Here comes the last one. Tom Leach as well. He's been with us all season. Tom has been. Wouldn't surprise me if Paisley Park won.
I mean, Paisley Park, stick him in your play spot by all means, but no.
Again, you're talking about stories. That would be a big one, wasn't it? I mean, at Kempton at Christmas, I actually put him up on this show because I just thought people overlooked the Kempton factor. He just got away with it. It was such a heartwarming thing. But again, last time, it just is what Paisley does, isn't it? We haven't talked much about Tehupu.
Yeah, it's a head scratcher. This, I think there'll be loads of people here all gathered around the paddock, and then they will go. You know, just as you walk down towards the lawn, which is now no lawn, it's the tarmac, and get their bets on. TP looked very.
You've been doing paddock notes, haven't you?
Yeah, because that's the most important. I find it really important for me just to look at them. But TP looks very, very lean, and there isn't anything left to be stripped from him. His BMI must be 1. Very, very stripped, lean, fit. Nothing else he can do to prepare Teapu. Gold Tweet was unbelievably well turned out. Quite a lighter type than I thought. Very compact, nice and nimble. Dashel Drash had a great walking him, but really calm and relaxed. And Classical Dream looked fabulous. He was well up for it in the paddock, really on his toes, gleaming. If you talk about paddock picks, you couldn't ignore Classical Dream off the eye. I'm really keen on Gold Tweet. The only thing is, Dave, that I am slightly worried about, not worried about, but I have got to take into note the ground slightly. Everything is heavy that he's gone on. Pretty much everything. He's never really gone on anything other than good or good to soft.
So this morning, the money absolutely piled in. Do you think that's because
yes,
everyone
possibly
thought it's going to be soft?
It seemed like what it was. It potentially seemed like more than that to me.
And now they've realised it probably isn't. So do I have a little bit of worry? Yes. But you talked about course and distance form. That Grade 2 Cleve hurdle over course and distance, soft in January on his British start. First time the trainer had a runner in Britain. That was fabulous. So there's plenty I like about this.
Shall I give you some confidence?
I would have been bouncing, Dave, if the rain had come.
Shall I give you some confidence
please.
about his pedigree? Right.
Oh, what is this?
Gold Tweet.
This I don't know a lot about.
Isn't he? But the dam, Apollo Creed was the horse that she had over here. But she's had 2 horses and she's had 4 performers on good ground for 2 wins and 1 on good to firm for 1 win as well. So the dam side of it suggests it's going to be absolutely fine if it dries up.
And I'm going to give you one other piece of upside for it. I don't think it was that soft.
Okay, good.
So 2022, it's good ground when Paisley Park wins it, slow by 12.53. This year, it's soft ground when Gold Tweet wins it, and it's slow by 14.23. Now, you don't go from good all the way to soft in 2 seconds. 2020, when Paisley Park wins it, it's soft. It's slow by 39. Okay. So it's just I don't think it wasn't that soft last time out, and he loved every second of it. And he's a Cheltenham horse. The big thing to mention, a few people have said about Tiapu, why aren't we talking about him? We've seen so far today, Cheltenham horses.
Yeah.
He's the only one that isn't in here. He's the only non-Cheltenham horse, really. Blazing Carl's course and distance, Gold Tweet's course and distance, Florian Porter's course and distance.
But last year when Tiapu turned up, he didn't have his ground really, did he? That was the thing. He just
but how many times?
It was
horses come to Cheltenham, you make an excuse.
It was a bit Mighty Potter-like, wasn't it? You know,
a little bit.
It was the thing that had in the back of your mind. But he's beaten Honeysuckle and Classical Dream. You have to say he's the form horse, and he's smashed Somerville Boy, albeit in a weak Galmoy by those standards. You don't win Galmoys like that on Thursday's day. It's horrible ground usually, and he made it look like it was good to firm. I'd be amazed if he's not got a say coming into last. He is the potential big bucks in the pack here. I think he's the one who might be the class act. I think it might be him, and he's unexposed over the trip as well. I've gone Gold Tweet to beat him. I think Gold Tweet. I was amazed that he won.
3 out of 5 for Gold Tweet.
Yeah. Are we putting on the bet then, Keith? We're going to have.
I'm trying. I mean, the internet in here, because we're actually in a massive covering.
It's not very good, is it?
We'll have to get mission control maybe to do that then.
I'm not very good with iPads. I'm very much an Android type.
You will be sitting one in tomorrow because G-Rod says, I know a bit about this app.
Yeah, well, it's not the app, it's the fact it's an iPad. I'm not an Apple user, I'm an Android user, so I'm struggling to I bet if I got off the app and restarted it,
have to dial up your phone every time you come in.
No, but I'm just use the Android OS, not the Apple OS, not the iOS.
All these years, Dave, you've been saying Keith's an Android, and you're right.
Oh, yes, very good, Ross. Right, okay, we've got the plate coming up after this. This will be our final race of the day. We're back tomorrow with you at 1:30. Like and subscribe, people. That's what it's all about. If you're watching from far afield, let us know where you are. This is the Stayers Hurdle. This is the Thursday. Ryanair Day, isn't it? SHISHKIN flopped, then Mighty Potter flopped. Will we finally see a favourite go in on the Thursday? We're on the new course. It goes back to what we said at the start of the season.
A favourite's not going to help punters here particularly because it's been such a competitive race. The money's been for this French horse. It was 10-1 this morning.
But I think we've got up to every day so far. We went up to yesterday. Tuesday's like shelling peas, wasn't it, for all the money horses? And then yesterday up until Energamine, then the second one went in, of course. The punters will be backing favourites,
Florian Porter, by the way, 5-1 now on the exchange and piling in. So
the proper people have had their say, haven't they? I mean, I've put up Classical Dream, it looks like, but
could be a Gav Cromwell double today, couldn't it?
Florian Porter, honestly, he's been so good the last 2 years. Surely this has been the target all season. The rest of the races are absolutely irrelevant. He's only an 8-year-old as well, so he's still got time inside. He's not like he's a dual defending champ coming here with a 9 or a 10 next to his name. He's still, in novice chase terms or novice hurdle terms, you'd still be saying, he's got his best years ahead of him.
I appreciate it was 9. He's older horse than him, and he went off second favourite for the for the Turners. Can have a go.
Yeah.
So I think he's still got time on his side. The only worry is, like I said, if Ashdale Bob and Dashel Drasher spoil him up front, Dashel's lining up.
Looks like he's letting him.
Yeah,
Danny
Dashel
letting
loves to
Dashel
get on with it,
leads.
doesn't he?
But also bearing in mind when he got, in that race where he missed the kick and Classical Dream beat him, he still came from 10 lengths back to finish second. So is he a pure 100% has to lead or bomb out horse? I don't think he is. Is he better when he gets in front and gets his own way? Yes, but most horses would be. So he's now shy of 5-1.
Yeah,
so.
Flooring, Classical Dream, and the 5-2 has gone about. Tihupu on the off. Ross Brierley, over to you for the Stayers 2023.
The Stayers hurdle indeed. The rain is starting to come down a little bit, and Flooring Porter has jumped into the lead. But like I said, maybe there is a bit of a worry here because he is going a little bit quicker than you would have liked. But he's jumped that all right. Dashel Dasher home by the lead. Tiapu's wide, are just behind Cider Burley with Ashdale Bob, who's racing keenly as he tends to do until he comes off the bridle and finds Zilch. Right at the back is Henri Le Fonceur, who is held up with his French stablemate. Is he stablemate? I've completely forgotten now off the back of my mind. He's certainly a country mate.
He's country mate. He's a country
Sorry,
mate.
apologies
No,
for
they're not
that.
stablemates.
Classical Dreams, a lot closer than he was. Well, he's not a lot closer than he was last year, but he's certainly not dead last and
I love
racing
the way
very
he
keenly.
races.
Classical Dream.
Yeah, he's
having
got
a
that low head.
He's having a pick of grass while he
Yeah,
races.
he really is marvellous character.
Look at those ears as well. The ears are like sticking out. He has got a funny old way of going about things. But
He must be delighted, Ross, mustn't he? He's full clear now.
He's got into a nice rhythm here, isn't he? He's going a reasonable. I mean, last year he was dawdling in front, so he's going a little bit quicker, and he's not as absolutely perfect.
Classical Dream took out outside the
Loved
wings.
it. Blazing Carl's only got 2 behind him. They are the French horses, and I think that's pretty much everyone mentioned, apart from maybe we haven't really mentioned Home by the Lee, who suddenly, this is what happened, isn't it? When he won, he jumped off prominently. He came off the bridle, dropped to last, and came back again.
Yes,
so
he did.
He's a funny one.
Isn't that what Chambard tends to do, who won the Kimure last year?
He's unfortunately not. The ground's gone for his repeat bid, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not turning up.
Yeah, no. Hopefully he's interesting because you've got to feel for JJ Slevin with 2 seconds on the board as well. On it, and I think tactically they got this right because they just know this bloke's going to hit a spike at some point.
I think I think they're going a bit quick here. If I'm honest, I think it's.
I mean, if they're not, then a few people behind have got a lot of questions to answer.
Shall I tell you what put me off Florian Porter, which I didn't get a chance to say beforehand? Exactly what you said. I think he bossed a very modest pace last year.
Yeah.
And it was just catch me if he can sprint for home almost. This time it looks like Dashel is ensuring he's going to be.
Paul Townend sizing up.
Yeah.
Paul Townend had a look under his shoulder. He's going, are they going too fast here? How far back are the rest?
Was that Townend?
Yeah, Townend.
Yeah, he's in middle.
I'd like him to make Gold Tweet to make a little bit of a move now, though. I think it's the right time to just.
He's
you
a
don't want to
keen
be
horse
you
now,
don't want to
isn't
come
he?
from dead last, do you?
No, and he needs to make a little bit of a move.
Tihupu's a
He
tad
doesn't
keen
look
as well, isn't he?
that keen.
Do you know who's got the best position here is Keith Melrose's outside pick, Cider Burley.
Yeah, he's in a good spot, isn't he?
Toe in.
Lovely, good spot. I mean, I wouldn't have picked him necessarily on the day, but yeah, last week it was just worth that NRM.
Home by the
Home by the
Lee!
Lee, left his
Nearly
legs in
mistake.
that one.
Gold Tweet didn't jump that well either.
Wow.
Home by the Lee lost his back legs. The off the bridle bit surely comes now, lads.
Yeah, and bearing in
Oh,
mind.
it's not nice to leave your legs like that, but Gold Tweet needs to get a shift on. But I totally agree with you with Cider Belay there.
Paisley out the
Very nice
back,
position.
Blazing Cal.
Yeah.
How's he going, guys?
So Blazing Cal is currently travelling very, very well. He's starting to make his move. He's on the heels of Classical Dream. The two Philip Burns and Paul Townend looking at each other, thinking, "No, after you.
Yeah.
No, you go first. No, please."
No, please, you go.
Trying to work out whether the clock on the bottom is right, because if it is, Danny Mullins is doing what he does. He speeds it up, he slows it down. He speeds it up, he slows it down. He's jumped that really well. Dashel Drasher steadied into it. Cider Burley pinged it. Home by the Lees off the bridle.
Paisley's
Paisley's just had a shake there,
Paisley's
didn't he?
needing her. Hey,
Ashdale
Wakey.
Bob. Now, there's 2 ways that this goes, isn't there? If Florian Porter wins this race, everyone's going to look at him going, why 3 years in a row?
Cider
Burley,
was
exactly the same
scruffy
thing.
at that.
Looks like we're watching January here, doesn't it? It's really
5
gone
to 2.
misty and moody and the rain's come.
Very
5 to 2
moody.
Florian Porter in running because people think he ain't coming back. Let's find out. Dashel Drasher, Cider Burley, Home by the Lee, Tiapu, Blazing Cow
He's
and
on the
Classical
move,
Dream. They
Blazing
still
Cow.
haven't made their move, so they think they might well have the front runner covered. But we'll soon find out.
Ballsy to think you've got that horse covered, doesn't it?
Yes, it is.
It is indeed. But
He's in a 7-2, I think, now.
can you ride the perfect race 3 times, 3 years running in exactly the same race on exactly the same horse and pull it off? Let's find out.
He's still favourite Tihupu on the exchange.
Tiapu has not made his move. Gold Tweet still last. Florian Porter pinged it
Such
again.
a good jump, isn't it?
Everything
Such
jumped
a
that
good
well, apart
jump.
from maybe Paisley, who I don't think is giving Gold Tweet much of a nice time at the
No,
back.
he's not.
Paisley just moved through the gears.
Two French
Who wins,
horses.
Dave?
Oh, I've got a feeling. I've got a feeling the Classical Dreams go have a big say. But look at Blazing Cal.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Creeping him.
Yeah, here we go. But this is where you stack them up. Is it? This could be anyone's. This really could be anyone's.
Now they're attacking, aren't they?
But are they
Sire
attacking
de
because he
Belay
slowed it
still
down?
catching
Let's
my
start.
eye.
Pulling his arms
Sire de
out.
Belay's
Flooring
got a
Port. He's like a
cracking
lion, isn't he?
Sire de Belay's really making up some nice ground here.
Gold
It
Tweet,
looks
Classical
really
Dreams.
good.
Fine, now Gold
Ashdale
Tweet's
Bob,
thinking I'm getting
bridle
going.
horse
Maybe
to
too late though, Dave. What do you
dive
think?
off. Still Flooring Port though. Is he going through the gears too quickly, or is this the time where he puts them to the sword?
It's like watching Thierry do
Tiapu on the outside. Dashel Drasher is on the heels of Flooring Port. Who didn't do that
that
particularly
wasn't
well,
good
and that
there.
could well be his race.
Look at
Tiapu. Tiapu is swinging. Classical Dream. Gold
Blazing Gal
Tweet. Sire de
finding it hot.
Burley. Flooring Port's still in front though. Dashel Drasher
Tiapu's
hasn't
got
got
his
through.
time.
Had a little peek through his
Blazing
legs.
Carl has a chance. Home by the Lee still in the mix. He's coming up. He's
Davy
doing
Russell
the Paisley
thinks he's
Park.
got them.
Danny Mullins looks over and says, am I absolutely cooked, or have you gone too soon to challenge me?
French
Classical
haven't
Dream's not
turned up.
picking up. It's Dashel Drasher, Flooring Porter,
Wow.
and Home by the Lee. Tiapu, is he going to stay?
Robbie
Home by the
Walters
Lee
is
staying
absolutely
on.
loving this.
Blazing Carl, Sire de Burley, could well be Dashel Drasher, but Flooring Porter's still not out of it.
Keith's
He's
gone a
still
bit
plugging
quiet.
on.
Come on, Sire.
Dashel Drasher, the 10-year-old.
Could be a turn up.
Tiapu, is he going to stay? Sire de
Tiapu's
Burley.
got to go into the red zone. He's not doing it yet. Dashel goes in
Dashel
front.
Drasher jumps in.
Go on, then, Dashel. I'd
Burley.
love to see this.
Sire de Burley picking up
Come
from the
on,
back.
Dashel.
Flooring Porter
I
still
dare
plugging
you.
on. Sire de
Come on, Sire de
Burley in the McManus
he's got
stilts.
him.
Tiapu down the near
got
side.
him. Keith
Dashel
Melrose
Drasher
is
is he going to be
Spider-Man.
second again. Sire de Burley wins
Hey.
the stayers under Mark Walsh for Gordon Elliott. He beat Flooring Porter at Aintree last year. He's
Brilliant.
beat him at Cheltenham this year. What a ride that was.
It was almost like we were watching a veterans hurdle at some point.
Yeah.
Side of Dashel Drasher. Oh man, Robbie Wilder's put him up at his anti-postman, I think, and everyone laughed at him. And he said, if it's wet ground come Cheltenham, this guy will be there or thereabouts. But he's been blindsided by Mr. Cheltenham himself. Fair play, Keith. Give us again the argument of why you went in.
This horse last year, he won the Stairs Hurdle Aintree, so the race that follows on from this, he's won the Pertemps off top. He won Pertemps twice, hasn't he? Once off top weight.
Nice.
Cheltenham horse. He's a
This is
spring
his
horse.
day.
He's
Yeah.
a Cheltenham horse. They said he'd lost it.
Isn't it
He's-
marvellous
he
that
just
Horse can
never
win the
runs.
Pertemps twice and go and win this?
Well, that's a sign of a relatively poor division, to be honest, quality-wise, when you can make the jump from handicaps to graded races so easily.
Yeah.
This horse was a handicapper most of his life.
That was a grueling test, wasn't
But
it?
the second year he won the Pertemps, he ran to about the same sort of figure as the Stairs winner that year. He then, following year, won the Stairs Hurdle at Liverpool.
When he won the Pertemps, he ran to
That's what I'm saying.
164.
That
The next
year-
2021, he finished second in the Stayers and ran 165. So
He's just he's a spring horse. He's a Cheltenham horse, and he was 66 to 1. It was NRNB. I thought there's no way this horse runs at that price.
Yeah.
So I backed him. I expected him to go off 14s if he ran. What price did he return? 40s?
Did you put this in the trophy as well?
No, unfortunately not.
dream.
He's got a little bit chopped off there, but Dashel, what? Is there
Amazing.
a better horse in training than Dashel Drasher? He's
You'd love to own him.
absolutely
I mean, there's loads of
superb.
better horses in training, but you'd love to own him.
Yeah. We of course do a podcast every Monday, and Jamie Benson put this up at a whopping price, triple figure I think as well on that.
and also-
Our man from the tote on it.
she's not on it, but Leona did that preview show with Leona, and she turned to McCoy and said, I really fancy Sire de Belay. And McCoy went, he won't run in that, will he?
Did he?
And Leona said, I quite fancy him,
Well,
isn't it?
that's something he wasn't going to run price
Yeah.
at the time.
Big shout out to Tiapu, who's the only non-Cheltenham horse in that mix.
Yes. I think it's Cheltenham's caught him out as well.
He's
He'll
not.
win it next year. That is a huge run. He's had to switch
Not
on
like
a
he
couple
hasn't
of times.
stayed, is it? Absolutely. He's almost a bit green.
That's a massive. That's for an unexposed
He's
6-year-old. That is a massive run. Has he
Oh,
got
by the
second?
lead.
He might have got second.
No, he was just nutted by second by Mr. Second himself, the Oliver Twist that is.
Yeah, I got a tendency to agree with that. He's
Dashel
only
Drasher.
6, remember? You know, he's a young horse.
Yeah, it was a
there.
massive
That'd
run.
be a big learn.
He just was a bit gangly, wasn't he, when he went for under
Just
pressure
6,
like that?
It's not. It's
Yeah, I don't know.
old,
Obviously, you remember in the
young.
Hatton's
That's
Grace when he
Novice
was.
stage, isn't it?
really
Honeysuckle
young
made
to be
him
at that
go to the red zone,
profession.
Tiapu, didn't he? But he didn't look, for me, he looked like he had a little think about it and then he ran on again. But
Yeah,
he's
I
obviously
would
confirmed
take him
himself
out
a
of it.
serious stayer. All right,
People in
there
the
we are
comments
then.
criticising the French jockeys for
Giving them too much to do.
That's French racing.
Yeah.
I said it was like watching Thierry Duman at one point
Yeah.
during the run.
That's how they ride. That's how horses tend to get ridden in
But
France.
he was.
And then they just, how they meant,
But there'll be very few French races that are run as well as that.
That was the Drashel form, though, wasn't it? Of course, he beat Drashel, so a lot of people wonder exactly why that happened. Yeah, I don't know, just a bit flat, weren't they, and things like that. I think both are French horses. But, yep, keep your opinions coming in. I mean, 33 to 1, 40 to 1, another Fav sunk. 2 races to go. We could go through the cards without
Welcome to the new course.
a jolly going in. And you did say that at the start of the day. It's almost like you've got to rethink your strategy. Gold Cup day tomorrow. Who wins it? Start building them up for that. But we've got one more to go. It's my favourite handicap of the week. It is the plate. We'll keep going on about this, though. The stayers while we're watching the replays. I mean, Dashiell's just sat in second the whole way around. Side of Pertemps, you called it. Ross was in third.
Perfect position. That's
flooring.
the thing.
Was it the error for flooring?
I don't think so. I don't. Again,
didn't help, did it?
But the error's a symptom, not a cause. I think he used his gas up too early, and that made him make an error. I think they were stretched out so much more than they were the last 2 years, and I'm not sure whether the clock's ever necessarily correct. But last year, I remember being in. I think
I'm not sure if that clock.
But the thing is,
being in here last year, and he was. I remember watching it, and he barely went over 30 miles an hour the entire race. He went 29.30, 29.30. It was perfect last year, and it was perfect the year before. And I still think he's run a blinder. He's finished 4th, going off a little bit too quick. And for a defending champ, that's absolutely fine.
He's finished 4th. That mistake, he probably finishes in the places. But you're right. He's a horse. The last couple of years, he has rattled up that running because of the way Mullins has been able to ride his race. He couldn't rattle up the running this year because Mullins had to use up too much. Maybe he was a little bit scared of those potential front runners in a race. Maybe he had to. Maybe he just thought, my guy needs to lead.
I think so.
He's half nuts.
So. Yeah,
I need to lead. So he's had to use himself up. And Dashiell Drash, he'd probably, if he had the faith in Flooring Porter keeping the head, he'd have probably given him the ride that Dashiell Drasher got.
Let's look at some of the also-ran guys, because we're now getting to this bit at the business end on the replays that we're seeing in here, and we're trying to talk you through the bones of where your money went here on Racing Post Live, as ever. Blazing Cow, let's keep an eye on him. Let's keep an eye on Classical Dream as well, because he's probably fallen in a bit of a hole. Ashdale Bob was up as well, but Blazing Cow bunny hopped that a little bit, and I thought he's done. Keith, you were saying, well, yeah, he's feeling the picture, but then he sort of comes back onto the bridle. Has he just been found out form-wise?
Who's that, sorry?
Blazing.
Carl, he maybe just, I mean, let's see what happens. Did he just not go through the pain barrier? Is he bounced a bit?
Possible.
Has that been a
he's run
bounce?
very well for a bouncer.
Well, the bouncer is, because the bouncer, this is the point, this is the red zone. Now, they're coming off the bridle, turning in. This is the red zone. What does he do when that pressure's applied? Immediately he hangs into the winner.
Yeah.
And immediately Philip puts his stick down. I think that's a bounce.
And I'll just keep my eye on him. Home by the Lee's done what he did last year pretty much. He looked like he was going to play a part on the stand side at one point.
There's another question we're placing, Carl, is did he stay? Because he's won, yes, he's won over course and distance, but it was in a
bunny hop those 2 fights. Experience might have been a thing there.
There's course and distance and there's that, isn't there?
But he was that 6-winner race was a bit of a farcical event, and the other 2 wins he's come over 2 mile 5. So I think, to me, he's come off the bridle. He's not found out. He's run like a non-stayer to me. I
actually agree.
Stewards?
I think Home by the Lee rallied back better. If you look at the very end of the race here, Home by the Lee actually managed to pick up again. Now Blazing Cow couldn't. Blazing Cow was legless. I'm done. Finished.
Classical Dreams run absolutely full.
He just never. I think Townend didn't even bother getting after him.
No, true. He's just said, he hasn't, has he?
Another massive shout. I tell you what, I saw this yesterday. Tom Leach has flagged this up, so thanks, Tom. Ben Hutton, I love Ben. He loves a big swing. Do you know what he put up in Spotlight? Sire de Burley.
Did he really?
Genuinely.
Wow, there you go.
And I thought, Ben, that's such a Ben Hutton thing to do. Brilliant, well done, Ben.
The Northern Stalwart.
Yeah, great. What a great price.
I think the stewards, by the way, was Tiapu's switch.
Yes.
Sideswipe, Flooring Porter, and so I don't think that's going to make.
No,
because he's finished 3rd.
He was a bit too ahead of him.
So what's the?
Well, if the stewards say you impeded you can put him behind him.
Yeah, but
4th.
Oh yeah, so you can get Flooring Porter in the 3 is what you're saying.
Well, it's a massive change if the favourite.
For play spot wise, yes.
For everything, for play spot wise, for each ways, everything.
Unashamed.
Unashamed. It's not unashamed. What I'm saying is, why are they doing a stewards? Why is it being announced? Because I was like, well, he's sideswiped the 2nd, sideswiped the 4th. That's not going to make any difference. But it's not. The 3rd is sideswiped the 4th. Which
I was watching. Also, I watched Flooring Porter for the last stages there. That was definitely the finish of a horse that was just used up a little bit too much.
Yeah, going by the lead gets him nearly, doesn't he?
Danny Mullins got all the praise in the world when he won this race last year. He absolutely deserved it. He was a little bit on the other side of the line this time.
You are right in what you've said there. Draw a line under that. He had to lead, and by doing that, you've got to go. You've got Dashiell pressuring you, a proper winter grinding horse. Unlike last year. All right, that's the Stayers Hurdle done then.
Somebody else has put in the comments, that is the 2nd horse with ENVOI LN that have been twice previous Cheltenham Festival owners.
Where's cause of
third
causes
win.
when you need him?
Good old cause of causes.
He might still be in the cross country next year, you never know. All right, okay, it's advert time. See you after this.
It's the best recommendation I've ever had.
I use it every day without fail.
It's my go-to for any race day.
Mate, it's so good.
It's like Frankel, but quicker.
Puts me one step ahead of this lot.
I nearly hit your head. Right, which camera you want me to look in?
Gills, what do you think of the new app?
Well, I'm on it now, aren't I? I need it for my job.
Has anyone seen Keels down in Cheltenham?
I love that advert. The whole advert's our marketing department. All the people that you see in that video, all the various marketing types, they're very straight acting, and at the end they just get on Keels to be miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, which camera is it and all that sort of stuff. He used to have chat on it, since they put the music on it, it's enhanced it considerably.
Music
If you work in marketing, you do quite a few adverts over time.
You're just there, aren't you?
Yeah, you're just there. The actors haven't turned up, guys. You just need to stand here and pour a glass. Look, okay, so tonight, after we go off air, back, Roscoe Brierley, this is your last show as well, isn't it, this week?
It's absolutely rattled by, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, you've smashed the numbers, man.
Yeah, I mean,
By saying that, there's been a great audience appetite for In the Know this week.
I mean, for the whole week as well. I mean, it's perfect, isn't it? You wake up, you grab a brush, you put a little makeup. Who knew there was going to be a System of a Down references today? Who knew?
Well, I was ready to be very Scottish and go for the Proclaimers.
That was
None of this surprises me, by the way. Tell us about In the Know then tonight.
Well, I mean, it's been a cracking week. It's a perfect time. It's 6:30 till 7. We'll preview the races. Quite
It's a
frankly,
great window, isn't it? Yeah.
we've not. We could do with more winners, but that's the week.
Sire did. He got a wee nod last night, I think, when I was doing my... I mean, obviously it wasn't my tip.
Yeah.
I think I got my sort of my NRNB mention in there.
But I see. The thing is, and you get people in the comments saying, especially Tom and Keels, wow, they haven't tipped this, they haven't tipped that. But they've been previewing this festival day in, day out for 6 weeks.
Yep.
And quite frankly, the bet 6 weeks ago is not the bet 48-hour decks. It's not even the bet 24 hours. It's not even bet sometimes an hour before the race. Things change, and it's so difficult to fall down, to come down on winners when you've been talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks. So it's a really, and like you said about Keels, he puts in big prices. They're not tipping 7 or 4 shots in novice hurdles.
No.
That said, we're going to go out with a bang tonight. I can feel it.
Yeah, you got a good show planned, yeah?
Yeah.
This chap's been making an appearance, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
have a name?
He's just named after the big horse on the day, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's Sire today. Hello, Sire.
So is it Aplutard then tomorrow? Should we call him Tardy?
Tardy.
No.
Hope so.
Well,
Because
he's not come on time, has he? So.
I am, just while you were chatting, I am
Cheltenham
seeing...
horses. Aplutard, winner of the new juicing, the centenary that's not there anymore. Third in a Ryanair, second in a Gold Cup, first in a Gold Cup.
It's a running theme, isn't it? And he's now no better than 5-1. We're seeing out there.
told
It's
you
a
that-
sea of
he'll
blues.
go-
7-2 in places.
You'll go 3-1.
Galloping out to 2s in places. Which is
To be
probably-
fair, Gallopin should be 2 from 2.
Well, we
at the
knew he was
festival
going to
as well.
jump. After he won the
said
Irish Gold Cup, they actually put him out,
Well,
which is a very
that
unbooky thing to
showed
do.
that the price was built on straw, on sand, sorry.
Yeah.
That showed his price was before that, because it was the most impressed I've been with that horse by some way, and he was pushed out for the Gold Cup. It showed you that the price before that was nonsense. He's a rightful 2-1 shot.
Yeah, okay, that is the highlight of the week that comes up tomorrow. Join us for that. We're going to give it some welly tomorrow. You know that. It's been great to have you with us this week so far on Racing Post Live. Natty, how are we doing?
We're doing really well.
You doing your notes then, are you? Doing shorthand now, are you? Because we've got the plate coming up.
I'm
and
not
I
very
can
good at
see the wheel.
shorthand, but I've never really learnt it.
Because
No.
you've got proper journalism qualifications, haven't you,
Yeah.
guys? I've
Not
not got a...
Yeah.
I tell you what, I went to one short.
Mine was in media, well, it was journal, but I did radio and documentaries, so I didn't really learn. You could choose shorthand, but I didn't choose that.
Where was it you went to again?
Bournemouth,
No, but where was it you went to abroad with your
Mongolia.
camera? You've got to see that. Have you ever seen that?
I followed horse. I
blimey,
followed
there goes the
horse
water bottle.
racing in
That's why we
Mongolia.
didn't give it to you.
It's amazing.
Crash, bang,
Horse
what?
racing in Mongolia is amazing because you can only be a jockey if you're a child. It's amazing. Honestly, it's absolute just cavalry charges.
But you
really cool.
You cut your teeth.
And the
doing that,
parents
basically,
train them, like the parents train the kids, and
Yeah.
they train them off alongside the cars and stuff. It's mega. Yeah, I did a month out there on horseback. It's good.
All right, there you go. A a recommendation for that if
So
we can get out there.
MVP in the chat today has been Dean Gripton. He's come in and he moved us beautifully onto the stairs. He's asked Ross, he says Ross being a System of a Down fan was the best thing of the day so far. Ross is a bit of a rock fan actually from what I can pick up. You like Maximo Park, don't you? Have I made that up?
I mean, Maximo Park is soft.
It's soft for you, soft for you.
I used to playing hardcore thrash punk bands.
Did you really?
Yeah. Have you not heard?
No,
If
I've
it's
not.
still up there.
I'm not.
I used to play in a band called Kill the Lights. It was a cross between the Nerve Agents and Kid Dynamite. It was brutal.
I'm
Yeah,
an
it was brutal.
AC/DC girl.
Oh yeah.
Oh, TNT, Thunderstruck. Oh,
I loathed
my
all of it.
God.
All
Loathed
music.
Heaven.
Yeah, I've got music. I was the musician on the panel.
Oh, you played the spoons in
He was
Basement
also,
Jack.
I played
he was
the- I
also
played the
Lion in
Rackers,
Lion
yeah.
King.
Yeah.
I played it. It wasn't just that I did though, but yeah, no, I wasn't into all that. I mean, my music now will be jazz.
Yeah, I like
Oh,
jazz. I like jazz.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, great, Keith, that
I
was
like
marvellous.
jazz.
And nice, we've got one less for you. It is the plate, and Dean's moved us on to it
Dean
quite
has moved us.
rightly.
He asked, who's got the Cheltenham form? Correct question, Dean. Who's got the Cheltenham form?
Because the Fav hasn't.
Well, you know who I've backed.
Go, Cody.
Escaria 10.
Yes, do you know what I've done? I've had the Betfair £2 on him at 80 just now because I don't want you jumping up and down and me sitting here on my hands.
For Max McNeil, who's got a 3-card brag tomorrow, of course, very keen on his chances going in there.
Do you know what the difference is that the plate versus a lot of the other handicaps is there isn't much festival form actually
In this race.
I just found it in the paper, but it's all
To
a
be
bit.
fair, Stage Star had no festival form.
So
He just had the Cheltenham form.
This is something that Bruce loves to do every time he's on the panel. He finds the page in the paper. There's a great segment in our paper with previous festival form, and Bruce is a real advocate of following it.
Yes, I didn't know we did this. It's really good though.
A lot of people don't. I know. He caught me out a couple of years
I mean,
ago.
it's the subs and the page drawers that know this, and I don't do that. So
Stage Star didn't. I mean, he didn't have festival form.
he bombed in the Ballymore last year, didn't
Yeah,
he?
but it's interesting that even the Cheltenham form, and then every winner today has been to the festival. Good Time Johnny's finished 9th in a bumper, 9th in an Albert Bartlett. Stage Star pulled up. I'm not saying that's Tom Leach will be having kittens now that I'm suggesting that's an angle. But what I'm saying is, like you're saying, it's about experience, it's about the track, it's about the festival. It's, I mean, Langadan's a great angle. You come back and you just keep trying. You want a Cheltenham winner, and how many land on it the
Did
first
you see
year?
the celebration from Skelton and the owners yesterday?
Rightly
That was
so.
fantastic.
Well, yeah,
It was
Skelton. He
amazing,
was.
wasn't
I mean, Skelton's one of these guys that if you had a cat in a race, he'd fancy it. But
Yeah,
he did.
Well, he's very confident.
But he
chap,
he kept mentioning Langardan. Everybody on the news desk that I know that spoke to him on the run up to Cheltenham, he always mentioned Langardan to them.
Well, that was third time lucky as well at the festival. We've seen a lot of
No, he finished
festival
fourth.
form coming to fore. Well, he was what, sorry?
He finished 4th then.
Yes, but he was
No.
was second, faller, brought down, and then third time lucky in the Coral.
I know.
right?
I was
You were messing with me.
making a joke about a horse that ran in the Grand Annual.
What was that?
3rd time lucky.
Oh, Jesus, man. He ran all right, didn't he?
Somebody, I sent some
You are
tips.
so Scottish.
I sent some tips to somebody yesterday for the free super tips site, and they said back, "Oh, thanks, Keith, appreciate it." I said, "He won't win."
Yeah, man.
Dear Lord.
We're absolutely flying through these this
Dear
week.
Lord,
Can I
thank God
just-
we've only got one left.
Was Keith having a go at my sense of humour earlier on? Is that what you were doing? Is that what you were doing?
He does like this. You and him have become these weird sort of like, I don't know, laughing children together since you started doing your shows together. But I'm
Yeah,
trying
we have
to
actually.
get you back
Since we started spending our Tuesday mornings in a pub basement together,
It's
we
a fine place to be. So Scottish now being seriously
joint favs,
pressurised
basically on the machine,
favouritism.
isn't it? No, not quite.
If one horse has looked like this is the perfect test for him all season, it's this chap, isn't it? That's all right, Gino.
I think he wants a big flat track. He's a big old horse.
I think he got caught out by Cheltenham, by Kempton last time.
Oh, he did. Oh,
and he
definitely.
ran really well.
He wants Newbury for me.
I'm not so sure.
I don't. These
Well,
big
that's where he
horse-
won, wasn't it?
He's a big old slab of a horse, and a lot of the time those horses don't necessarily want
Chepstow.
Cheltenham. They don't want Kempton. They don't necessarily want Cheltenham. They want Newbury. They want Doncaster. They want the sort of big galloping flat tracks.
He was getting a pound off Calico when he won at Chepstow. He slashed him. He absolutely.
Oh, he is a good horse. That's all right, Gino. And
They're
it's-
putting the pieces
he's
on
been-
for the first time as
He's
well.
been well played because he needs a bit louder because he is a bit of a big old boat, and he's a really good horse, and I like him. But I just wonder if he's going to just get found out down the hill.
We've got one more chance to get a bit of profit today.
You know, it's
News and
a
Jockeys
well-placed horse, this, by the way, because, you know, you could have been tempted to run this horse in a graded race in the Turners or wait for Aintree and go for the grade 1 at Aintree
Yeah.
over 2.5. this is the race for him.
What's
I'm
the race
glad
that
at the
Snowden
placing.
won at the festival? Was in the Novice Handicap, wasn't it? Or was it the Plate?
Yeah, no, it was. It was Brian Hughes rode it, didn't he?
And it was the Chips Keswick horse.
Chips Creswick horse, and I don't know what it's called.
Really prolific horse.
It was the
wasn't
year that Bywise first did the Bywise thing, wasn't it? That race.
He does remind me of this chap, because I think if the Novice Handicap was still around, it would have been perfect for That's All Right Gino.
He'd have been in that race.
Yeah, and it's
No
kind
question.
of made the Plate a bit stronger.
yeah, what
So
was
Scottish
that
would have probably
horse
been in that
Snowden
as well,
was?
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What was the name of that horse?
Not up for parole?
No, that's the same colours, and another prolific horse, but not
Can
the
you
Cheltenham
remember
Festival. The Keith's onto it.
Jamie
I'll
Snowden?
find
Looking at
out.
you
You'll find it. The Keith.
bash away at the laptop there.
Just back in the
This is the
Cheltenham
problem when
horses.
you just go with paper.
Yeah, you can't put your bets on this.
Can't check anything, but I quite like that.
No, I'm trying to put a tenner on this. It won't.
Yeah, it won't load. It won't do it. It's not working.
You could, of course, use the
Broken.
Racing Post app, which you've done in the Lucky 15 with Fugitive. What was the name of the horse that won for Jamie Snowden?
Present View.
Ah, beautiful. He was a right old horse, he was, wasn't he? Keith, you've made, obviously, one of these. I think this is one of your preview horses. Do you know what I mean? You've been saying this for weeks.
I have been. I mean, it's since Trials Day now. We've talked Cheltenham form, and we talked about Trials Day and the Stage Star race, which has That's All Right Gino in second. In the non-novice equivalent, the open equivalent of that race that day, Il Ridotto and Fugitive finished 15 lengths clear of everything else. Now, Fugitive, Il Ridotto got a better ride that day. He was more prominent throughout the race, and to be honest, Harry Cobden had to give him a bit of a kicking to get him home. He either did get a ban or would have got a ban under the new system for the ride he gave Il Ridotto that way to get him home. Fugitive shaped like the better horse in that race. They've both gone up quite a bit in the weights. Fugitive got 6, I think. But even on RPRs, he's still £9 ahead of his BHA mark in RPRs.
To win this 158 then, didn't we?
Well, Steve Mason went high because he identified that it was good form, basically. And he was right to do so as far as I'm concerned. And you need for this race to generally be about, you need to run to an RPR about £10 higher than your BHA mark to win this race. And Fugitive already has something like that on his record. Still a progressive horse because Richard Hobson ran him in a lot of the good races last year.
Yeah, he did.
But Hobson's yard were in chronic form last year. Absolutely dreadful. This year they've been a lot better. This horse came out slashed up on Welsh National Day in bad ground in a race that's worked out quite well, and then turned up in this race at Cheltenham. Progressive horse will handle the ground whether it's, soft side of goods or it's actually soft, and it looks like it's in between those two. So he's going to be fine, and I just think he was a smashing each way bet, and you know what? I think he should be 6-7 to 1 to win it.
Do you think it was the owner's decision to run in this, or was it Hobson's choice?
I could tell you were angling to do something there. I was sitting there waiting, what's Ross got here? What's he got? And it was that. It was that.
Would you like to explain what that means to everyone that's
Hobson's
watching?
choice is...
Yes.
I get mixed up with Sophie's choice sometimes.
Yeah,
it's a choice where you can't make the right one. Sophie's choice is where you've got to choose something bad regardless, and Hobson's choice is where you can't make the right decision.
It's basically a free choice in which only one thing is actually offered.
Oh, I've got Sophie's choice. I was getting mixed up with.
You can either do the show or you can go home, basically, and you're kind of like, well, what, you're firing me or I'm doing the show. Do you know
We've
what I
got
mean?
to put a bet on there. How many are left in the place pot today, by the way?
How much is in the place? He's going to pay bonds.
Because there's 1 million a day in the tote place spot, guys.
Assuming did the stewards, I don't know if that came
I think it was fine, we'd have heard, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was fine.
In which
Too
case...
far ahead of him, I think.
There were 5,600 and approximately...
Mission controller coming in. Keith.
There's about 6,000 gone through.
Really?
From 1.4 million.
Wow.
So how many left, sorry?
That's 6,000.
Who's anyone out there still in the place spot? That's no. We've got plenty of time still for the chat. Out up there. Let's go down the line because we need to get this tip on at the moment. He's made a very good case for Fugitive, just while we're on Fugitive, I should say. I think he's a bit of a thinker, isn't he?
Possibly, but
he was when he ran over an inadequate trip there at the start.
Yeah, he does put his head up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, Conor Grambler won the Ultima on Monday.
I thought the horse with the cheek pieces on won the race. I was on Il Ridotto. I thought he was coming to get me up the hill. And I thought the cheek pieces. That was my. But I'm really nitpicking at that because I do like Fugitive.
Big horses that suit big handicaps. What's happened?
Stewards changed the results.
Did they?
Dashel Drasher has been demoted to third.
No way.
So Cider Burley, Tiapu, Dashel Drasher, Flooring. So actually, it wasn't. They said that Dashel Drasher impeded Tupu, which meant he impeded Flooring Porter rather than...
Mark Penn says it
That's a
cost
big
him through
deal.
the race. Davey did not look happy afterwards, apparently. Yeah, Mark Penn's... Yeah,
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Ooh, OK. The stewards have finally had their moment at Cheltenham, haven't they? They've been waiting with bated breath to do it, and their men did result in the stayers. I didn't think it would be. There you go.
So what are we backing in this plate then, lads?
Well, Fugitive is the first case. Ross succinctly and, with a bit of pace.
It's Cheltenham horses, isn't it? Back to Scaria 10, who's run twice at the festival, third in a 4-miler, but I still think, despite that, I don't think he stays. He keeps running big races and big handicaps and getting outstayed. I think this is a really interesting move. I just thought he was a live outsider.
He's a dual winner over 3 miles.
What's that?
He's a triple winner over 3
and
miles.
little piddly novices, isn't it?
I don't know, but I don't know. It's hard to say that, I think.
They were in 2020. I think
the race I plainly remember
He's
is
been nutted in a Bobby Joe as well, which is always a small.
That was a proper sprint. That
it doesn't. It's still a winter 3 miles,
late
heavy
February,
ground.
late February, nothing off.
I can sort of see it, but I don't think he's a quick horse, this guy.
No, but he's often a prominent runner who jumps quite well and then goes out like a lion.
Did you back him in the Thyestes when he was cruising that time and didn't get in? Is that why you've got that about him? Because some people have.
I was scared to death of him in the Grand National 3 out last year.
Then.
No, I backed Franco de Port in that, who got chinned by the winner. But the two who I think are a little bit where the dangers are Cheltenham horses. One is Midnight River, who just absolutely loves it. He's another one who's...
I'd be amazed if he doesn't confirm form with El Rodotto.
The other one I think is a monstrous price is Stolen Silver, who pulled up at Warwick last time out, was sent off 11 to 10 for that 4-runner race. But Sam Twiston-Davies is back in the saddle. His Cheltenham record is 4th in this last year, off 144. 4th first, unseated when still in the mix, 2nd. Now he's a Cheltenham horse. Sam Twiston-Davies loves him. He's a 33 to 1 shot.
There's Fugitive in the screen. He looks good, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He's a lovely big horse, isn't he?
Nat, can you agree? This is Fugitive number 6.
She's wearing Fugitive's socks.
Yes, I can't see the screen so well now.
You're the jam tart amongst
stage
us, of course.
stars in the way. This horse is in the way, so I can't see the screen very well.
Yeah, that was clever mission control, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm playing 2
horses,
horses, 2 bets in this race, and 2 horses I'm very, very keen on. Midnight River, I love. Looks like it's going to be at least a 3-miler, this horse. Whispers by Dan, Coral Gold Cup horse next season. Absolutely think he will be. He's a second season chaser, which I love. He's got a very, very solid record. He's 1-3-1
a
in
bit of juice
2-mile
underneath it,
4
despite the fact
handicaps.
he's
He's
a good
definitely open to plenty of further progress, this horse.
Midnight River.
100%, yeah. I thought he was very good on New Year's Day at Cheltenham.
There was 3 Skelton target horses for this festival. One's been balloted out on Expected Party. One's Langer Down who's won. This was the other one. He said, when I interviewed, he said they're immediately in the know, and a lot of trainers they don't. They might say we're going for this, but he was like instantly, we're going for the plate.
Yeah.
Of course we're going for the plate.
Yeah, I think this horse has got a cracking chance, and I love this horse.
I think we're about to place the bet
and
on
my
Keith.
second pick is Frere Bamboo, who's a slightly bigger price. I do not think Frere Bamboo will win this. This would be my bet for an each way for a place, not win. I do think Midnight River can win. I love it. But Frere Bamboo, again, he's really consistent. He's really useful. He's been good at 2 miles. It looks like he's crying out for this 2-mile 4 trip.
He's on the app there, look, you can see. But that's not going to be the team bet now.
No.
We're going to go Fugitive.
I would just did him to make sure the little bet slip was working.
We can do 2 in this, we're being told.
Right, do you want to do 2? It is a sort of race where you want to do 2.
I think Midnight River's a good one for the shout.
The Cheltenham form's there, isn't it? It's
Do you know my worry about him? Tom Siegel made a very decent case for O and Couleur, didn't he? Who found Janadil too good last time out. When I saw that he was only when he was conceding him, I mean, he's got £12 with Michael O'Sullivan taking 3 off. I expected Midnight River to get more weight off him, and he's not. That's my slight worry about Midnight River. I'm not sure. I think he's handicapped about right.
Are we going to go 10 each way on both?
Please.
Okay.
So Scottish is my pick for the trophy, guys. £1 lower than he was this time a week ago.
Never been to Cheltenham?
No, he hasn't. I'm just a big fan of this horse, and I know it's all been about
It's
Cheltenham.
it's faith over reason,
Had
isn't
the
it?
shunter been to Cheltenham before he won this?
Yes, he was unlucky in the Greatwood hurdle.
Was he? Oh, he did run in the Greatwood, didn't he?
Or did he win the Greatwood? He definitely...
Yes, he had run in the Greatwood.
Was that the year that Harambe beat him? Or?
Yeah, he'd run in the Greatwood.
He'd run in the
Definitely run in the Greatwood.
I like the fact it's not as wet as we thought it was going to be. I think that's why he drifted out.
And he did win the
Great
Greatwood. Yeah, he beat Ballyandy in the Greatwood the year before.
For Paul Byrne, of course, but yeah, and then he came and did. Oh, that was an unbelievable year for the shunter, wasn't it? More battle than the bonus here, but I think so. Scottish. This is just look. I mean, he's just. I'd be amazed if he's out of the top 5. He's a trip winner. When he won at Carlisle, that was when he came onto my radar. Richie McClernand was wizardry on him that day. He had a little bit of a kink in him, and even though he was a short price to do it, he's just in a horse that we haven't seen the best of yet. He's definitely better than 143, I think. Anyway, that would
Chet
be my
has marked up quite a punt on the de Bromhead runner, Marvel de Cerisi.
Not again.
Is that happened before?
Marvel de Cerisi for CBD. They've got, who's the decent horse he's got? He's got some horses with Henry as well. A decent novice who's got with him. Give us the case for this. Rachel, I suppose.
Well, I mean, the Yard are in flying form, but I mean, this horse was only sent off 5-1 in that Tipperary novice that Champ Kiley won. Was closing on Impervious at Wexford when, and obviously that one is a very well fancied for the Grade 2 at Mares on Friday. Bolted up at Punchestown on its penultimate start. Similar to Mascada, actually. Really nice win, and then bombed out.
On earth did that win like that yesterday in the Grand Annual?
But that Fairy House form isn't bad. The Goffer was in second, who ran an absolute cracker the other day behind Colrack Rambler. And the winner is Hador, who's come out and running in graded races since. And
it was too bad to be true last time, wasn't it? But then a lot of Henry's horses throughout this season haven't delivered at the odds. He's got a great chance in the Albert Bartlett.
And 85 days off the back of an average run. I mean,
you can sort of see it.
Perfect for him, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, hasn't made the trip. This is a British debut for Marvel de Cerisi. But that is the money horse out there in the plate then. Where are we? We're around about 5 minutes away from this marvellous handicap coming. Just looking, it's all pretty static, isn't it? Yeah, Marvel de Cerisi, Champagne Gold. Is that another one of Henry's as well? They're just back in Henry's, Aidan Coleman and Champagne Gold. The one I've backed at a big price, strike me down if I'm wrong on this, but I struggle to see.
Don't say it. Let me guess. Let's have a look. One at a big price. What would you have backed?
Yeah.
Warlord?
Oh, you filth bag.
Yeah.
How did you get that?
Well, he's got Cheltenham form as well. And he just
of
really...
all the blooming horses, I don't think you get that.
I think it's your type of...
You are, Briley.
Was that annoying? I thought you'd be happy
I mean,
there.
how did you get that? I was a bit like he's going to have 5 guesses and get it wrong.
He was he was ahead of Horton Galores in the Arkle last year. And he's 28-1.
He couldn't beat... It was awful, wasn't it, in the Holden Gold Cup? He's a horse that completely lost his way. But at Wetherby last time, people that watch this show will know that I put up a horse called Gemmeron at Wetherby, and I was purring about him all the way through. It was a beautiful jumping performance by Gemmeron, who did win. I was papping it the Wardlord was going to get him.
I can't peg this horse's trip.
I think he wants this trip now, Keith, and I think the worry about him for a lot of people out there was it might be a bit dry out there.
Also, his best form's in real muck, isn't it?
It is, but it came. The one, listen, this is going to sound awful, but I'm struggling to see the Yard winning a Cheltenham Festival race at the minute.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say the Tizzards. It's quite an inconsistent Yard at the moment. They have quite a lot of underachievers, but they still.
Oscar Elite ran a cracker.
He did in the end. He thought he was going to hit. I'll tell you what, I nearly laid that horse all places.
Did he run a very frustrating race for those of us that put him up?
Well, I had a place laid him. I thought he was the place lay in that race. And I mean, if you're laying it for
he was a million and a half weight, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a horse that turns up once and then goes missing for a year because he really struggles with his breathing, I think.
What do you like? What's down there?
So we've got the bets on. If you're wondering what they are,
Stick 'em my
Fugitive and Midnight River. Is that all right? Yeah, that's the right ones, isn't it? All right, ready?
We've got to mention Cool Cody as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mentioned it already. I'm back to anti-post each way.
Plot is what a plot this is. I mean, not to say a plot.
Yeah, it's a massive bit of campaigning. What a bit of campaigning. They've got him in a lower mark than when he won it last year, having won a grade 2 in the meantime.
Is he going to be allowed to boss this race to 12? We've just seen 11-year-old.
Well, look at him at the front. Look at him at the start.
But is he going to be able to boss it? Because that's how he wins these races.
But he gets in the first 4 or 5, and I've backed him first 5 each way. So that's...
I think when I've called Cody winning these races around here, I've always been surprised about how they're letting Adam Wedge just slow it and then kick again. Do you do that in a plate?
Yeah, well, I remember when he first won the Paddy Power, I thought that was the ride of the year from Tom O'Brien. Turns out that the horse had a stone more to give.
He beat Imperial Alcazar last year in this, of course. So back to look, Cheltenham form coming to the fore again. It has been a great day so far here on Racing Post Live. 1 more to go. 2 more races after we go off air. It's the Mayor's Novice. I like Light of Joy in that. Anyone like something in the Mayor's Novice?
I'm sort of conscientiously object to that race because it shouldn't be at the Cheltenham Festival, but Foxy Girl really caught my eye.
And that's the story, right?
Well, there's 4 stories in it. De Bromhead's entered 4.
There's 4. Yeah, I quite like Magical Zoe.
I know, but you don't mind it if you're into bloodstock.
And what about the last, the Kim Muir?
Yes,
That's why it's there.
but don't,
Yeah, it's very, very, very important.
I know, but it shouldn't be the Cheltenham Festival, though.
I think it's very important.
I just-
very
yeah.
important.
I agree with that.
Breeding is pretty much, otherwise you're not going to have the horses on the
Oh,
track.
absolutely. Give them
they-
mares races, but...
And the
But if they-
sale.
But
is on.
if they don't have the mares novice, all those horses are at home.
It's incredibly important for the breeding industry.
Here we go.
Scuppered without it.
Well, it's here as well. We had a marvellous mares race at the start of the week, didn't we? And the Kim Muir afterwards, where Stumptown has been one of the gambles of the anti-post preview circuit.
Right, my little Pharaoh bamboo. Come on, Charlie.
Oh, yes. You know, you might fancy the trip, or you might just not fancy anything.
I'll be livid if he wins this Ferrero Bamboo.
Well, I didn't get to make my case about him, so we'll wait and see, won't we?
Are
And he's not going to win.
Are you
I
livid
want
that
him to
you've
get into
not
the frame.
made your case about him?
I don't need to make my case. I'm going to watch.
I wanna
and
hear
hope
your case
and
for him.
pray
You were
he
chatting
gets
about
there.
him earlier on the
He's a
on the
right
show.
tenacious little monkey. He's a tiny
your
little
case for
thing.
him?
That I actually think, genuinely, he will hit the frame in this little horse. I love him. He was third in the Grand Annual last year, and that was £6 higher than he is in this.
He hasn't been the same horse for me this time around. But
No,
yes,
he
you're
hasn't.
right. Maybe he could be
He's
another
been
Cheltenham
tending to
horse.
get behind over 2 miles, which
Yes, he has.
he's always been inclined to do, and the trip might be the making of him,
Yeah,
or
I
he might be a
agree.
bit of a
I
monkey.
agree. He's not been great this time, but I'm hoping this is the day. He might just.
It's not a big price at all. It's 12, 14.
I think that allows for the fact he's been really shaping like he wants 2.5 now.
They were
Yeah.
going to run him over this trip, and in the December Gold Cup, they got called off because of the quick round.
Was it? Yeah, that
He
rings
was
a
in
bell
that.
now.
Yeah, so
God,
this probably has been the plan,
He'd
hasn't it?
hate that. He'd hate
Yeah.
that ground. He
Well, I've
wouldn't
just backed him
go
a
on
couple of
it.
times this season, you know, and it's like unforgiving punters that we are. Right, out the back then, the gamble of the race, one of them anyway, Marvel de Cerisi, Escaria 10, unsurprisingly up there. Roscoe, your final call of the day, your final call of the week.
Yes.
Ross.
Yeah. I can.
Nice and easy for you.
I mean, luckily with 2.5 mile Cheltenham handicap chases, not a lot of them come from the back.
Cue a Corrick Rambler.
Fair. They line up for the plate.
No, they're not going.
No,
They're not going.
they're not
No,
going.
no. The very important man with the flag, as you called him earlier,
Yep.
has had his say again.
Yep. He's said no, thank you. Well, there's lots of.
Do you think we should get celebrities to be the flag person? Like, just for, you know what I mean? Just for
See
like,
if they do any worse.
get some footballers on there, or I don't know, someone like David Walliams or someone like that. just to get the attention.
That would look bad for racing's PR.
to see if they do any worse.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh dear. All right, okay. A
this is
reminder, we're back at
annoying now.
1:30 tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm being told that's what it's all about, isn't it, of course? And because it means you won't miss out on any of the content we do. 6:30 tonight, a last chance to catch Roscoe on a sterling week. Tomorrow is Gold Cup day, but we get a flavour of the fences for the final time in the 410.
Yeah. No, thanks, David. The thing is, my job is fairly. I have to keep tabs on people for an hour. You have to keep tabs on people for 3 hours. So fair play. You've already. You've lapped me, quite frankly, in your
I've
broadcasting
had
time.
Wilders,
Yeah.
Peony and Orange.
You had a
Was he literally? I thought you made that up.
No.
Oh, right.
You had a grumpy bear.
It's like Keith's boss is going. No, but we love Robbie, and thankfully for Robbie, the real whacker got us a lovely bit of injured jockeys fund profit.
Good,
yesterday.
good. Yeah, I know you like that horse. So.
And you know what? Some people take the mickey out of Robbie because he is a bit wild, isn't he, Wilders? And his MO. Not a lot of people like to be told that something is overpriced and it could run well, but a couple of them, if they've not won, they've hit the target this week.
Yeah, he is a good judge as well. And
Very good judge.
We'll be bored if we're all the same. It'd be boring if we're all the same, wouldn't it?
Quite.
Come on.
You don't
They've
make
lined up
money.
so well, and then they've all
thinking like
started
everyone else.
moving.
Yeah, this is problem for
Oh,
Ferrero
this is
Bamboo. 'cause
disaster.
This is where he's
Got to put up there for another day tomorrow. Baby.
I
brain
got to
over
put up
there.
with you.
What are you on
What you
about?
put with me?
I'll tell you
Well,
what.
that's probably peeled an orange because he was just like, give up his eat.
There's the team tips. Look, so Scottish.
Cody's
This is
are all
my
way.
moment, I think.
Cody's so's that's all right,
Natalie
Gino.
Ferrero, yeah, she told us
true.
about 20 times. Keith is fugitive. Controller Il Redoto, given a chance to the second time.
I like how
G-pieces.
I think Adam Wedge was at the back on Cool Cody, so he just turned the horse round. So no, we can't go, lads.
I mean, that's messing with people's brains, isn't
I
it?
actually said Midnight River to win.
Off we
Ferrero
go.
Oh,
It's
it
a
is
standing
much
start.
better.
Actually, Cool Cody's been
Okay.
fine. Everything
Yeah.
all right?
mine's not jumped off.
Oh dear, Escaria
He's
10.
in shocking position from that standing start, so he's going to
Oh,
struggle.
what's that?
Champagne gold.
That's
No
Harper
good.
and champagne gold. That is
Manila Endo
shocking.
been wiped out in the Manila Endo colours.
Cool Cody has managed to make it to the front. We question whether he would, but he's there. And,
Fair play, Adam Wedge, I tell you, that's some skill.
Back in second place, we've got.
Horse
We've
can
got
do it himself now.
Back in second place, we've got Stolen Silver outside.
Sorry, is Ferrero Bamboo in a nice position there on the outside?
Can I get into it? Can I just call the early stages? Cool Cody in front.
Welcome
from
to my
Seddon.
world, Ross. Welcome to my world.
Stolen Silver back in third. So Scottish is in fourth. On the outside of So Scottish, it looks like it might well be Frero Bamboo who's got himself.
Is he in a nice position?
A lovely position there. Il Ridotto in behind. Horton Colours is in there as
Hobson's
well.
choice.
On the inside is Embittered. On the outside of Embittered is Fugitive, Shake 'em Up Harry. Il Ridotto's wide, 2 for gold. Midnight River. Warlord's tucked away down the inside. Marvel de Cerisi's pulling a little bit. That's because Cool Cody has absolutely stacked them up once again. Ascaria 10's out the back and 3 wide. That start might well completely scuppered his chances. And also at the back is Gevre for Gordon Elliott as well.
Ryan Gledo in running says, "Do not give Cool Cody rope, guys."
I know. I want him. I don't
too
care
much
about. I don't care about the nap. Now I want Cool Cody to win from here. It's brilliant. That horse, the horse doing it himself, just taking them.
Harry Cobden is alive to this because Il Ridotto's just keeping a little bit closer. So Scottish bang up there as well.
Way too much rope for a horse who, quite frankly,
Am I right in thinking the main players
The
are all
lower
in
mark
the-
that he won the race last year, 3 course and distance wins, or more or less course or distance wins. Yeah, it's madness. Why do the jockeys keep doing this?
Frero's in a lovely posse though.
He is.
done
I'm
really well.
happy with Midnight River as well. And both of them actually, I think, are really. I mean, yes, Midnight River was further behind, but he's still lovely there on the outside. Not got too much things in the way. Bit of daylight and lovely rhythm. Little Frero. Oh, he's a tough little.
Midnight River and Fugitive are in the same sort of place, but
Yeah, they
I'd
are.
rather be where Midnight River was because he can move up. Fugitive's wide among horses.
You're a little bit stuck.
Midnight River's he's wide, and I don't normally like wide, and I was going to have a go at Ascaria 10 for giving the outside to no one, but at least you can tactically affect your position from the wide.
That's true.
That's right. Where's That's All Right, Gino? That was one of the gambles of the race, wasn't it?
Look for the massive horse.
And he's in those sort of nondescript in-running colours, isn't he? Sort of dark.
He's the one that you're trying to pick. Him and
Is he
Frero
at the
Bamboo
back?
look very, very
I think
similar.
he is near the back. He's 2/3 back at least.
Personally, I think the nice positions are Cool Cody, Stolen Silver, and Frero Bamboo. They're
2
all
for
in.
gold on
You
the
know
outside.
what happens
He's
when he
running
says
away.
this in running, guys?
So Scottish also in a nice posse, but
Yes, he is.
he's going into a nice position.
Glad
It's
you
good-
said that, thank you.
I think it's going to be tough to come from behind here, given how they're going, and it's Cool Cody in front from Seddon. On the outside is Frero Bamboo. 2 for gold is very wide indeed, and there's quite a little bit of a gap back to So Scottish. Stolen Silver, Il Ridotto, Celeb Dalen, Shake 'em Up Harry, Horton Colours. On the inside is Embittered. Behind Embittered we've got another chunk of runners. On the wide outside it's Midnight River. Fugitives just behind those as well. There was a mistake from Gevry at the back. The Gordon Elliott horses are having a torrid time. Warlord's not enjoying it. And creeping into it at the back is Bow to Greatness, the Ben Pauling horse. But it's still Cool Cody. We've got an 11-year-old win in the Stayers. Could we have a 12-year-old win in
So
the
Scottish
Plates?
is quite eye-catching.
Yeah,
He's
he
jumping
is.
really well. Even like
Yeah.
some that he reaches at and extends his legs.
Yeah.
He's dead neat. He's
And
a
this wouldn't
real
be
neat
necessarily
jumper.
like an Emmett horse.
Seddon's moved right up. It's
Really
a
neat
lovely
jumper.
jump from Cool Cody.
So Scottish is in exactly the same position
Yeah,
that
it's
Dino
great.
Breen was, the same position that the Shunter was. It is.
Marvel de Cerisi catches my eye
I think
in the mid-pack.
McManus tells them get
Tracking
fourth or
Keith.
fifth.
That's all right. Gino's far back. I'm not sure he'll get
Yeah, he's
involved
not
from there,
looking happy,
guys.
is he?
No, I don't.
No, he's not looking. He looks like he also had one run too many already this
The
season.
start has scuppered 4 or 5 horses. Ascaria 10's going to
Yeah,
pull up.
he's
He didn't
gonna
enjoy
pull
the
up.
start. Champagne Gold has also been scuppered by that start and born by the sea. But it's all about the ones up front. It's Cool Cody. Pings it.
lovely
Seddon,
jump.
Beautiful.
Horton Colours, Frero Bamboo, So Scottish. If he's got
favouring run.
If he's got a stone in hand, which, given who he trains him, he might well do, then he's going to win it from there. Shake 'em Up Harry, Marvel de Cerisi, Il Ridotto for another Nichols winner. He's had a
3
cracking
out.
day
On
so
Midnight
far.
River, hopefully
Fugitive's
he's
made up
making a
something.
bit of
Yeah, Harry's got-
easy
Harry's
going.
confident.
Fugitive.
Shishkin colours as well on Horton Colours down the inside is creeping into it. You've got 2 graded horses, but
gonna
it's
go,
Seddon
Harry?
who's swinging along for John McConnell and Ben Harvey on a hat-trick.
Come on, Fugitive.
The horse, not the
Arlen
yard.
Colours is there.
Still Cool Cody, though. They haven't
Keith,
got to
I'll
him
tell
yet.
you what, Keith, you're swinging.
Shake 'em Up Harry's
That
also
was
got a
better.
chance. He's been in the mix in this track as well. Fugitive very much is catching the eye, but it's Seddon who's going for 3 wins on the bounce. Cool Cody still plugging on.
you
So
what,
Scottish
Keith.
is going up and down on
Come
the
on,
spot.
Fugitive.
Frero
Tell you what,
Bamboo
Keith.
down the outside has a chance. It's Seddon. Shake 'em Up Harry. Fugitive.
This
Is he
is
a
one of
thinker?
Kills' biggies,
Oh, my
Seddon.
little Frero made a
Horton
mistake.
Colour down the inside being asked for an effort, but it's Fugitive.
Come on,
Is he going to
Fugitive.
go past Seddon?
Seddon is
Has got
Kills'
this
big one.
Whole field stacked up.
Oh,
It's
your
down to
head,
the
you
jump.
slide.
Seddon.
Go on, Fugitive.
They both jumped it, but Seddon's in the right place
Gets
and has
it,
been for the
Keith.
Come on,
gap.
Fugitive. Nah, he's not
Hanging
going
in
back. Come
behind.
on.
Seddon's starting to run
this
on.
is a past, is he?
He's not going
Fugitive,
past.
Seddon in front.
Naughty Fugitive.
Seddon is starting to pull away. Fugitive and back in third. Horton Calors battling out there for Shake 'em Up Harry with the places rattling home is Jevry, who's come from goodness where to maybe get fourth. But it goes to the Irish, John McConnell and Ben Harvey.
You can't keep a good man down.
Wow.
He's hit the crossbar. He's done a few of you some favours with some shorties, but this was one of his big ones. On What a Shout Live last Friday, we asked him for one horse that was 25 to 1 or over. This, after a bit of an argy-bargy, was what he gave us. And, yeah, there you go. Absolutely stick with him. John McConnell and one of the target trainers out there, Ben Harvey, now 4 from 7 at Cheltenham from memory. And, Keith, I thought you were going to go past. And I did say he was a bit of a
No, you got that bit right. I mean, he did run a huge race. He's copped us a bit of money for IGF, but he had his chance to go past and he didn't take it. Naughty Fugitive. But he's
Very
run a
good
great
run,
race.
though.
He's very talented animal, isn't he?
very
Good
good
shout
run.
that was. Listen, that was the plate.
I think you're being harsh. We said from the start
Oh,
that
I don't know.
We'd said from the start that they've absolutely stacked him up from the get-go. Seddon was in second and Track Call Cody. Fugitive has come from what? 11?
He made so much ground
He's
easily
done
down the hill.
brilliantly.
Yeah, he's run a great
He's
race.
used his gas up
But
too
he
early.
cocked his jaw.
A
Yeah,
word
he
here
did.
for
He
John
Definitely
McConnell.
cocked his
I'd still
jaw.
be excited about him though. And Jevry, wow, how the pecky that had a boot at the end of the race, didn't it?
This horse was an underachiever for Tom George. He went to Harry Whittington, he got a win or two out of him, but he's gone down the handicap. He's gone to John McConnell, who's found out about him in 2 runs. He's produced the horse to win at Leopardstown fantastically over Christmas. They've kept him for this, and it's great skill, isn't it, really, for the 10-year-old. So this has been a Veterans Day, hasn't it?
Amazing.
He's also been to plenty of festivals. He ran in the Bumper. He finished third at Cheltenham behind Elixir and Nuts. He then he ran in the Ballymore. He won a handicap hurdle back in October. It's his 5th visit to Cheltenham.
More Cheltenham form
He's got no Cheltenham. I mean, it's not run well at Cheltenham, is he? But I mean, he's a horse that's been around.
Won a handicap hurdle.
One handicap hurdle in
4.5
December, right?
And like I say, you will find out at 6:30 that the big man himself is now feeling rather chipper again.
Good old Keels. I
Because-
mean, he's run. Yeah.
He was getting some pelters, to be honest, but that's the MO, right? That's how it is. It can go like that sometimes. But anyway, he'll probably go through the card now on Gold Cup Day. All right, and now these are the starting prices. Well done if you found him here. Oh, Keith Melrose. Look at that. I mean, it's been a day to forget, really. Green Book.
Yeah.
Green Book's at the bottom. Mission Control, Dave Orton drawing, and with Natalie Green.
Pass it, yeah.
Better give the
And
trophy
I'll tell
to
you what,
Keith.
every dog has his day. Let's pass it over to
Yay!
Fugitive himself. Absolutely, quite right.
Well done.
All right, fair play. We've had some fun today, guys. Keith, it's been great to have you back.
Cheers,
Not
mate.
just from a studio's point of view, but you're banging some in. Side
Yeah.
of Burley, the obvious highlights.
Oh, well, that's going to be the highlight of my week. That
Amazing.
you don't back 66 to 1 festival winners very
No,
often,
if ever.
So I mean, I didn't have loads on it, but it's the price and getting that price about a good race winner.
And it's bragging rights, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and I just about snuck in with this trophy as well. So that's
I bet you're looking forward to next February when people are like, oh, we need a preview for the Stayers Hurdle, and you're like, I might know a thing or two about them.
I know nothing about it. I just said that horse can't be running if it's 66s, so I'll take NRMB and hope, because mostly that horse should have been its price if it runs when it's NRMB, but that wasn't an NRMB price, it was a Rick.
Okay, the Edinburgh Rascal has been with us 2 days this week, Green Booking it all the way.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Listen, that was a great shout there, because you go and do these horses. I mean, none of us could do that like you just did there, and we know that people are watching from all over and they don't have
We've got
pictures
people
and
asking
stuff.
for the first 6 guys, so
blimey.
you
All
can.
right.
Oh, you keep talking. I'll do the 6s across
You're
the
going
line.
to count it up. I can tell you that so Scottish
got it
wasn't
there?
them.
The first 5, it's the 6th of the
Okay,
proper.
so we've got Seddon, Fugitive, Shake 'em Up Harry, Jevry, Auton Couleur. So what finishes after
I think
Auton
it was
Couleur?
Il Ridotto, but we'll
Yeah, so Scottish has not found
No, he
much, has
hasn't
he?
got home, has he?
No, probably not. Maybe did they leave them a wee bit short? I don't know.
Maybe.
Il Ridotto's not going that
Ground.
far forward either, is he? I mean, that wind surgery's done the trick. No, it wasn't wind surgery he had
Yeah.
before last time, was it?
Harry Redknapp got one in the frame. That's good to see.
Yes, talented horse that, but
We're waiting for
he also is a bit of a thinker actually. Shake 'em Up Harry.
First,
So Jevry's finishing there, and who is 6th? It's Il Ridotto.
Il Ridotto,
Il
so
Ridotto.
Scottish.
7th, Cool Scottish, 8th, Cool Cody.
Yeah, there you go.
Skybet might have got you Cool Codies each way money.
So, once again, it's the day of the week. We'll see you tomorrow.
It is the greatest sporting event in the world, the Gold Cup, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think Aplutab will be pressuring Galloping de Champs?
I don't think he'll be pressuring him, but I think he'll be clear second fav. I can see the SPs being about 7-4, 2-1 Galopin, 3-1 Aplutard.
Natty, the second stint of 3 for you. Well played today.
I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to obviously we don't want to tease who wins the Gold Cup, but Ross, give us your
enjoyed
Gold Cup
today.
1, 2, 3, please.
Gold Cup 1, 2, 3. Not entirely sure what order, but Aplutard, Protectorat, Gallopin.
You were talking about Brave Man's game last week.
I know, but the Cheltenham form has started to
Bite.
Stay on your mind.
bit, yeah.
I quite
Recency
fancy
biases.
Protectorate in my top 3.
I don't-
Galloping
it's-
Chomps, and I'm Noble Yates.
I just kind of want to watch it.
A horse that ran at 175 on its second last start is going to go off 20-1 for the Gold Cup and finish third in the race last year. It's
Betfair
incredible.
Chase winner,
It is
of
the
course.
best, as you'll see, a bit of a members club spoiler. I've done the analysis for the Gold Cup and I've done a little graph that shows you this is proof that it's the best Gold Cup since Cattle Stars.
Fantastic. You can get that at 6
That's
p.m.
cool.
right, Keith?
It might be a wee bit early, the premium analysis,
Okay.
but by 6 o'clock it'll definitely be there. And there's a little graph, it's like a forest of all the ratings, pre-race ratings of horses. And in terms of depth and the height of the trees, this is the best Gold Cup since Cattle Star was running in them.
Lovely. All right, you heard it here. Join us tomorrow then, 1:30. It's the final day of the Cheltenham Festival. We'll see it off in style here on Racing Post Live.